It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
What are you talking about?
No, it's not him. There is only one more. There is only one more. That's it. One more.
Get a rise!
No!
They saw your team put up zero effort.
Wake up!
Remember in the old days they used to have oxygen for them. Where's the oxygen?
Play like absolute just garbage.
This is the Sports Loudmouth.
Yay!
Man, can you keep it down? I'm trying to introduce here. With Errol Marks, Speedy Petey, and Josh Silverberg.
You're not even a has-been. You're a never was. You're a never was. You're a never was. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Sports Loudmouths. I'm your host, Errol Marks, my co-hosts, Joshua Silverberg and Mr. Speedy Petey. Remember, you can listen to our show every single Wednesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. You can call us at 631-965-4990. And ladies and gentlemen, you can go to our app, iOS, which is WWSRN or Android Worldwide Sports Radio Network. What's going on, Speedy?
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Speedy Brady.
What am I, a mouse now?
You sound like it sometimes. You're really obnoxious, Speedy. How are you, Joshua?
This Honor game got nasty, huh? In like 2 seconds.
Thank God.
Man, they got like 12 guys in the box now.
It's about time. Let's make this a little bit more interesting to watch, okay? I mean,
Errol will put Varlamov in the penalty box if he had the choice.
Oh, you damn right I would. Varlamov is terrible.
Can't complain. Everything's good. Everything's the same old. There's no Met game tonight, thankfully, so that's always a blessing in disguise. And there's that, so it's all good.
There is a Yankee game tonight, so there's a lot of.
No, they already played.
Well, that's what I mean. There was a Yankee game tonight. You are a smart ass too.
Oh, I said you
guys are obnoxious. It goes from Speedy Petey to you. Two obnoxious
morons. We're
morons.
obnoxious, and what are you then?
I'm a jerk off, okay? I'm a jerk off that's actually watching this ridiculous game. I'd say this, and we'll get into hockey a little bit later, but Varlamov is absolutely horrendous. Why? I understand he had a great playoff run last year. Varlamov isn't the same goaltender he was last year, and you saw the bad goal he gave up the other night. Why isn't Sorokin in the net? It doesn't make sense.
Social distance, by the way. This is not with this penalty box stuff. This is not social distance.
Well, good for them. What do you want them to wear? Masks? How about you put Speedy?
I just think it's funny. I make the joke all the time.
How about we just throw Speedy's underwears, his tighty whities over the, over
the
glass,
out of the penalty box then.
They'll be running out of the penalty box. I mean, with those smelly little underwears. But I
mean,
mean,
if he has any on. That's if he has any on.
Well, he does.
I do, Josh.
That's a debate.
Nice
Today
try.
he does. Today he does. But
it could be a debate wars kind of question.
Well, by the way, shout out to Chaz. He is on the feed right now. It's Snug the Cat. Meow! The guy
Two California representatives.
Yes, two California representatives. One from Sackey and the other one from San Diego. San Diego. Hello.
No. What did they say in Anchorman? San Diego.
San Diego.
Regina.
And we're live on Instagram, by the way. We are actually live on Instagram. So me and Speedy are live and in color on Instagram. They can see my green screen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have a great show lined up for you. We were going to have Mark Kelly on the show today.
What? A certain somebody scared him off.
I'm sure he'll have some reason to scare somebody else off tonight. But,
boy.
A shout out to Jeff from Tampa, Mr. Onion Peeler.
Jeff Onion Peeler.
Yes,
That's a new nickname.
Yes,
Nice.
Mr. Onion Peeler. But we have a great show lined up for you. We're going to get into some football, as you guys know. There might be a wide receiver. Yes, a wide receiver on the move to a team not expected, okay? And I will get into that a little bit later. We have the New York Yankees and Corey Kluber, a no-hitter. The first Yankee to have a no-hitter since, do you guys know? Does anybody know? The last Yankee.
David Wells?
Well, David Cohn. How's that?
Oh,
Yes, I would have said David.
I always say David Wells because that was the one you and the Pitt baseball coach that we had on last year, Jerry Oaks. The same coincidence that your birthday boy and the same perfect game. You guys are both
kind of funny, right, though, when you think about it. There's only been 3 teams that have been no-hit this year, and there's been 6 no-hitters, right?
Yep.
It's the Indians, the
Rangers.
Mariners, and the Rangers.
Yep.
So if you play those teams, you're in great shape.
We're in great shape, especially when Speedy's wearing underwear. I mean, we're in great shape when that happens. I mean, seriously, when are you going to actually go and get a Brazilian waxing? I think you need one.
I'd be like the 40-year-old virgin.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Speedy? By the way, the Islanders just scored. It's 3-3. So there we go. And it was Bolivia, the guy that finally scored a goal this playoff. Where last year, I think he had 11 goals. Finally, he gets his first goal of the playoffs. And it was a good goal, by the way. Right through the legs. Right through the wickets.
Right through the wickets.
So, by the way, your pal over there is hanging out over there, probably having a heart attack. You know who I'm talking about. Big, big Munchkin. We call him the little Munchkin, okay? Because he looks like
he's
one
at
of the
the game. He's there.
He does look like he's from the Wizard of Oz. You know that? When I see him.
He sounds like it, too.
We represent the Lollipop Kids.
I don't know. I think Oz, everyone at Oz would see him like, you're not worthy.
You know what's funny? When Pittsburgh went up 3-1 and going into, I always say the worst lead you can have in hockey is always a 2-goal lead. Teams always get too complacent, they get too content, especially on the road. Now they're just trying to play keep away. They're not trying to put their foot on the gas and end this thing. And you knew I knew this was going to happen in this game. And once the Islanders started fighting with Pittsburgh, I said, that's it.
Well, the Islanders are a fighting team. That's what they do.
I knew the Islanders went up. Here we go again.
There we go. The Islanders are pissed.
Again.
The Islanders are pissed.
Let's have the entire team in the penalty box.
And the whole team's going to be
in the scrum.
Barry Trotz is the next one to go to the penalty box.
Battle of the healthy scratches. All the rest of the roster can fight it out for the rest of the 10 minutes of regulation.
In Tampa, Florida, you're going to get overtime. If 5-5, you're going to get overtime. It's Vasilevsky's first bad game in how many years in the playoff?
How many years? I mean, Vasilevsky is a great goaltender, but in the big game, finally he won the big game because over the years
I was just going to say, don't say he can't win the big game.
He won it last year, okay? He won it finally last year, but before that, a lot of people said he couldn't win the big game.
When he was a starter, yes, but remember, when Ben Bishop got hurt at certain times in the playoffs in 2015 and 2016, Vasilevsky had some big games for them, too.
But he didn't win the big game. When it came down to it, winning the big game, he couldn't.
Well, he didn't play in a couple.
Or was it also
either.
Tampa as a whole, as an outlier, as their entire team just wasn't clutch? That's what it condensed it, right?
Well, this year they're actually the favorites are coming out of the East. Some people are saying that, but a lot of people think the only team that can beat them in the Eastern Conference is the Islanders. That is what I've been, and I'm not just saying that. Why do you think that? First of all, why are you making noises? Why? Because you're a Ranger fan? I'm just telling you.
It's so funny when I'm ever complimentive about the Mets, you call me a homer.
I'm not being a homer. Speedy, what did I tell you before the show started? What did I tell you?
He's the Jets.
What did I tell you? You know what?
Islanders,
you know what? Maybe I should.
Everything is great. Everything is great. Speedy, am I wrong?
Maybe I should mail
his teams.
Maybe I should mail Speedy's underwear to your house so you can put it over your mouth. Okay,
no.
Josh, you don't have to deal with that.
Out in the word, see, I tell you what. I say one thing about the Mets. I'm a Met homer, but everything is good.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
You really think the Islanders are the only team in the Eastern Conference that could beat the Lightning?
A lot of people are saying. I'm reading. I've been reading all day long.
You always tell me not to read the media.
You're right. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The media is a bunch of hypocritical. I want to say a curse on the show.
Don't read the media, Josh. Otherwise, Carl will be storming in the comment section.
I will say this, and I never agree with Jeff on this, but Jeff called me in it yesterday with the media scandal. Errol, hypocritical with the media scandal. Mm-hmm. Don't read the media, but I read it, though. He reads it. I know he does.
Of course I have to read it. I mean, if I'm going to come on a show, I'm going to obviously have to know what I'm talking about.
Well.
I mean, I'm embarking, okay? Embarking on sports radio, okay?
You're barking something. I don't know if you're embarking.
I just speak the truth here, man. I'm not. Anyways, we have a great show lined up for you guys. As you guys know, we were getting into some football. We have some baseball conversation, basketball, which is a big talk of the town as the playoffs are slowly but surely progressing. We're going to see the first round of the playoffs in the next couple of days. Obviously, the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets are going to be fighting in the Eastern Conference to try to go all the way to the NBA championship. I don't know if the Knicks have a chance, but I definitely believe the Brooklyn Nets do. But
did you see the Nets what they were trying to do this morning?
What's that?
They can't. So what they did was for certain sections, they actually had to give 50% off of tickets for the playoffs to get people to buy the tickets. Because, and the reason being is when you look at it, it's a complete joke. James Harden is out there promoting, if you buy the Nets tickets, here's the code, you get 50% off. You're telling me you can't in a smaller capacity in the Barclays Center, as the number 2 seed in the East, as one of the favorites to win the championship, you can't sell out your damn stadium? So you have to give away 50% of your tickets?
Well, it's Brooklyn. I mean, who wants to go watch the dirty old Brooklyn Nets play?
I'm just saying, though, dude. It's limited capacity. You can't sell that out. That's sad, man.
Do you want to go to a Brooklyn Nets game?
I'm just, but dude,
you can practically get it for free.
I'm not. Well, so could I. I have my cousin for sure could get it for free. But the point is this: if you can't sell out a playoff series as the favorites arguably and you know this, they are one of the favorites.
They are the favorites.
The NBA. And they can't even sell it out in New York at limited capacity. So they have to give their tickets away for 50% for you to go. What does that tell you about the organization?
It tells me that I'm going to be hypocritical and say Mr. Marks should be thrown into jail. How's that sound? Sean Marks.
You know what? I got a better idea for you to be thrown into jail. You have to attend every single Nets playoff.
Let's throw Jeff in jail. I mean, he's scared off Mark.
Nets home playoff game. That's what your jail is.
Well, he's scared off Mark. He's scared off Mark yesterday. He's probably going to scare off somebody else today, whoever decides to call.
I mean, look at it this way. Let's be real. He's scared off Mark. He's made the beef cry. He offended Jillian last week. I mean, Jesus Christ.
That was obnoxious. By the way, shout out to Brett Goldstein and Eric Goldstein. So they're on our feed. Well, what is everybody saying, Speedy?
I was about to get that before Josh interrupted me.
Ooh.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I forgot Speedy's got to stick up his ass tonight, everybody.
Oh, I like that.
Chaz back in. He gets the team total cash on the New York Islanders and on the Tampa Bay power play. So Chaz making some money tonight. Snug says, Earl is to Speedy's underwear what NFL insider Adam Schefter is to NFL stories. They're both subject matter experts. And then Slug also accuses Earl of being the biggest homer since Sports on the Go 1, so it's nothing new. Carl Bama Nation is not coming on tonight and tells me they're approaching wrestling antics.
Tell Snug to kiss my rear end, okay?
Oh, he's taking it personal with this
Kiss
now,
my
guys.
rear end. I'll give you Sports on the Go 1. I'll give you a hockey stick up your ass. And by the way, the Pittsburgh Penguins score again. Could Varlamov get pulled already? This is ridiculous.
Listen, time out. I saw the goal. First off, the guy was in front of the net. There was nobody in front of Varlamov to help screen the guy. Play some defense, would you?
Varlamov stinks.
Barry Trotz
okay?
here. Let's go, Barry Trotz.
Varlamov stinks, and if Varlamov starts in the next game, I'm going to kill Barry Trotz.
I got to tell you something. You should. Okay, hold on a second.
Here comes another one.
Yeah,
Save. Somebody got hurt. Who was that?
Really quick.
Dobson.
Noah Dobson.
He's young. He'll get back up.
He is. Yeah.
By the way, really
just got back up.
Really quick. Did anybody see? I doubt you guys saw this. And it was very scary. And this is all serious. It was a very scary moment.
Can't wait for this
Indians game.
Can't wait for this.
John Tavares had to be taken out on a stretcher. What happened was no, it's not funny. Actually, seriously, it wasn't funny. The injury was really scary, and he got hit. He got checked, and he was knocked down, and a guy was skating full force and kneed him square right in the head. And the trainer was trying to pick him up by his neck.
Ooh, I like this.
To help him.
This is good.
No, dude, that's not funny, man.
I'm not laughing. I'm just telling you.
You know what's funny? You say things about
what goes around comes around, buddy.
dude, why do you wish that on people?
What is
What's
it?
wrong
I
with
didn't
you,
wish
man?
any. Hold on one second. Did I wish that John Tavares was going to get?
You just said what goes around comes around. That's you basically implementing that you're saying.
But that's
that
not a wish. I didn't say I wish John Tavares got hurt. What are you talking about?
Oh my god, dude! If you saw the video, I'm telling you
I
now.
look at you all for
anybody
3
that would
hours.
say
I mean,
something like
that's
that-
enough video that I have to watch. Okay.
By the way, Josh, Carl's
Oh.
already accusing you of rumors again.
Oh, there it
What
is. Rumorville.
Carl could take this rumor. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
Oh my god! No, but in all seriousness, dude, it was a really nasty hit. Dude. I mean, he had to be taken off of the stretcher, and it was really bad though. Like his eyes were in the back of his head. Like
Ooh.
they really it was really bad.
Should I send him flowers? Should I send him flowers over there in Toronto? Is he going to enjoy
If you
that?
send him flowers, I think he'd take those flowers and probably piss on them.
Well, so that's why, one knee goes and the other knee flies.
I gotta tell you saying that, you're asking for bad karma from you, Pally boy.
Well, I've got bad karma. Do you want to know something? Before we get into our sports conversation, today I went to the gym, and I'm trying to slowly get stronger, so I'm doing very lightweight. So I'm going under, we're doing a chest workout, and I'm moving, and I'm pushing the bench. I'm pushing the incline bench out of the way. Not seeing that the bar was over my head, I bumped the top of my head and almost took my whole head off, okay? My neck has been hurting me ever since. I took a hot shower, and I'm doing a radio show. So please, if you think that John Tavares got the worst brunt of it, it's me who got the worst
You see
brunt
the
of
video?
it. Yes. I mean,
You didn't see the video, so shut up.
No, I saw the video of me hitting my head on the freaking weight, okay? I'm in enough pain as it is, all right? And I got to deal with your freaking face for 3 hours. So thank you.
Slug says, did Earl not accuse all of us being mean yesterday and he's wishing injury on Tavares? He also says, one of us, one of us, one of us. Earl is wearing the black shirt and the black hat equals double grouchy. And Carl asks, doing lightweight, does that mean you bench Speedy?
Yes, it was about Speedy's weight. A little bit. I was a little. Speedy, how much you weigh?
Anywhere between 146 and 155.
Oh, you're a
Fluctuates.
paperweight.
It fluctuates.
I would say about. I didn't max out that much. I mean, I was doing lightweight. I'm just trying to get my neck and my back stronger. So it's slowly. It's a slow pace, Carl. So Speedy and looking at Speedy is a lot of weight to put on my chest. But anyways, I want to get into some basketball conversation. We'll get into football a little bit later and baseball, and we're going to get into hockey as the Islanders will lose this game. And we lost Josh, by the way. He disappears. Here he comes again. Here he goes. Hello, I'm Joshy. Anyways, is he coming in? Nope. Device not connected. That is his internet, baby. Anyways, I want to get into the basketball. And I watched the game the other day. And I watched the Golden State Warriors versus LeBron James's LA Lakers. And I say LeBron James's LA Lakers because LeBron James not only got torched at the end of the game by Draymond Green, which we're not surprised because Draymond Green is a cheap shot waiting to happen. He's always had cheap shots. And you saw after he hurt LeBron James, he stood out there, he was laughing, he was giggling. And LeBron James, LeBron James is trying to play the game, and you know what he's trying to do. He's saying that he couldn't see out of his eye. We all know he could see out of his eye. LeBron James made one of the most ridiculous shots with about 12, 13 seconds left of the game. That three-point shot that was over Steph Curry, that was Steph Curry-like. We talk about how great of a shooter Steph Curry is and how great of a three-point shooter. Steph Curry doesn't do it in the big games. We have never seen it done in the big games. LeBron James, we've seen this plenty of times. And LeBron James hasn't been on the basketball court for almost, for the last 25, 26 games. He just came back. He really hasn't really gotten his feet wet in the game. But I was very, very impressed with LeBron James, especially at the end of the game. Taking a shot like that, and everybody keeps saying that LeBron James can't hit the big shot. James can't do this. LeBron James can't do that. LeBron James is a big shot shooter. Now, was he Kyrie Irving when Kyrie Irving did it when they won the championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers? No, he didn't do it in the championship game. But LeBron James, we've seen him do this in the championship game. We've seen him have triple-doubles. We've seen him have 42 points back-to-back games in the championship. The last player to do that was Shaquille O'Neal before he did it. So LeBron James is a special player. And for anybody to come out and say that LeBron James is still not the greatest player in the league, well, then you don't know basketball, okay? I'm so sick and tired of listening, Steph Curry this and Steph Curry that. Steph Curry is a three-point shooter. And you saw it yesterday when it came to the big game. I don't care how many points Steph Curry had. What do you have, 37 points? 35 points? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how many points he scored. You know why? Because they lost the game. It doesn't matter. And I'm not saying Steph Curry isn't special, okay? Because he is. He's a great player. But for anybody to put Steph Curry in the same realm as LeBron James, well, you're on damn well drugs, okay? Because he's not. There is only one player that you can connect to LeBron James' greatness, and that's the greatest basketball player to ever play the game, and that's Michael Jordan. Okay? I'm so sick and tired of people trying to compare Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, all these guys to LeBron James. They're not even close. Now, Kawhi is a great player. He's a great two-way player. All right? There's no question that he is. He won a championship. He's the one who knocked off the Golden State Warriors when they had Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson before they got hurt. The first 3 games they were playing before they got hurt. They got hurt in the same game, Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant. But for anybody to say that LeBron James isn't the greatest basketball player in the NBA still, well, I think you need to hide under your bed and sing yourselves to sleep because this man, when healthy, is unstoppable. You guys have something to say about that? You don't think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player in the NBA? I like to hear this.
Before we get to that, to the comments, Carl says rumor hotline went off for Josh. Jeff says bring Mark on live stream to stream his tears. No, we're not going to do that. Shout out to Chaz again. Watching LeBron shot with money line on the Lakers was like, no, did he just do that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. I thought it was very Kevin Durant-esque, Chaz. Snug says he took the shot because the shot clock was running out. He passioned in the paint and it came back to him.
Oh, is that what it was?
Doesn't make the shot less impressive, Snug. Sorry.
Are you kidding me? He just got poked in the eye by Draymond Green. And he couldn't see out of the eye.
Without Steph, Snug also says, without Steph Curry, the Warriors get blown out. Carl says Steph Curry holds the record for most threes made in a finals game. Ooh. And in a series. I think that qualifies for a big level performance.
Oh, really? How many MVPs has he won in the finals?
0.
Okay, so we've seen Steph Curry in the finals how many times? 4 times, right? Or
5.
was it 5? I'm sorry.
They lost
5
once
times.
to Cleveland, once to Toronto.
5 times in the NBA finals, and he's never won an MVP. Andre Iguodala won an MVP in the finals. Better than the great. And by the way, did they score again? Tell me they scored again.
No, that was a replay.
Oh, God. I was about to have a heart attack.
Relax. Geez.
Relax what? Why? Because it's not the Rangers? You'd be sitting, your underwears will be over your head. You'll be biting your jersey.
If with the Rangers, I don't even know if I even be doing the show with you.
So it's okay.
Come on after.
Okay. You see what I mean? You see what I mean, guys? What a hypocritical ass over there. All right?
Why?
Ranger lover over here.
Wait, what do you mean, why am I hypocritical? What did I say that was so hypocritical, though? If you're going to use these big words for you and your vocabulary...
So you're attacking my vocabulary now.
Yes. Yeah. I know you hate that so much.
You're a hypocrite. You attack me because I'm watching the Islander game,
yes.
and I got say something. I say something, and when the Rangers are not playing... When the Rangers are playing, you got your panties up in a bunch, okay? You dumbass. Anyways, going back.
By the way, Carl says you said you can make levels on a big performance level, or make shots on a big performance level, Errol. So I'm proving your Carl. So I'm proving your point wrong. Not saying Steph is the best ever just because he hits on a big level. And also, I guess we have a Penguins fan, Ben Lawfrey, in the comments section saying Penguins trophy and medal.
Thank you, Penn. Thank you, Ben Penn, whatever you want to call him. Thank you, Benny.
It's a Jeff Burner account, everybody. It's a Jeff Burner account.
It probably is.
Who knows, man?
It probably is.
Wouldn't rule it out.
Anyways, going back to LeBron James and that shot was absolutely ridiculous. That was the best shot in my eyes so far in the playoffs. And whatever you call this, the playing game, okay? LeBron James, and if LeBron James plays like that, is anybody going to beat the Lakers? Honestly. Is anybody going to beat the Lakers when they're 100% healthy and when LeBron James starts to feel things?
That's the key, right? We have to see how healthy they really are. Did they look healthy yesterday? I don't know. I mean, the game was definitely a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I'll give Steph this. Steph at points in that game did carry Golden State to that game as close as it was. Yeah, you
better.
can't deny that fact. He did. He did carry them.
He's making $200 million a year. He better.
But he did what he was supposed to do. He carried.
He had the $200 million contract.
The point of it is this: if the Lakers are healthy, nobody's beating the Lakers. But I don't know how healthy these guys really are. How healthy is LeBron really? I mean, he looks fine, but again,
he looks fine.
This game is again accumulating more minutes for him when he needs rest. And then you've got Anthony Davis. Okay. Oh man, you're snoring like I do when Speedy makes a point. That's funny.
Well, your points are dragging. Okay, why don't you just spit it out? Let it go.
I am spitting it out. You told me to
like
give
a
an
loogie.
opinion. I'm giving you an opinion, knucklehead. I'm giving you an opinion. My opinion is this: if Anthony Davis isn't healthy, they're not winning Dan Diddley squad.
You want to bet on that?
Right? You want my opinion? There it is.
You want to bet on that? You want to bet on that?
No, that's Chaz's show, sports betting.
I think if LeBron James stays healthy with the players that they have and the bench that they have a lot of depth. They have more depth than they ever did last year. Even without Anthony Davis, with a healthy LeBron James, they're going to win it anyways. They're going to win it anyways. And I don't. And
I beat Utah on the road.
I do. Utah hasn't done it in the playoffs yet. They haven't gone to a championship yet. So these guys got to do it in the big game. No, they haven't.
No, I said they can beat Phoenix. I think they can beat Phoenix. The thing about Utah is I don't know, because the thing is with their home court, that's the big advantage for them, and they're going to have a full house in Utah for those playoff games. That's a huge advantage for them. The altitude is different. How are these guys and their injuries going to heal up in the altitude and stuff like that? How are they going to feel with their bodies and everything? We don't know, right? We don't know the effect of that. So it could hinder these guys, but we don't know.
The other question, too, with the Jazz is, will Donovan Mitchell come back 100%, too? We're talking about Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
Absolutely.
Will he be able to come back 100%? Because we've seen Mike Conley do well in the playoffs at times. We've seen...
Yeah, but that's not enough. They need...
I know.
They need Mitchell to be 100% if they're going to beat the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying, though. They can't rely on him being a number one option, because Gobert's been up and down, and he's not anything special offensively in terms of like a well-rounded game. So Mitchell, who we've seen play well in the playoffs, except for the Game 7 last year or Game 6, one of the games against Denver last year where he had a dud. He's played fantastic in his entire playoff career. Even before the team really got good, he was always doing well in the playoffs. So if he doesn't come back, they're not going to stand a chance either. So the longevity factor is going to be tough both ways if the Lakers and Jazz do end up meeting in the Western Conference Finals, because now with the Lakers being the 7th seed, it's inevitable.
I think the Lakers right now are the best team in the NBA, and I believe that going and being that 100%, I don't know if Anthony Davis is going to play hurt anyways. We know he's going to play hurt. So even if you don't have 100% Anthony Davis, you still, if Anthony Davis gives you 15, 16 points and gives you about, 5, 6 rebounds, you're still going to win. And they're going to come out of the West. I don't think there's anybody in the West that could really challenge them. Maybe Utah. Maybe. But Utah hasn't done it in the big game. I have not seen Utah do it. They haven't gone to a championship game. Donovan Mitchell's never played an NBA championship. We've never seen, what's his name again?
Gobert.
Gobert's never been in a championship. And these guys, before they made up with each other, they hated each other. So all it takes is one stupid play, one stupid thing one of these guys say on the court, and there could be a brawl in the locker room. We've heard this before. We've seen this before. So, and the Brooklyn Nets, and going back to the Brooklyn Nets, I think the Brooklyn Nets have a tremendous amount of talent. When you have Blake Griffin, you have Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, that is a talented team. Here's the problem. All 4 of these guys have never played more than 3 games together this season. All of them. I'm talking about with Blake Griffin in the lineup. None of them have played together.
Is Griffin starting for them now?
I'm sorry?
Is Griffin starting for them now, or is he still coming off the bench for them?
It doesn't matter. He's not. They all haven't played together. James Harden hasn't played with Blake Griffin yet. He hasn't. Okay? So, if anything, all 4 of them never played together at all this year, except 3 of them. And Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and obviously Kevin Durant, they played, 7, 8 games together?
7 games.
I mean, you're going into the playoffs, first of all. You got to figure things out. And we saw this with the Miami Heat. Remember this? The first year with LeBron James, obviously
Wade and
Bosh. They went to the finals and they lost against Dallas. And everybody said, how could you lose against Dallas? Maybe because it took them almost a half the season to figure out how to play together.
Not only that, they really got destroyed by Dallas. That series wasn't really that close. There were a couple games that were close.
That was because of Barrera.
Yeah, and I know, but still, Dallas was a 4 seed. They were nowhere near the most talented team in the Western Conference either. Remember, they had to go through the Lakers. They had to go through the Thunder with Durant and Westbrook and Harden. Those guys, they had to go through a lot more talented teams. They were not even close to the best team.
How did the Islanders score this goal? I mean, every time I turn my head, there's another goal. It was Clutterbuck. I don't know, man. This game is crazy. No, that was no. They weren't in the crease. That was a goal.
No, I know, but I'm saying they might challenge that though.
They can challenge all they want.
Oh, I don't know, man.
No, the goalie shoved Cizikas. That's a good goal.
Yeah, the goalie did shove Cizikas.
It's a goal.
That's a
man.
good goal.
You want it to not be a goal because you're a friggin' Ranger fan. So
I could give 2 flying craps. I hate both of these teams. You think I give a damn?
2 flying craps? You take flying craps? I've never seen them before. Has anybody heard 2 flying craps?
I guess Josh's craps have wings.
It must
flying
be.
craps are your opinion.
Maybe we should
what is this,
send
the
it
next
to,
Red Bull commercial?
Maybe we should send it to Jeff. How's that sound? Why don't we send those craps over there to Jeff? Because, by the way, I talked to the Beeve today.
Oh, boy. That's exciting.
The Beeve, and I'm sure he's listening to it right now. If he's not, shout out to the Beeve. He told me he can't stand Jeff. He absolutely can't stand him.
Well, we know that already.
No. He said he can't stand him and that it's going to come down to him. He said that something is going to happen to him. Okay? So I don't know if he...
Is this like a threat?
Maybe he's planning a hit.
Extremely dangerous. And it's on the air and on the record right now. I mean, this is kind of dangerous.
I don't know. But by the way, Ben just says, no, tied 4-4. Yes, it's tied. And so soon to be, hopefully, with the bad goaltending of Varlamov, the Penguins are going to win. Take him out.
He's still going to play next game probably. So
No, he's not. I'm going to bet you Sorokin plays. We'll get into hockey, okay? Getting back into the NBA and finishing up with the Brooklyn Nets, because everybody thinks that we don't talk about the Brooklyn Nets. They think that we hate the Brooklyn Nets, and that I'm telling you, I get emails.
Does anyone like the Brooklyn Nets, really?
I have gotten 3 or 4 emails over the last 2 days saying, why don't you ever talk about the Brooklyn Nets?
No,
so
brother.
I'm talking about the Brooklyn Nets now. And to me, this is a team that hasn't played together. And they have a rookie coach in Steve Nash. What's going to happen when it comes down to a 3-3 series game and you're going into game number 7, and Steve Nash, who's never coached a Game 7 game and never really coached in his life, and by the way, never won anything when he was an NBA player, okay? What's going to happen when this team needs to figure out when the game is close in the fourth quarter and it's game number 7?
Ben with an interesting pick. He has the Bucks over the Lakers in 7 games.
What, in the championship?
NBA Finals. All
Really?
right,
That means you would have Milwaukee beating the Nets in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That is, again, with the depth that Milwaukee has, if they have any level of their star power playing well again, that it's possible because they have the coaching, they have the defense. So I wouldn't rule that out either. Again, going all the way, though, and then beating the Lakers, too, who if they make it that far, they got to be healthier at that point, I would imagine.
I think that a lot of people don't like the Brooklyn Nets or don't have any respect for the Brooklyn Nets. You're going to tell me Varlamov should be in net? You tell me? You're going to tell me? You're going to tell me? Shut up, you. I'm going to mute you. You're an idiot. You're an absolute jackass, okay?
Speedy, did I say a single thing?
Varlamov should be pulled out of this game.
Hey, Knucklehead,
you
have a lot to say on the air. Do you have anything to say, Speedy?
He stinks. That's what I'm going to say. He stinks, and I don't want to hear, Varlamov. He stinks.
Listen to me. First off, actually, and Speedy could attest to this, on the car ride on your way to your party.
No goal. High sticking.
Oh, yeah.
No goal. That was high sticking. That was over the crossbar. That is not a goal. They better not.
Say this. Hold on. We had an argument in the car on the way to your birthday party.
Here we go.
Okay.
And they counted as a goal.
Lyle and I had an argument. Lyle said that the Islanders should start Varlamov. Speedy, who did I say the Islanders should be starting?
Who did you say?
Yes.
I thought you said Varlamov, too.
No, I did not say Varlamov, knucklehead. Maybe if you were listening, that's not what I said.
Okay.
Knucklehead, could you just spit it out? Could you just spit it out?
He played more games and was more consistent this season. The reason why Varlamov had those numbers was because he played less games. Did I not say that?
Oh, that's true. You actually did say that.
Yes. I said Sorokin.
Well, good. Why isn't he in the net then?
I'm not the coach. That's a tie game. Wow. I don't even know how that didn't go in.
Did that go in? No.
No. and the Panthers won in overtime.
Well, congratulations to the Panthers.
Too much going on. I feel like I'm at ESPN zone.
All right, I don't want to talk about this right now. Could you shut up? The Rangers aren't in the damn playoffs. I don't want to hear your big mouth.
I love lucky playoffs,
yeah,
man.
well, I love you sometimes until you piss me off, okay?
Trust me, I love you a very minuscule amount of time.
Well,
so
thank you. I don't love you a long time, that's for sure.
Ben's back in the comments section laughing and giving the emojis with eyes and popcorn. Jeff says, remember when the hockey game was tied? It's been tied many times. Snook says, go Pens.
Like
Ben says, go Pens. And Jeff says, what a fun time that 2 minutes were when it was tied.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for sticking it in and making me pissed off.
The game's not even over yet.
The game is over. That's because of Varlamov. He stinks.
Dude, they've tied the game like 4 different times.
Yeah, tied the game at 4 different times.
Why is the game over?
Why is Varlamov in the net? He's given up 3 goals in less than 5 minutes. He
I'm
stinks.
Not the coach, man. I agree with you. I said it should be Sorokin in net.
Well,
I said that.
If Sorokin is not playing in game number 3,
he will. He'll be in that game 4.
He better. He better. I don't want to see Varlamov anymore.
5 goals at home. By the way, I would love to hear Lyle's reaction to this one. Lyle was screaming at me in the car that I was nuts for saying Sorokin should be in over Varlamov. He said Varlamov should be up for the Vezina this year.
Get the fuck out of here. Excuse
and
my
I
language.
said to
Get the hell out of here. I'm an Islander fan.
And then I said this. And then I said to you guys in the car, I said, go look at the numbers. He goes, how many games did Varlamov play in this year? Speedy, what was it, 40?
Yeah, it was 42, I think, versus. Or,
how many games were there total in the season?
Yeah, no, you're talking about Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky played 42 games. Varlamov, I think, only played a little more than half, if I remember correctly.
Vasilevsky's winning the Vezina. I mean, it was, and he's arguing it. And if anybody else is going to try to get it, it's going to be Grubauer from Colorado.
Yeah, he had one of the most insane second halves. Yeah.
I think
Sorokin, and then he goes, it's a crock of what.
We went from hockey. We keep going back into hockey, okay?
I love hockey.
Well, good. We're not talking hockey right now. It's a basketball segment, and you keep going back into this.
We're back on basketball.
And first of all, the chances of an Islander goalie winning any kind of trophy, it's Sorokin winning Rookie of the Year. That's about it.
Hold on, Leonard won Vezina a couple years ago.
I'm talking about this year, you idiots.
No, but you're saying any Islander in general winning a trophy.
Oh my God!
You didn't say what year.
I've just completely lost my mind with this guy over here. He is pissing me off tonight.
I'm not missing any points. I'm just saying the points. I'm trying to clarify what you're saying and understanding.
Well, here I'm going to clarify. this.
Here we go. He's going to curse at me now.
No, I'm going to explain something to you. We're going back into basketball, you moron. Okay, let's go back into basketball, and then we'll go into your goddamn hockey. Okay. Anyways, to finish up,
hockey, Boomer.
No, I never said that, and this is not Boomer Esiason or Boomer and Gio. Okay, but anyways, to get back into basketball, when you look at the Eastern Conference, the only team that I think match up, with basketball, it's a game of matchups. It really is. It really is, and I think the only team that really matches up very well against the Brooklyn Nets right now is Joel Embiid in the 76ers. I think the Knicks match up very well against the 76ers. If they play the 76ers in a second round, if they get through Atlanta, I think they can knock off the 76ers. I really do. I've said that. But Milwaukee, I don't know if I see Milwaukee knocking off the Brooklyn Nets. First of all, everybody knows how to stop the Greek Freak in the playoffs. What you do is you keep him around the perimeter and make him shoot the ball. If he can't shoot the ball, and he is not a good perimeter shooter.
The question is, though, will the Nets have, one, the capable defensive players to do that, and two, will Steve Nash actually be smart enough to actually implement a game plan like that?
I think the X factor are 2 guys. I think it's Chris Middleton and it's Drew Holiday.
Right.
Are those 2? Is Drew Holiday, who had a very good season this year, is he going to be the guy that everybody thought he was coming into the season? And will Chris Middleton actually show up in the playoffs, right?
He's had a downright season.
By the way, the game is over. The game is over. So now the Penguins are up 2-1. And if I see Varlamov in the net,
Barry Trotz should be fired.
No, not Barry Trotz. I am going to go to Lou Lamoriello, and I'm going to take I'm going to take the biggest hockey stick on the bench and shove it so far up his ass that it spits out of his damn mouth like toothpicks. Okay? I am so tired of seeing Varlamov. Varlamov is the reason why they lost this game. I would
say that, and there were times their defense break down.
Oh, get out of here. Varlamov gave up 4 bad goals out of the 5. 4 of them were bad, okay, that me and you could have stopped. And by the way, yes, Ben, the Penguins win. Okay.
Jeff said the Islanders lose.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for sticking it in. I can't wait.
I will say this. You act like I want the Islanders. You don't think I would love to see Islanders Bruins next round and see you and Jeff go at it on the show?
It's going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen because the Islanders are still going to win this series.
I mean, honestly, we might have to have an episode off the mat with you guys doing it and me and Alex doing commentary. I mean, it would be wonderful. I mean, it would be just wonderful. Wow, look at Minnesota already beating the Golden Knights.
Spit it out. Yeah,
I
okay.
forgot the name. The Golden Knights. I forgot the name for a second.
Anyways, getting back, finishing up with basketball, okay, and a lot of people aren't giving Tom Thibodeau a lot of credit, okay, and I think to me he is coach of the year. Now I know a lot of people are going to give it to Monty Williams because of what he did with the Suns. The Suns have a lot of talent. Look at the talent. They have Chris Paul, they have Devin Booker, and they have DeAndre Ayton, okay? And they have a bunch of great bench players and they have how many first-round draft picks on that team, okay? The Knicks have Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett and a bunch of other players that you probably wouldn't see as a starter on another team. Okay, and the fact that Tom Thibodeau was 10 games over 500. And by the way, Vegas had them at 26.5 in the beginning of the season. They won 41 games in a short season. It's 72 games a season. The Knicks probably would have won 45, 46 games this season if it was an 82-game season. So it is very impressive. It's very impressive what Tom Thibodeau did with the New York Knicks. Now, do I think the Knicks are going to win anything this year? I don't think they're ready. I don't think they're ready to do it. But I think that the Knicks are on their way. I don't know if they're going to be a destination yet, but I think there are a lot of players that are going to look at the New York Knicks in the next year and a half as a team that they would possibly want to go and play at Madison Square Garden, play with Julius Randle, play with R.J. Barrett, play for Tom Thibodeau and Rose or Wesley or whoever they love so much over there, Payne, okay? But
Carl says, last night you said the coaching makes a difference. Now it's just the matchups. The NBA is all about
the
matchups.
Coaches do make a difference. Coaches, first of all, now you're taking words out of my mouth. I said there are 5 to 4 coaches in the NBA that can change the outcome of a game. Did I not say that last night?
Yes, you did.
Yes,
I said that, okay? Now, I did not. Now, coaching only makes a difference depending on the coach that is coaching that game, okay? And I told you there are 5 coaches that can change an outcome of a game. If it's not the coach, it's all about matchups. And yes, Carl, you like taking words out of my mouth and spinning them around and like spitting it out and try to play me like I don't know what I'm saying or remember what I say. I know what I said. Okay? Now, again, I think that when you look at Tom Thibodeau can change the outcome of a game. Not by much. If the Knicks are down by 5 points or 5 points going into 2 minutes left of the game, I would bet that Tom Thibodeau will figure out how to get back into the game.
They've done it a few times this year.
Do I think Steve Nash could do that? No, I don't trust that Steve Nash is going to figure that out. Okay? I think he's a moron.
Carl probably thinks Steve Nash is a good coach.
I'm sure he does. But there are only, in the Western, just like in the Eastern Conference, there might be 1 team, 2 teams that could challenge the Brooklyn Nets. The Eastern Conference is weak. Okay, I think the Boston Bruins are going to give them a run for their money. I really do believe that. Now, I don't think Boston's going to win more than 2 games, but don't be surprised if Boston wins the first game or Boston wins the first 2 out of 3 games. And the reason why I think that is because I don't know how good this team is going to play when all 3 of these guys are going to be playing on the court and asking and wanting to shoot the ball. What is Carl saying now?
Who is not giving Thibodeau credits?
Oh, who's not giving Thibodeau credit? Go read Bleacher Report. Go read CBS Sports. Go read a lot of people. Go listen to what Stephen A. Smith said. Now, Stephen A. Smith loves Tom Thibodeau, but what did Stephen A. Smith say? You guys remember what Stephen A. Smith said?
He said that free agents would not be a destination to want to come here because they feel like they don't want to take any of what Thibodeau would say because they feel like he's too much of a leader. And he doesn't care about the load management stuff. He'll make players play through things.
So there you go.
That's the problem.
And Stephen A. Smith, who loves Tom Thibodeau and has nothing but his utmost respect of what Tom Thibodeau has done for the New York Knicks, taking shots at Tom Thibodeau.
Carl says, funny comment about Nash, Speedy. How was the date with the squirrel last night? Carl, if I had a date with a squirrel, I'd probably have some kind of injury.
Go ahead, read what Jeff is saying, because he's trying to be a smart ass again.
Jeff says, Tom Thibodeau is just the best head coach of all time. Maybe the greatest of all time. Nobody better. Red Auerbach is a bum. Tibbs would have ran circles around him.
Hold on one second. So, because I'm saying that Tom Thibodeau deserves to be Coach of the Year, I think he's Red Auerbach. Come on, guys. Why is everything... First of all, I sit here and I talk on this show. I am not. I repeat. By the way, Brett Goldstein, Todd, I don't know what Todd is, but what's going on, Brett? Going back into this, I am the least homer on this show. I am the least homer on this show. You have to give a coach when it's due. You have to. You have to. And by the way, if you want to chime in, you can call the show, 631-965-4990. Again, it's 631-965-4990 to call the show. By the way, Jeff is saying Tibbs could turn water into wine. Okay, whatever you say, Jeff. Whatever. You know what? You know what's so funny about Jeff? He's got a lot to say, but he loves his teams. Besides the Boston Celtics, because he thinks they stink. He thinks the Boston Bruins are going to win. He thinks that, hey, look at what the Patriots did this year.
To be fair, he did say the Red Sox suck, though.
Yeah, the Red Sox suck. Yeah, he says that now. And in the beginning, when the Red Sox were up 6 or 7 games, he was taking shots at the Yankees. Was he not? Was he not?
I mean, he was taking shots at the Yankees. He still was never high on the Red Sox.
Yeah, he's not high on the Red Sox, but he was making fun of the Yankees.
He was. No, he definitely
he was making fun of the Yankees. He's making fun of them. And where are the Yankees right now? Catching up to the Red Sox. So, I told him that was going to happen. Did I not say that?
Jeff says, Jesus wears Tibbs feety pajamas. Snug says, is Tibbs a better coach than Jason Garrett? And Carl says, we say Steph Curry is a great player and you bash us. So why can't Jeff come out you over your adornment of Tibbs? And then Ben says Brewers are going all the way.
Brewers could.
That is a bold statement.
I think St. Louis out of the NL at the NL. I think they're going to come out of the NL, and I think it could go either way in the American League. You just don't know with the American League and who's coming out of the American League.
So Ben must be a Wisconsin fan and a Penguins fan.
And first of all, what did he say with Steph Curry? What is this that Carl is saying about Steph Curry?
We say Steph Curry is a great player, and you bash us. So why can't Jeff come at you over your
Steph Curry?
Of Tibbs?
First of all, Steph Curry is a great player. He's not a winner. Okay? He can't take his team and put them on his shoulders and win those games. He has never done that. He's never done it by himself. Tell me in the playoffs where Steph Curry did it himself. Tell me. I've seen LeBron James do it. I've seen him do it. I've seen Kevin Durant do it. Okay? Steph Curry, who everybody compares to be a top 5 point guard of all time. I've seen Jason Kidd do it. I've seen Chris Paul do it. Chris Paul never wins a big game. But I've seen him in the playoffs put his team on his shoulders. If you remember with the Pelicans, remember that? He still did it.
Right.
He put him on his shoulders, and he won a game. Have we ever seen Steph Curry win a series by himself? The answer is no. And that's why, because I don't think Steph Curry is as great a player as everybody thinks he is. He's a great player for what he does. He is not a winner by himself.
Ben says Reggie is better than Steph. I'm assuming referring to Reggie Miller.
I would agree.
Carl says how he's not a winner. I like Reggie also. Jeff says MSG should have a Tibbs statue out tonight.
He should. If they win, I'll tell you this: if Tibb ever wins the championship, they will.
Absolutely,
they will. They will. Mm-hmm. And I again. I don't even want to get into Thibodeau because this has nothing to do with Thibodeau. I just think that when you watch basketball, and this playoff is going to be very interesting because even though the Eastern Conference is practically won by the Brooklyn Nets and everybody thinks they're coming out of Brooklyn, they're coming out of the Eastern Conference, there could be a surprise team that could knock them off because I just don't trust that these three players are going to figure things out this year. I think their year is next year. If they have a chance to win, it's a full season of next year of basketball. That's what I think. What is Carl saying over here?
MSG will forget about Tibbs like they did with Patrick Ewing. Mm-hmm. I never know what James Dolan. Carl says you brought up Tibbs. So yeah.
I brought up Tibbs. I'm just saying that nobody gives him enough credit. Nobody gives him enough credit for what he's done. And it really is pathetic. It really is. And as a basketball fan, if any of you guys are basketball fans, you would know that everything. If you go to Bleacher, what is that? Bleacher Report. You go to ESPN. Everybody put Steph Curry in the top 5. Steph Curry, when he came to the league, wasn't even a point guard. He was a two guard. Okay, he was a shooting guard. They moved him to the point guard position. He's not even a point guard. He don't even pass the ball enough to be a point guard. What is he? I think he's in a top 10 in assist in percentiles. If you're the best point guard in the NBA, which everybody puts him to be the best point guard in the NBA, don't you think he should lead in assists? Don't you think that?
Or at least be up top 3 at least.
He's not.
Right.
He is not. And that's what a point guard is. You want to say he's the best shooting guard in the NBA? Fine, but he's not even a shooting guard. So to put him there as a point guard is disrespectful.
Ben trolling all Knicks fans, saying MSG needs a Reggie Miller statue out front to pay tribute to greatness. Thanks for giving all Knicks fans deja vu on that one.
Thank you very much.
Jeff says Errol knows way more basketball than anyone. Well, anyone except Tibbs.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much. Maybe I should be coaching. Maybe if I was coaching, I would make sure that Jeff doesn't come into the stadium.
And Ben, good points. That Steve Nash is better than Steph Curry. Yes, we would agree on that.
You know what I would do is I would get like a big pool on the outside. You know, now that there's not a lot of people that can come in, we'll set up a nice little pool for Jeff so he can sit in the water of his pool and sink to the bottom of the pool, okay? Because that's, with all that fat, it'll go right to the middle of the pool. Maybe we'll tie bricks to him so maybe he'll sink even further. Anyways, let's go to a quick break. We'll go to a 1-minute break. When we come back, we're going to get into some football conversation. There is a player that could be heading to the Raiders, and he's a big-time wide receiver. There are stories coming out from this particular team that he might be moving more sooner than later. When we come back, I'm going to tell you why this player could change the outcomes of the Raiders when we come back here on the Sports Loudmouths.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is the Sports Loudmouths.
What? Now listen. Jeff, you moron. Jeff, you moron. Snug cat. I got a golf ball in my throat with snug. Jeff, Carl, where's your wife, Carl? Anyways, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Errol Marks, the Sports Loudmouths, with little J himself, Joshua Silverberg, and Mr. Tidy Whitey Man himself, Speedy Petey. Remember, you can call us at 631-965-4990. You can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. iOS, download a goddamn app, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done it already. You go to iOS, WWSRN, or Android, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Well, before we get into some football, I will say this. I have had a tremendous week, and I don't know what Carl is saying. I have not gotten laid, okay? So I have no idea what he's talking about. But if that's what he thinks, and he thinks that's why I have so much anger and frustration, here's the anger and frustration. I just can't stand reading stupid things when it comes to the internet, and everybody's trying to sell something to the public, and I think it's ridiculous. That's just my opinion. Let's get into some football. And I was reading an article, and yes, I was reading, by the way.
Don't spread any rumors.
Is this a rumor? If this is a rumor, Carl, I want you to take note.
This isn't a rumor.
I get on it.
This isn't a rumor because they said, first of all, this team has come out and said that by June time, they're going to be looking to move Julio Jones, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. There was a story coming out from Atlanta today that the Raiders are the lead team to land Julio Jones. And I was very surprised because there was a story coming out a couple of weeks ago that it was the Patriots that were the lead team to get him. Not necessarily. John Gruden, he loves his stars, as everybody knows. And why not getting Julio? They struck out with Ruggs. I don't know if Ruggs is any good. Now, I know Carl. It was either Carl or Jeff that has told me that they still think Ruggs could be good.
I think it was Jeff.
Yes, Ruggs could be good. But to land Julio Jones, if Julio Jones is healthy, to get a player of this magnitude could really set. Derek Carr could finally get a player that he can actually throw the ball to and actually can catch the ball. Right. Okay? And if this is true, insiders are saying that this could be a blockbuster trade. It's not going to just be Julio Jones. It could be 3-4 players going in this trade. So, and yes, by the way, Ben is right. The Packers are the other team that's interested in Julio Jones. And
wouldn't that be a turn of events, right? That would shut Aaron Rodgers up real damn quick if the Packers got Julio Jones. Aaron Rodgers would click the rewind button. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to say anything. I'll sign that extension now.
Packers fans who watch Julio Jones destroy their team will now embrace him.
You don't think Aaron Rodgers would sign that extension? Oh, I think he would in 2 seconds.
Right. Well, my opinion to this is Julio Jones has been fighting injury year in and year out, okay? This guy can't stay healthy. Now, he just got a contract, 2 years ago? I think it was a 4-year deal. Right. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's still capable of getting you 11 to 1,200 yards. He can get you between 9 and 10 touchdowns if he's put in the right situation. And I think that he could be a missing piece of a championship competitive team, a.k.a. the Packers. I don't know if the Raiders are a championship team.
I don't think so.
No, they're not even close. Their defense is putrid.
Yeah, so to me, Julio Jones should be going to a team that needs a missing piece, a missing offensive player. And I think the Packers, the Patriots are a team.
The Ravens.
The Ravens are another team. What else? Miami?
Miami, yeah, definitely. I could say Miami because
if they got Julio Jones and after they added Will Fuller, you have Parker there, Devontae Parker there. That would be a really nice tandem with those three.
Mm-hmm. And they drafted Waddle too. It's Julio Jones at this point.
I forgot.
Who's a good compliment to what Waddle is because he's got the
Hold
size.
on, let each other speak. Why do you guys always undertone each other? One speaks, then the other speaks. That's what the show is supposed to go. Okay.
Jeff says maybe Julio Jones could play net for the Islanders. He might be able to catch a puck. Carl says like Speedy with the dark sausage, get in and out.
Well, I guess Speedy likes the spicy dark sausage.
I do. We already went over this. We don't need to
the spicy.
You don't need to repeat things in your head.
But it's true. Do you not like him spicy?
Yes, I do. Now, all right. Solidify that and stop.
Do you want to add a little bit of salt? A little salt on that? Why? What?
I don't need
a salty.
It's flavorful enough as it is.
No, flavorful enough. How about just adding a little bit of salt, a little pepper? I give it some tangy feeling. Nope. How about you dip it in some hot sauce? Would you like that?
That wouldn't be bad.
No, you like hot sauce?
Mm-hmm.
No, okay.
I love Chipotle mayo.
No, ugh.
Oh, I love Chipotle mayo.
I do, but not with sausage.
No.
Can we stop talking about sausage? It's making me.
You brought it.
No, it's Carl's fault. Carl brought it up.
You tried to bring me up. By the way, Brett Goldstein says, "Speedy, look at you today."
Thank you, Brett. I already know.
I know Brett. I actually know Brett. I work with Brett during the summer. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, I like that. Anyways, getting back into this Julio Jones thing. When you guys look at Julio Jones and you try to compare and contrast some of these teams that we just mentioned, even San Francisco would be a great fit for him. You look at why would Julio Jones want to go to the Raiders? Okay, because if Julio Jones wants to win a championship, he has a chance to win a championship in the next 2 years. Is the Raiders one of those teams that are going to win a championship in 2 years? I mean, maybe if they had a defense, maybe if they didn't trade their best defensive player in, I don't know, in the last 15, 20 years to give up, to get first-round draft picks, but by the way, did nothing for them. I mean, seriously. Now, I think John Gruden's a great coach. I really do. I think he's a great offensive mind. Defensively, I just think that they're lackadaisical. And I look at Julio Jones. He would be a great fit for the Packers. But the question is, would the Packers be willing to trade off pieces to the team that they have right now when they're ready to win right now? I mean, what is Atlanta asking for Julio Jones? They want more than a second-round draft pick for Julio Jones.
I don't think they're going to get more than a second-round pick.
Really?
Between the contract and his injury issues lately, I don't think they're going to get any more than a second. If your terms of what maybe they want from the Packers, it could be secondary help because Atlanta does need defense. And Green Bay's defense is actually pretty good in the secondary. They're just bad in the front seven. So maybe they go that direction. Maybe they go with one of those running backs because the Packers have a bunch of running backs that they could sell off. Jamal Williams is gone. A.J. Dillon maybe is included. Or it's just draft picks at that point. But I don't think they're going to get anything more than a second in terms of the primary pick.
I also think that when you look at some of these positions and you're trying to fill in positions right now, being that a lot of these players are going to these practices. This is the first time that I can honestly say in an offseason that these players are anxious to go to the facilities and start to learn the offense, start to learn the defense. There were 80 players that went to the Jets facility to meet the coaches and sit down and learn the offense and the defense, which is incredible. And it's not just the Jets. Giants had 60 some odd players that went to the facilities early in the season. The Packers had about 50. So it's crazy when you look at this offseason and players are really pushing forward, maybe because COVID-19 is so slowly but surely subsiding. So I don't know what it is, but this is a story right now. And the fact that could Julio Jones change the outcome of a team? Could you imagine Julio Jones going to Tampa? Could you imagine that? Julio Jones?
I will tell you this. If Julio does go to Green Bay, which I think would be a really good landing spot for him, I am very curious to see what Aaron Rodgers' reaction would be to that. Would Aaron Rodgers then backtrack everything he said and say, okay, I'm back. Okay, like nothing ever happened. I'll sign that extension now for you. I mean, then it becomes to the whole situation of maybe this was the plan all along for Green Bay. They were interested in Julio Jones. They were waiting for him to be available. That's why we didn't draft a wide receiver.
Ben,
because we knew Julio Jones was there.
Ben says, we, meaning the Packers, need something in the front seven. I've said that for a while. Their run defense is horrible. Even over a receiver, I thought that was their biggest need. Carl says, Julio would be great on the Rams, but their cap is too tight. The Rams don't need a receiver. I don't know why. They drafted too many receivers in this draft. They have Robert Woods. They have Cooper Kupp. They're fine for what they need. The Rams can't take on that contract, like you said. And one of the guests of our show, Laquan Jones, from a couple months ago, fantasy guy who's a big Rams fan, he was saying the same exact things. There's no way that the Rams should pursue anything from the Falcons because the Rams might have to give up some pieces too, and that could be a detriment to their defense too, especially if they have to trade that to the Falcons. So I don't see that kind of fit at all. Ben says, I would enjoy him on the Packers, but the cap space is a problem. Yes, which is why we're saying they're probably going to have to trade pieces on defense.
Absolutely going to have to trade pieces. And it could affect their defense. And their defense isn't good as it is. I mean, they have a lot of weaknesses to that defense. Right. And you saw it in the playoffs, especially against Tampa. Tampa ate them up alive on the defensive side of the ball, on their offensive to the defensive side of the ball. So the question is, where does Julio Jones fit? How about this? If you were to look at a player in the past, looking at Julio Jones' skills, okay? Now, this is a good question to you guys and for the fans. Who could you compare Julio Jones' skills to an ex-wide receiver, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, a wide receiver that actually played a significant long time in the NFL?
I got one. Anquan Boldin. I think very similar to Anquan Boldin.
I think he's better than Anquan.
He was. I think he was, but I think his skill set was very similar. Fast for his size, great route runner, did a lot with a lot of tough catches, was great in the playoffs, as Anquan Boldin was too. Has always been great in the playoffs, even though they didn't win a championship, but he's always been clutch. Like, I think they're very similar. I think you're right. He's faster, which makes him better in the end, but I think they're both very similar levels to what they were in their career. And Boldin will be a Hall of Famer at some point as well. So I think it's very similar, their career paths so far. And yes, Julio probably will end up being better at the end of his career.
How about you, Josh?
For me, the two names I think of instantly, they're curious. One for me is, I would say, he didn't play for a very long time, but Calvin Johnson.
I was just about to say Calvin Johnson. That's
big, bulky guy that could get open down the field. Another one I don't think enough people bring up is Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison, to me, was another guy that he was a big, muscular guy that was able to get open down the field and win the one-on-one catches all the time. That's why he was so big for Peyton Manning, right? That was what a huge part of his asset was. He was a great outside receiver. But Calvin Johnson, to me, is the perfect comparison, I think, to him.
I think it's Calvin Johnson, too. But another player that really I look at his skills is Chad Ochocinco. When Chad Ochocinco was at the top of his game, I'm not talking about at the end of his career. I'm talking about the first 5-6 years of his career when he was a dominant wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. Calvin, when you look at his ability of what he did, what Chad Johnson did on the field, his long length, his speed, his great hand coordination, I think Chad Ochocinco was another guy that you can compare his skills to. Now, Chad might never make it to the Hall of Fame, even though he was, for 5 years, he was a dominant wide receiver. Yeah. The only reason why I think he doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame is his longevity. Right. He just didn't do it long enough. But, I mean, you guys are Jeff, stop making jokes. Julio Jones is most like Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims is a rookie, you moron.
Jesus Christ.
Ben says, going back to the Packers secondary was horrible versus Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, Ben, roster-wise, that's not even the biggest weakness of their team. They need 3-4 defensive ends, because Kenny Clark's good, but that's really it in the middle, on the interior defensive line. They don't have anything else. Power rushers. And middle linebacker is awful for them right now. They lost Blake Martinez in the offseason to the Giants, replaced him with Christian Kirksey. Christian Kirksey, who was good with Cleveland, didn't do anything with Green Bay. And that's a big issue for them as well. And that's a big problem why they've had the run defense issue. But you're right, King did definitely struggle in that game.
Kevin King was the reason they lost that. He was one of the reasons they lost that game. They targeted him on every single play. And you look at it, to me, they still need another pass rusher. I agree with you, Speed. But what was the kid they drafted from Michigan last year?
Rashawn Gary, but he's kind of a hybrid type thing.
He was a hybrid, but at the same time, he did put up pretty good numbers this year, though.
He was better, but again, it's still not completely solving it if they have a guy that's only rotational. The Packers had an issue in run defense, and
you know what? They might make him a full-time guy now, right? That might be the thing. You might see because now you have to remember Mike Pennant is now out as defensive coordinator.
Thank God. He's horrible.
Right. Yeah. Look, that's the thing, right? The last 2 years, we've heard Dom Capers and Mike Pennant. They stood way too long there. They overstayed their welcome, and they just kept keeping them. I was surprised LaFleur kept Pennant as his defensive
I think Capers, though, was a good coordinator, too, though. You're right, he overstayed his welcome. He was creative, though, as a coordinator.
Well, it was all a matter of what he did, right? Look at what he did with Clay Matthews, okay? Like, we take a lot of credit into, and look, who was the linebackers coach? He was on the Jets for a little bit. Kevin Green. Kevin Green was a big part of that reason why Clay Matthews really developed well. You look back at B.J. Raji, who didn't really live up to the draft stock that he was picked at, but he did in the playoffs in that Super Bowl run.
I remember Raji. He was good.
Big man interception.
He was good.
No. He had, like I said, he didn't live up to that hype. He had about 2-3 good, really good. Dude, that. Everybody remembers him for that interception dance that he had against the Bears in the NFC Championship game. Let's call it what it is. He was dominant on that line, and it's just a matter of Green Bay has to. That's why they draft another corner, because all you have to do is look back on that NFC Championship game, and you look right before the half, and you see Kevin King getting burned not once, not twice, but 3 times in that game against.
There's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball whore game. Yeah, that's
Ben says yes, King cost Green Bay the game, and he also says Rashawn Gary needs to develop more. Carl, our fellow Bears fan, rival of the Packers, says that Gary will be solid this year. Ben says he has bursts of greatness, which is absolutely true. He did a lot better, especially in the second half of the season. Big step up from Carl. Carl says, shut up, Josh. And Jeff says Julio would have been a Hall of Famer if he had just played for the Jets.
What did Carl say? What did Carl say? Shut up, Josh, or shout out, Josh?
Yes, shut up, Josh. No. Carl also says picking off the number 3 quarterback for a big 6. Right. Yes, Caleb Haney. I remember that, Carl.
Well, maybe if Jay Cutler didn't, pussyfooted out of the game and, decided to call it a day in the NFC Championship game.
I like that, pussyfoot. I like that. So you like that word? You like pussyfoot?
I'm just – look, you can't deny what he did. Who does that in the NFC Championship game? Just say, I'm out.
Ben also says no adjustment at the half with King. Embarrassing. Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, guys, before we get back into football, I actually went out yesterday to buy some new underwear, and I had these box briefs. I did. I went to get I bought these Reebok underwear. By the way, stay away from Reebok boxer briefs, okay? They crank up your ass, okay? I've for the whole show, dude. For the whole show, my ass is sweating between my legs, okay? No, I'm trying to crank this underwear out of my ass, okay? So it's terrible. It's better off. I'm probably better off sticking Oreos over there, okay? I'm probably better off. Anyway,
I thought this was going to be a Speedy story when you said you were shopping for underwear.
I did. I went. By the way, it was late last night before the show, so I was trying to find a place open. I went to Marshall's, and I'm going up and down, and I'm trying to find certain.
That's the best place, by the way.
Yeah,
sales more at that place.
Yeah, but I bought the only ones that they had was Reebok underwear, and they were boxer briefs. And by the way, they're tight around my thighs, okay, and they crank up my ass. It's it's annoying, and I'm telling you because I didn't actually. Brittany didn't wash my underwear the other day, so my underwear is. Is sitting in the.
You don't do your laundry?
No, she does it. You know.
That's very nice of her.
Yeah, well, I don't like doing laundry. That's the one thing I don't like to do. By the way, I like washing dishes, vacuuming the house. I do all that stuff, clean this and clean that. But I hate doing laundry. I don't know what it is. And by the way, I know it's funny because the Beef has a friend, James. I call him Jamie Lee. This guy likes to smell his dirty underwears before he washes them. So he actually admitted to that.
Why?
I don't know. You ask him. I don't know.
I don't want to ask him. He's going to give me some weird answer. It's going to make me scared.
No, there was no weird answer to it. He just likes to smell his dirty underwear.
Carl says that Cutler sucked. Jeff says Mark is reporting that Julio was given professional status to go back to Alabama. Roll Tide. Carl says Reebok underwear. Is this the early 1990s?
Just tell
And then Ben back in Reebok. Insert crying Jordan meme here.
I'm just telling you the truth. Don't go out and buy yourself Reebok underwear. I'm just trying to give you
How
guys
much did the whole, what was it, like a set of 5? How much did it cost? Like $10?
$3. It was a set of 3, and I think it was $8. It was about $8. I wouldn't buy Reebok under. I'm telling
you, those places, right? You go to like what, Marshalls?
I'm pulling on my junk the whole friggin' show so far. Okay.
So what are those stores? What is it? It's Marshalls, Burlington, TJ Maxx. You go to all those stores. They're gonna sell all those brands for like
nothing
$10.
was open when I was going out before the show. I went out. I told Speedy I was going out quickly. I went out. I picked up underwear, and my underwear has been bugging me since. I mean,
but
seriously.
what made you say at that moment? You said I got to go out and get some underwear.
I had no underwear. I was going to do the show like Speedy did, going commando. I mean, seriously.
Wearing pajamas. They're not specify.
You were
specify
commando.
that. I know. I didn't have. I had pajamas on.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, hold on one second. So
you think I did a show naked?
Hold on a second. So Speedy, hold on a second. So wait, so you had pajamas on, right?
Yes.
It was like those flannel pants you were probably wearing, right?
I don't remember.
Let me ask you. No,
they were long. They were long
what
pajamas.
if they have like the little button thing, right? And the button thing just like snap off, and your schlong just pops out, and then Arrow goes like this. Arrow goes, oh my god!
Well, first of all, I wouldn't be looking at his schlong. I wouldn't look.
I would not put it on camera either. But okay.
You don't have to put on camera.
First of all,
we
sit at a table. So how? Unless I'm going under the table and looking at.
No. This is when you were saying next to each other.
Yeah, but I'm not sitting next to him. So how?
I wasn't. I was at my house
at that time.
No, I wasn't. He wasn't. I was at my house.
He was at his house. He was doing a show at his house. It was because it
was the Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, it was
so
the beginning of COVID, right? It was the beginning of COVID.
No, it was over the Thanksgiving break. I was with my family that whole week.
Yeah, well, by the way, you like dark sausage, right?
Why are we bringing this up again?
Why don't you
Damn it, Carl?
Why don't you?
He also likes cucumbers up his ass, so there's that.
No, I don't even like cucumbers as it is.
But
why would I like it up my ass?
Before we get back into football, why do you not like white sausages?
I don't think they have as good of a flavor.
What do you mean you don't like it as good as a flavor?
I don't think it's as strong of a flavor and just tastes good.
Well, wait a second. So you like dark sausages, but you don't like white sausages?
I don't mind them. They're just not as good as the spicy ones or the dark ones.
Do you like the tip of the sausage? Is that your favorite part?
I don't know. I don't have that much analysis on my food.
I love it. You know, do you at least like to masturbate?
Oh my god! I'm not doing this now.
I'm just asking you. I mean, it's a good question.
Listen, whether you ask it now or you ask it on the Snapchat, Speed, you're going to get asked the question, so you must answer it now.
I think so too. I think there has to be some kind of thought to it. You know,
and now you actually have an audience that will actually be able to really see what your answer is, because some people might miss.
Well, he don't shave his balls. We all know that, and he has never shaved his ass. So
and he likes letting dogs lick his asshole.
Well, that's true too. Well,
again, I was blindsided, so stop twisting things
again.
That's
how you were blindsided, dude. You don't hear your dog going into the room, like trying to get, like you don't hear a knob being like clanked. Like
you hear it when the door
makes.
You have
headphones on?
Maybe, I don't remember, but it's possible.
Wait a second.
But
he had headphones on while changing his pants.
What am I gonna put? What am I gonna put my headphones on?
You probably had the beat headphones.
What is my ear attached to my leg now?
You probably had the beat wireless Bluetooth headphones on.
No, I don't. No, I never had any of those. I never had any wireless headphones. Nope.
Well, first of all, what kind of dog actually opens up a door when it's closed? Okay, he must have magical powers.
He just has extreme separation anxiety.
Well, I'm sure he does.
He definitely does.
Especially when he has his nose in your ass. I mean, seriously.
You know what it is, to be fair, because you've seen my dog before. So my dog, when she like leaps up, like she gets on her hind legs, like when she's on the door, she'll actually, when she comes down, she'll hit the knob.
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes the door will open, but it's like one of those knobs where it's like really long. Like what kind of knob was it, Speedy? Was it like the round one, or was it like the really?
It's a round knob, but
that's even more.
He knows how to barrel through. He knows how to barrel through that one particular door.
So your dog likes to
because
hold on,
it's my brother's. It's my brother's room, my
on.
youngest brother. And when I was in college, and sometimes I visited for the weekend, I would stay in his room because I gave my room to one of my other brothers. So I stayed on the top bunk of his room. So whenever I got changed, he was at school because my dog always slept up there too. He's used to that. He's used to going in there, so he knew how to barrel through that door.
Guess who's on the phone? By the way, guess who's on the phone? Our boy Lyle. What's going on, Lyle?
Hello, how's it going?
Well,
oh Lord.
Well, I will say
Hello?
this. I hear you. We hear you. Yes. Hello.
Okay. I wanted to call in and kind of vent a little bit, and it might be very entertaining for the radio.
Can't
So,
wait for this one.
obviously, you're probably not watching the game right now.
We
Or
watched
wasn't
the
watching
game.
When it was
I will tell you, Varlamov should not be in net. I don't know what you were smoking. He stinks. Okay, and Sorokin should have been. They should have pulled Varlamov going into the third period.
They should have, but I want to rant about something else really quick. I want to know what rule they made up in the middle of the game where you can serve 2 penalties at the same time, where Crosby was serving Guentzel's extra penalty and his own penalty, and was able to come out of the box early and never finish the coincidental that he was given. Because the Penguins are supposed to put an extra man in the box to serve Guentzel's extra penalty with coincidentals. And they never did that. And they let Crosby out of the box, and then not even a minute later, there's another penalty power play for the Penguins, and then they scored.
Come on, Lyle. We all know the refs love
What rule
Crosby.
came up with that to let him out of the box? Because that was bullshit.
We all know the refs love Crosby,
I don't know
Lyle. You don't
what
have to
the
tell
hell
us what we don't
happened
know.
First of all, I don't know what Barry Trotz was doing at the half after the second quarter. He should have taken out Varlamov. Varlamov just didn't have his game. And if I'm telling
he should not have played today. He should have been pulled today.
And I'm
so
telling
he should start on Saturday.
if Sorokin doesn't play
like,
on
when
Saturday,
you have Pierre McGuire on national TV saying that the referees are being biased to the Penguins.
Oh, that's
then
nothing
you know
new.
It's bad.
Lyle, that's nothing new. They're always the
Elliot
bias to the
Friedman even
Penguins.
said that they were phantom calls every time the Islanders got momentum.
well,
It was bad tonight. I don't like bitching about the rest because they're doing their job. They're not watching everything they can.
I think it's become the loud.
We have better views than they do. It's different when you're all the way up top or watching on TV. So I really don't like to complain about them. But
By the way,
when you have national writers complaining about it, when you have Pierre McGuire, who is everyone makes fun of for being biased towards the Penguins, say that the referees are being biased towards the Penguins, then you know it's bad.
By the way, Lyle, we got 2 guys in the comments section giving you a warm welcome.
What happened? Where I don't even know how the hell Crosby gets out of that box. I don't. It was bullshit.
Lyle, you got 2 guys
well,
giving
you
you a
like
warm
the
welcome
word
in the
bullshit.
comments section.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Good vocabulary.
Jeff says, add Lyle to the list of people who cry on the network. Typical Islander fan. And here's one. Alex Slows. Lyle's a fudge packer, too. And he also said I was. Alex Slows said I and Lyle were both fudge packers.
Errol, that's on.
I can't even hear you anymore. You're all breaking up.
No, because they have these 2 idiots talking over each other. They always do. I tell them all the time, this is 3 guys on a show. One guy talks, the other one doesn't speak. But I
was
just
laughing, first off.
Well, mute your damn mic. I mean, seriously.
Carl also says if you go 5 goals, don't blame the refs. And then Ben's back in with the popcorn emoji.
First of all, and Lyle, I'm gonna speak as an Islander fan. The reason why the Islanders lost this game had nothing to do with the refs. There were 3 bad goals by Varlamov, and after the second period, I don't care. I love Barry Trotz; he's a great coach. Barry Trotz should have pulled Varlamov. If Sorokin was in the game, I guarantee you the Islanders would have won this game. I would have guaranteed you. And for any Islander fan that thinks that Varlamov should play again in this series, I'm telling you right now, if Sorokin wins in game number 3, they should absolutely keep Sorokin in for the rest of the series. I don't understand why Barry Trotz completely thinks that Varlamov is the guy. Varlamov was the guy. He was the guy last year. He's not the guy anymore. and you have a young goaltender like Sorokin, who looked good in game number 1. He did. He gave up a couple of goals, but he looked better.
Well, here's the thing. Varlamov is a visitor to Kansas. You cannot play him. In the first game, the only reason they were in it in the third period was because of Varlamov. And this third game, he let in a few really bad goals and should have been pulled. But I don't think Barry Trotz would ever really do that in a playoff game. I've never seen him do it. He didn't do it last year when Varlamov wasn't playing well. I don't think he would have done it tonight. Sorokin, I think, will start tomorrow. I personally feel that Varlamov is still hurt, and he's not 100%.
By the way, I'm sorry to cut you off, Lyle. I'm sorry.
He's not playing the same way he was.
Lyle, I'm sorry to cut you off, but Jeff keeps saying, boo-hoo, I'm sad that you're trash hockey team, boo-hoo. Let me tell you something. Stop calling them trash, Jeff, because they're not trash. They went to the Eastern Conference Championship last year and took your Lightning, who you think is so great, to 6 games, all right? What did the Boston Bruins do last year? Nothing, okay? So stop with your stupid Bruins, stop with your stupid Boston teams, and eat shit, okay? That's what you need to do. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of him going in and taking shots at the Islanders. What did the Islanders do to him? And for to hate the Islanders. By the way, what was the Boston Bruins record against the Islanders this year? I wonder. I would predict to think that the Islanders had a winning record against the Boston Bruins.
Tell the Bruins fans to worry about their own series. They have enough of a problem.
I mean, they are winning right now.
Pretty sure they're down 2-1, right?
No, they're up 2-1. They won it in double overtime yesterday.
Hello?
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Are you here? Are you listening to us?
He's definitely not here. Really, you're going to ask him that question, Arrow? You're going to ask him if he's here?
Do you hear us?
That's a no.
That would be a no. So there we go.
Lovely phone call. Lovely.
Lovely. The great and powerful Lyle.
Oh, I was wondering. There's only one available. That's for damn sure.
Well, again, Lyle is a passionate fan,
Yes.
and he has his own thoughts to it. And listen, I don't know why Jeff keeps attacking the Islanders. I don't know what his hatred to the Islanders are.
Maybe he could call in and ask.
Speaking of which, we got him.
No, we got Jeff. What's going on, Jeff? Are you going to say something stupid again? Let's hear it.
Boo-hoo! Boo-hoo! My hockey team lost! Boo-hoo! What are the Islanders going to do? Are they going to hang a conference finalist banner up like the Colts did a few years ago? That's their big accomplishment. We conference finalists. We made it.
Hold on one second. And what are you guys laughing at, you Ranger fans? What have they done?
Wow,
Okay.
he's taking it personal.
No. I'm not taking it personal. I'm sitting here listening to this crap every single time that you talk about the Islanders. First of all, the Islanders have a winning record against the Boston Bruins this year. And by the way, what has the Bruins? I don't give I don't give a crap. I really don't give a crap because the series isn't over. It hasn't over.
When Jeff made fun of me the first 2 weeks, you sat there laughing.
What did you say, Jeff?
It was over before it started.
Do you want to bet on that?
We already did.
No, I know, and that's why I'm going to win because I'm definitely going to win.
Boo-hoo! Islanders are down. Oh my God! High sticking Crosby in the box. Why did they let him out? Boo-hoo!
I don't care about that. That's not why the Islanders lost. Varlamov couldn't stop a lick. That's why they lost.
Right. See, Errol, you want to know? I got to give you credit where credit is due. You didn't whine. You didn't cry. You're saying, hey, my goalie didn't stop pucks. And that's the way to take a loss like a man. Credit to you. But Lyle, woo-hoo! I can't believe they let Crosby out. The refs are biased. Burn the building down. Series is over. And life stinks.
No,
and I laugh because when Jeff made fun of me the first few weeks, you were sitting there, you were laughing as well, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm laughing.
No, that's fine. It's fine to laugh. The reason why the Islanders
Rangers have nothing to do with
the reason why the Islanders lost this game is because Barry Trotz should have pulled Varlamov after the second period. I said it to Speedy. What did I tell you? Mm-hmm. I said pull Varlamov, put Sorokin in the third period. He didn't do that. I think Barry Trotz made a big mistake, and now you're seeing the big thing. Actually, hold on. We're going to put Lyle on with you. Hold on one second, Jeff.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on. We're going to try to put these guys on. Hold on one second, Lyle. Hold on. Hold on. He's going to be singing a song here.
I want to talk to Jeff.
All right, Jeff's on the phone with you.
Hi, Jeff. Now you shut the hell up, boy, okay? I'm speaking. I never played lost for when Crosby came out of the box. I bitched because it was a bullshit thing that never should happen. Okay, so you shut the hell up. You don't know what you're dealing with.
Woo-hoo, conference finalists, we're amazing.
I never said that. That was Errol. I never said we lost tonight because of that.
Sidney Crosby out of the box. The refs is it's rigged. The refs. Oh my God, the refs.
Are you done acting like a bitch?
Oh, hey, I'm only acting like you. Could you hear yourself when you called in, all crying and whining? Jesus.
I wasn't crying.
Pass this guy a tissue.
I wasn't crying. No, I wasn't.
Ding, ding, ding.
Come on, it started off great. I mean, what?
I wasn't crying, but I'm sorry. I was not crying because we lost. I wasn't crying because I was saying that they never should have allowed him out of the box, period. Which is a fact.
Never should have allowed him. So you get a life sentence for hooking. Never allowed him out of the box.
Do you even know hockey? Because you sound like an idiot. Oh, no, see, now you're not talking. We've explained hockey to you.
You got to explain hockey to me? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to explain hockey to you, you moron. You shut the hell up. I'm speaking. This is how hockey works. This is how hockey works. Shut the hell up.
As Josh is gone.
Shut up.
I rolled off the couch.
Shut up.
Oh, my goalie didn't stop fucking. What you do? You cried.
I thought we were the loudmouths.
I never cried. I complained. The difference.
All right, let's interject on this because Carl has some funny comments in this section.
Yeah,
what is better, Lyle's burner phone service or Islanders goaltending? Stuck says, Lyle is the Bobby Hill of worldwide sports. That boy ain't right. Alex Slows chimes back in. Oh, no, LOL. Carl says burner phone. Ben with more popcorn emoji says, uh-oh. Carl accuses Lyle of blaming the refs. Ben's laughing.
I'm going to finish talking and explaining hockey to this idiot. Okay?
Alex back in.
When people get coincidentals, but one gets an extra penalty, the team has to send an extra guy to the box to serve that extra penalty. That's how it works.
Josh,
and they never did that.
Alex says, Josh has died. You broke him. Ben says, Jerry. Alex says, put these two in a wrestling ring and have them go at it. Carlos says, he was talking, Lyle, your phone is trash. Ben just said, I fell out my wheelchair laughing. And Snug says, Lyle cries as he strokes it to his favorite wrestlers.
Ben really in a wheelchair? Someone should send him help if Ben's really in a wheelchair.
I hope not. But go ahead, Lyle.
What?
Go ahead. You guys are talking.
I already said it. I explained to him how it works. Like, I wasn't saying that's why we lost. It wasn't why we lost. Like I said, I agreed with Errol. We lost because Varlamov didn't play well. I said that on the phone. I said that.
You only said that after you blamed the refs, Crosby getting out of the box, Pierre Maguire saying stupid. It's phantom penalties, all these other things before you said, "Oh, my goalie stuck donkey ball."
All I said was that the refs were not good tonight. I did not say it's why we lost. I never said that.
You didn't call the.
You are twisting my words. You're twisting my words.
And you didn't say that the Islanders lost because of the refs, right? So Errol would have had.
I did not say that. I did not say that we lost because of the refs. I never said that. You assumed I was saying that.
Please run back the tape. You absolutely said it.
I'll ask Josh. Josh, did I say we lost because of the refs?
I mean, it was blaming the refs at first, but at the same time, look, let's call it what it is. Varlamov was the reason they lost this game. It's a fact.
Yes, he was
the first thing you vented about was the refs, though.
Hold on. You guys got to give each other a chance to speak so everybody can hear you. Go ahead. You first, Josh, then Lyle, then Jeff. You guys got to share the time. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is because you came on, you were upset about the referees, and that's fine. Listen, when you have a tough loss in the playoffs like that, you always are going to blame the refs. I've done it many times in my life. I'm sure Speedy has. I'm sure Errol has. At the same time, you have to call a spade a spade. And what it was Sorokin should have been the one that should have been playing. He won game one. The guy won game one. you should continue that streak of letting him play, right? That's what it is. You don't want to ruin any momentum. There was no reason to bring back Varlamov. If Varlamov is still indeed hurt, then this is more of a reason why Sorokin should have played then.
Go ahead, Lyle.
I wasn't blaming the refs for the loss. I was saying that they were a factor, which they were a factor. That's how sports work. It's baseball,
both teams
it's
had the same
football.
refs. Both teams had the same refs.
They did, but
It's like
they were obviously
shitty at calling balls and strikes. Both teams have to deal with it.
No, and you're right about that. But when one team is getting the benefit of everything, it's a factor. Not saying that they were the reason why we lost. Those words never came out of my mouth. I agreed with Errol multiple times that Varlamov wasn't why we lost. And I agree with that, and it is the reason. You let in 3 goals that you easily should have stopped.
Right,
but
there you go.
When you are getting calls against you that are making it more difficult to have a fair and balanced game, they are being a factor in against you. That was my point.
Well, listen, I understand that completely, Lyle, and you make a fair point. But show me one hockey game that's ever been played where one team hasn't benefited from the refs or another. Like, the calls are so inconsistent, it happens every night. And the Islanders need to be a little tougher and have some perseverance and not fold like a cheap lawn chair.
Right.
Well, now, you are right. Every game, referees play a factor. But when you are letting players, who's one of the best players in the world, out of the box when he never should have been, to immediately go onto a power play, that's different. That's not something that they do. And that him being out there was not why they lost or why they scored that goal.
All of that means absolutely nothing, because the fact of the matter is the game was tied. The Islanders had a chance to win. The Penguins, by the way, high-sticked the puck into the net, and your bald, Willy Wonka-looking coach didn't have the balls to challenge something. So you can blame Barry Trotz, too.
No, yep, I blame him for that, too. I was there. I couldn't see a replay, but it immediately looked like a high stick. Everyone in my section thought it was.
It was over. At least it was a high stick, and they should have absolutely challenged it. I don't understand what Barry Trotz was doing, but
it looked like it was over his shoulders.
But honestly,
so you could go on and on about how the refs did this, the refs did that, whatever you want, right? The fact of the matter is, it was a tied hockey game. Barry Trotz packed up his balls and took them back into the locker room, right? Because, look, I understand they would have gotten a penalty if they had ruled that it wasn't a high stick. But what did you have to lose at that point? There was 2 minutes left in the game. You're probably going to lose anyways, right? Because what are the odds you're going to pull your goalie and score, right? Mm-hmm. He should have challenged it and at least taken the risk. They're down 2-1 now, and he didn't take the risk. He should have taken the risk and maybe given his team a chance to win. And by the way, when coaches stick up for their teammates and go, oh, no, Sorokin allowed a crappy goal that shouldn't have been allowed, players respond when coaches do things like that and stick up for their team. Mm-hmm. And the fact of the matter is, Barry Trotz is a pussy.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't actually fully disagree.
I wouldn't say that.
Like, why the hell is Leo Komarov on the first line still?
What?
Like, why is Leo Komarov still on the first line?
Everybody makes – come on, Jeff. Everybody makes mistakes. And
wait, we're not really complaining about Barry Trotz, are we, Lyle?
Listen, man, that's not a mistake you can make. And the series was tied 1-1.
Yes.
Now you're down 2-1. It pigeonholes you, right? Like, and not for nothing, the Islanders hire a whole staff of people that stare at screens looking for high sticks, offsides, everything. Get your shit together and, challenge something.
By the way, Carl says, Lyle, 5 goals were a factor. Snug says, I think Lyle has confused the NHL refs with the WWE refs. Ben back in, all I'm hearing is excuses. Snug asks, is it legal for Lyle to drive a car? And Carl asks, how much is parking, Lyle?
Parking was free. I booked at the Marriott. It was free.
I mean, the Islanders stink. They play at a dog track. Take your shitty arena and go home, Lyle.
Dog track?
We were getting along so well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Horse track. horse track. They play
Yeah.
horse track.
I think dog
They're not-
racing is illegal.
Jeff, they're not playing at the Belmont yet, and it's a beautiful stadium. It really
No,
is
they're
beautiful. It's really beautiful. And I think, Jeff, if you ever come to New York, when it does open up, you definitely have to check it out because it's very impressive.
Why would
It's-
I go to
it's very
Jeff, you don't have to go for an Islander game.
You don't have
could
to
bet
go
on
for
bet on
go to a
the
concert.
horse races.
Go to a concert. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful.
I'm going to a
stadium.
concert there in December.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
All New York is New York City, 100 miles of bullshit, and then the Hamptons.
Well, thank you.
You're a Bruins fan, right? You're a Bruins fan? That's what I'm
Yes,
getting?
I'm a Bruins
So
fan,
when
by
they
the
play
way.
the Bruins, come down to a game. They're going to have a hotel right next door eventually. So you can stay at the hotel,
You
and I'll buy you a beer. How about that?
Well, I can't wait
I'll
to
buy
see
you a
this.
beer.
Fans breathing on me.
Well, if it's still half unvaccinated seating, you'll be 6 feet away.
You're a filthy people, Islanders fan. Filthy.
I think Jeff will gladly go 6 feet away from you.
I think as long as Jeff gets the beer, that's what he cares about.
Filthy.
And by the way, the Bruins
filthy people.
and the Islanders are not playing. I don't know if you've been watching hockey, Lyle, but the Pens, even with a crappy Tristan Jarry, are handling them.
Well, Jerry didn't play.
It's very bad.
Jerry didn't play very well tonight. If anything,
He's played awful. No, dude, he's played awful. Game 1 was awful. Game 2, he was allowing cupcakes in. Tristan Jarry thinks out loud.
I think that
Tristan Jarry is not a good goalie, but like
That's right, and you're down 2-1 to not a good goalie.
well, they're down 2-1 because
but
Varlamov
Pittsburgh
should not be
plays a good
playing.
defensive game.
Varlamov
Pittsburgh plays
should
a good
be playing.
defensive game.
Well, let me say
They have to
something.
play a good defensive game because their goalie is Swiss cheese. He's an absolute
Let me see.
fizz.
Errol, before you say something, Ben comments back in, if you're buying, I'll fly in from Arizona. I guess referring to the beer. And Snug says, Josh has the MVP backstage passes for the Barry Manilow concert.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. My mother does like him, so there's that.
Is there any rumors about that?
Well, as many as you are, pal, with your
guys might
news
complain-
and notes on
You
top
guys might complain about Varlamov and all of the Islanders goals, and you guys can complain about that. Tristan Jarry's the worst goalie in the playoffs.
He is, but Varlamov,
I don't
Varlamov,
disagree with that.
Varlamov was horrendous. And I'll tell you this, Varlamov was really horrendous in the first period that cost the Islanders game number 2. So
That still doesn't change the fact that
No.
Tristan Jarry is the worst goalie in the playoffs.
he probably is. He probably is. And right now the Islanders are down from the Pittsburgh Penguins and Jerry. And they better Barry Trotz better freaking open up his eyes and say, you know what? I'm not putting Varlamov in game number 3. I mean game number 4. I'm
Then
putting
again, the Maple Leafs are already down 1-0. So
Sounds about right.
so here we go with that.
Sounds about right.
well, nobody thought that. And now that Tavares could be out for the rest of the playoffs.
The Pittsburgh
I think
Penguins
he'll be out
rather
for
put
part
up-
of next year too. I'm gonna be honest. He was seizing on the ice in that video. It looked really bad.
Well, it wasn't that he was
He could be
seizing.
out
The
part of
problem
next year.
was the trainer. When you get a concussion, the worst thing you're trained as a trainer, training 101, you don't pull up a player by his neck and hold him up like that.
No,
I mean,
No,
that
that
was-
was the right thing to do. That was the
No,
right
it
thing
was
to
not. It's not.
Yes,
because
it
what
was,
you do is
because-
it's not because if he slips off of his hand, he slips his head.
do. Yes,
Smacks
because
the-
he was seizing. And if he was still moving his neck around, he could have got even more
if
injured.
you're
So
if
he was
somebody
giving him
is
a break.
seizing, Lyle, if somebody is seizing, you leave them there and let them seize for the time being. You don't pick them up by their neck because what happens if you stick
He
your
was
finger
giving
near
him
their
a
mouth,
brace to
they can
straighten
bite
out
your
his neck.
fingers. No, that's not right, Lyle. You're
First of all, the best thing to do is to make sure that his teeth, you put a mouthpiece or put something in his mouth so he doesn't swallow his tongue or something like that. Because when you have a seizure, you can absolutely swallow your tongue and it can kill you. That's
Who are
one.
we talking about? The dude that got slammed from the Blues from Mountain Cotton?
No, Tavares got kneed in the
No,
face.
Tavares got kneed tonight.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that hit. I heard it was bad.
Yeah, he got a hit. He fell down to the ice, and Corey Perry came by and kneed him in the head by accident. And
Yeah, okay.
he
Yeah,
then-
Corey Perry, what a gentleman.
no, he tried.
What a gentleman.
No, it was pretty obviously an accident. He tried to lift his knee over him, and his like lower shin accidentally got him in the head. And
Dude,
he,
as an Islanders fan, you
pretty
should be
humble.
ecstatic. We're
No.
part of the group of trash fans throwing snakes at him and stuff. You trash group of fans.
No, I don't want him getting injured. I don't want him getting hurt. That's
what I say.
not-
Errol was cheering at the beginning of the show.
Batteries and shit at him because he left us. Whoa, we're sad.
No, I was pissed off that what John Tavares did for the way he did it.
But you were fine with him getting hurt, though. I told you. You were
yes,
like,
I
oh,
was.
yippee.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
See,
okay?
that's not right.
Oh, well, I don't care what you did.
You don't wish for players to get hurt. That's not right. That's not being a
sports first of all, I was a hockey player, okay? And here we go. What sport
Josh
did you play, buddy? What sport did you play? What sport did you play?
Softball.
I played
He
baseball,
played
basketball,
softball.
and I played tennis.
Well, I played top end hockey.
That cornhole
I
game.
play.
I love cornhole. That's the best freaking game, man. They should make that an Olympic sport. Are you kidding me? That's the curling.
No, dodgeball for an Olympic sport. Everyone wants dodgeball for an Olympic sport.
Dude, he's his barbecues champion 3 years running.
I love it. I got a cornhole set in the back.
I don't even think Josh knows how to throw a cornhole.
Oh, trust me. Let me tell you something, Pally Boy.
He can't throw a beanbag.
Yeah, I watched you play cornhole in Austin. Don't toot your horn, okay?
Go
ahead.
Errol, here's the thing. You can be upset about how John Tavares did it or why he did it or whatever. You're completely in your rights to have your opinions about how he did it.
Yes.
You're a trash group of fans and you're throwing batteries and shit at him. No one deserves that.
I would
No
throw
one.
batteries at him, but I would tell if I ever saw John Tavares in the public eye.
When he came back to the island, what were they throwing at him?
They were throwing things at him.
Rubber snakes. Rubber snakes.
Rubber snakes, batteries, anything those trash people could get their hands on, they were throwing at him. No one deserves
I'm sorry,
that.
rubber snakes is funny. Rubber snakes is funny.
No, sorry. No one deserves to have anyone throw it at them, right? You can boo them. You can scream stuff at them. That's what your ticket entitles you to voice your opinion. You're a trash group of people when you start throwing things at people.
Wait,
like that.
are you from Boston?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so you're going to say that we're trash when your city is known to be yell racist remarks to ball players?
Listen,
Really?
buddy, listen.
So you're going to call us trash?
There's certainly been instances, and because one drunk idiot said something to Adam Jones, what happened the next
Thank
day?
you. Because of
The
a small few.
The entire Fenway
We're
Park
getting
gave
along
Adam
so
Jones a
well.
standing ovation, did they not? So you're going to judge the whole
Because of a small few. Because of a small few, it does not make everybody trash. Thank you for proving my point.
Yeah, well, guess what? If you're going to judge Boston because one idiot said something, you should go listen to the previous shows and hear what the Beeve has to say. That's probably one of your buddies.
How did the beef get put into this?
It was only a matter of time, Josh. Come on.
Oh, my God.
By the way, Carl says Lyle has mosh pit passes for Michael McDonald.
If we're judging entire communities because of a couple of morons, I'm going to treat you like I treat the Bees.
You just did that, though. You just did that.
Yeah.
Because of a small couple of people who
No,
did
because-
something. You trashed
Dude,
the
the
entire
whole arena-
family.
Dude, the whole arena was throwing things at him. It wasn't.
No, they weren't. It was a couple, one or two people sitting down there warm-ups. I was there. I watched it.
Yeah, of course.
You're telling me. I watched it happen. It was not everybody. It was a small group of people.
It went from one person to two people to a group to a couple of groups. It was the entire place. Just go with it.
No, it wasn't. It was like 3 people who came together who were doing it, who were throwing stuff on the ice. Besides that, that was it.
Honestly,
How much is that beer opening, by the way?
watching and I don't want to keep going on with this John Tavares thing. What John Tavares did was wrong. When the Islanders came to him and they asked him, "Listen, we're looking to move you, and I want to stay here. I plan to be an Islander for the rest of my career." When he knew that he wasn't staying there, he knew from day one he wasn't staying there. He screwed the Islanders, which could have set the Islanders back. Thank God it didn't, because they brought in Barry Trotz. But they could have gotten 2 first-round draft picks for John Tavares. They could have solidified themselves.
Can I just ask you something, though, Errol? Seriously. Okay, yes, the Islanders could have gotten something for him, right?
A lot for him.
Why? Hold on. But why would it be in John Tavares' interest to go to a team that would be giving up assets when he can just wait 2 months and do it? Like, it's a brilliant move for John Tavares to be like, I'm staying, and then split town so the team he goes to doesn't have to give up assets for him.
But that's why the Islander fans can't stand him, because if he didn't want to be here, let them move you and try to get assets back for you so they can rebuild.
He doesn't have to let them do anything, because guess what? The team could have just traded him to anywhere they wanted to and told them to shove it, because that's the team's right. And John Tavares' right is to say, well, screw it, I'll stay.
Hold on, Jeff. And
what if Tavares?
I want to add
Josh, and I don't want to hear you because I see you shaking your head. Because if John Tavares played for the Rangers and he did that to the Rangers, you would be fucking pissed off.
I didn't even.
You would be pissed off. You would be pissed off.
Why? I didn't even shake my head. Why are you getting?
I saw what you did. You put your hand up and you shake your head.
No,
yes.
I was raising my hand to make a point.
Let's go watch the replay. Let's go watch the replay. Go watch the replay. Let's go watch the replay.
Okay, hold on. I want to add.
Holy Moses!
I want to add one thing about the Tavares situation when he left. So it was known since the middle of the season, or rumored, that his wife was the one who didn't want to stay here, or his wife to be. She got a job in Toronto
as a nurse.
John Tavares wanted to stay here.
I don't believe that.
When you're about to be married, and you have a wife who does not want to live there, you're not going to go there.
John Tavares was never staying here. The other team, he
was whipped by his wife.
It was not. It was Toronto. If it wasn't Toronto, it was San Jose. I know. I'm telling you, I had an insider. I've interviewed the insider that was telling me the San Jose Sharks offered him the most money. It was either
I think $2 million more.
Yeah, it was either
it was 13.
It was Toronto. Or it was San Jose. It was never the Islanders. Never the Islanders. He never was coming back.
That's not at all what he said. That's not what he said. He said it came down to the Islanders and Toronto.
Don't believe that, because...
Hold on.
I believe
Hold on. Just 1 second.
You believe him. The same guy... Hold on, Jeff. The same guy that went to a news conference after he signed with Toronto and called Matt Barzal the other kid, okay? He wouldn't even give him a name. He said the other kid. All right, so that's the disrespectful person that he is.
I do believe him. I believe that it was us. From what I know, that he wanted to stay here, and his wife didn't.
Good riddance.
We're talking about something that happened a couple of years ago. Can we talk about how trash the Rangers fan base is? What a bunch of mouth-breathing losers.
I can't say anything about this one.
Aaron and I talked about this the other day, right? I just want to shove Josh in a body bag right now, being a pussy, right? And part of that pussy fan base for a second here, right? Rangers fans crying that Tom Wilson should be suspended because he dropped fucking Panarin on his head. Guess what? Maybe he could have gotten suspended for the cross-check to the back of the head when Buchnevich was down. But Panarin was a willing combatant going in there to try to fight Tom Wilson. And just because Tom Wilson picked him up and dropped him on his head doesn't mean he should.
Well, hold on. Did you see what Tom Wilson was doing when Buchnevich was on the ice, Jeff? Did you see what was happening? I didn't realize it was MMA. I thought this was hockey we were playing. I didn't realize it was a free-for-all and Tom Wilson can do whatever he wants. Which, by the way, if you
I want to add one thing really quick.
Coyle almost got paralyzed because of Tom Wilson. So, if anything, you should be fighting about Tom Wilson being a little pussy vagina head. Which, by the way, he couldn't come out to the game because of a lower body injury. By the way, boo-hoo! Tom Wilson, I hurt myself. Boo-hoo! There's your little mark.
Hold on. I want to say one thing, Jeff. After you just said that, I want to apologize for coming at you at the beginning. You just became my favorite person on this show.
No, Jeff's not going to agree with you on that.
I love you now. You are my favorite. I'm sorry if I came at you. You are right. Yep, I'm not disagreeing with you ever again.
Hold on. Josh is sitting there bitching. Oh, he could have paralyzed him. Well, guess what? If you're a pussy, stay out of the scrum. You know what the problem is? Rangers fans, because they're such pussies, they want to be like, look, Panarin, he's our hero. And
I don't even understand what this has anything to do with the Rangers. We're talking about the Islanders and the Bruins and this and that. This has nothing to do with the Rangers, Jeff. I don't know why. Clearly, they're living rent-free in your head.
Bunch of pussies, you Rangers fans.
Clearly, you talk about them. You brought it up. They're living rent-free in your head, buddy boy.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God, I know.
Speedy, this is a hockey segment.
Yeah,
He
really.
got picked up and dropped on his head. He was a willing combatant in that scrum.
Well, what would you like him to do, Jeff? You want him to just sit there and punch his teammate? Is that what you want? You talk about toughness, about the Islanders toughing up, right? You talked about that earlier, how they need to toughen up in the games.
I have
Well,
no
the
idea
Rangers
what
tried
he's
to
saying
tough
about
up at that
tough
point,
and
didn't
tough.
they? So let me ask you this: when Tom Wilson, so when Tom Wilson paralyzes David Pastrnak next year, are you going to be saying the same thing, that the NHL let him get away with this? You're going to be saying that. That's what you're going to be saying.
First of all, David Pasternak's not stupid enough to go in as a willing combatant.
He doesn't have to be. Tom Wilson will do it himself. That's the kind of Tom Wilson does whatever he wants. Go look at his videos of what he's done in the past.
You want to know why Tom Wilson hasn't done anything in this series? Because we actually have tough hockey players that can do something. The Rangers, pussies.
Okay, yeah. And they let rent free in your head, Pally.
They let Tom Wilson get away.
Yeah, they let Tom Wilson, all right. Huge. I think you got a bad crush on Tom Wilson personally. Do you have his number?
Dropped him right on that.
Yeah, you like it, right, Jeff? You like it rough with Tom Wilson. I can hear it in your voice. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
I love.
I know you love Tom Wilson. You love him real good. I know it. Oh man, you love it like speaking in his asshole. You love it. I know it.
Get him back.
Niet Panarin.
Yep.
No more.
Yep.
By the way, Carl says if someone is seizing you, you leave them alone until it's over. Ben says, have fun losing a finger from a bite. Snug says, good old first aid, Lyle. Ben says, cornhole's the best. Pistons fans would disagree. Carl says, please get Lyle a better phone. Alex says, Lyle might wake the dead if he screams any louder. Ben says, hashtag
I
malice
have no
in
voice.
the palace.
I'm using my Bluetooth in the car.
Snug says, oh God, please do, and Lyle a beef hour. Oh God, I don't think any of us would survive that. Ben,
right? No one cared. That's what happened. No one cared about Buchnevic's face getting driven into the ice. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, why are you?"
See, Jeff, I don't understand though. Why are you still bringing this up if we're talking about the Islanders and the Bruins who are in the playoffs? The Rangers aren't even here.
No. We're talking about you butting into a hockey conversation when you watch trash.
I didn't butt into the hockey conversation. You brought my name into it, buddy boy. Why don't you rewind the tape, you hypocrite? You love that name.
Ben says, chill pills, fellas. Carl says somebody call Mark. Mark was going to be on, but then said it wasn't feeling well.
And of course, Lyle's going to suck Jeff's balls because he made fun of the Rangers. So of course, Lyle loves it. But the funny thing is, Jeff still wants to be 6 feet apart from Lyle. So it don't even make a damn difference.
Ben says, wowza. Carl says, Speedy says, Mark was not feeling well tonight. Snug says, his wife's tired of some crazy Islanders fan named Lyle that stalked her all the time. That's why they left. Ben laughing emojis. What just happened? Carl said Jeff wanted a Brad Marchand slash, and Ben says, I'm loving this.
I'd love to see that fight. Tom Wilson and Brad Marchand. I'd love to see where that one would go.
Marchand wins.
Dude, I love that Mark comes on the show. He's a real celebrity. He's one of the very few people in Alabama with Wi-Fi.
Are you still Jeff, are you still going to ask him the next time you see him who Quinnipiac is?
Listen, and I understand. Jeff,
I have no idea what he said.
No, he said, "Are you gonna the next time he comes on? Are you gonna ask him who Quinnipiac is?" That's what he said. But
first of all, I could tell you where Quinnipiac went to high school. Quinnipiac was a running back in high school. Mark only knows Tide players. That's all he knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Stay in your double wide.
Well, I will say this: he doesn't know a lot about college football besides Alabama. I can honestly tell you that. But when it comes to the NFL and know about the past and the present, he knows his stuff. He does. He definitely does.
He's seen a forward pass before. Good for him.
But to me, he should have came on last night, and he respects your knowledge of what you know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know knowledge. I just yell at people.
No, but you have knowledge. You know
you do a good job of that.
Yes, he's got knowledge.
Lyle is sucking up to Jeff now.
No. But Jeff,
that's right. Because once I put you in a body bag, Lyle came over to the dark side.
He's 100% correct. He's 100% correct.
I can
Ryan,
feel
I'm
it.
gonna
Oh
have
boy!
that beer with you,
I
so
swear to
get me a
God,
ticket,
I'm
buddy.
telling you right now, if Jeff pulled his
Oh, I
pants
will
up,
for next year. Tell not.
I would do it.
What was that saying, Jeff? What did you say? What did you say?
What did I say about what?
Lyle, you're gonna go get a beer or something like that? Josh was
Oh,
talking.
no, I'm coming to have that beer with Lyle now. We're homeboys. We're going to just prank call Josh all night from Islanders games. And I hate the Islanders, but you know what I hate more? Rangers fans. You're trash. You're absolute
And you know what I
garbage.
hate more? Guy Fieri wannabe lookalikes. They're trash.
Guys, Fieri wannabes.
Yep, I saw those pictures, Jeff. You and that hairstyle look like.
What? Because I got hair that goes up in the front?
I don't know where you were in the 70s or today, buddy boy. You better get that hair. Jesus Christ. I think you and Bob Baffert were hanging out doing some druggies last week. No wonder why
Buddy, you're gonna wish you look as good as I do when you're my age.
Let me tell you something, Jeff. I don't want to look any part of you, period, pal. Jeff, if I look like you, I would say, can I please get reincarnated and come back to life again? I don't want to look anything like you.
Hey, brother, say what you want, man. I still get it sucked. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't say who you get it sucked by, though. Was it Quiddy Pay? Yay or nay?
Buddy, you wish you could have lived my life. You're sitting on a couch in your
Yeah,
mom's
I know. I wish I
basement.
could have lived your life. What? Watching men playing high school in shoulder pads all the time. I love doing that. Jesus Christ. Get my fannies in the
I think my resume goes a whole lot deeper than that.
Oh, does it? Your resume goes deeper? Tell me more. I'm dying to know.
Everyone knows.
Oh, that's fine. You want Arrow to stick up for your battles. That's nice.
No. And everybody and let me tell you something. And
That's
this
when
is
you get
no.
something
Hold on one second, Josh. And I'm gonna step in on this. First of all, if I think Jeff is wrong, I will attack Jeff to the heart. Okay, I don't give an F what Jeff says. So if Jeff says something and I disagree with him, I will attack him. I have no fear to attack him. But if you look at his resume
I agree with you with his resume. Yes. I was messing around with
his resume is there.
I know. He does have a good resume. I've told him this in a phone conversation. I've told him he has
his resume is there. His resume is there. Okay,
I'm just messing around. That's what.
As far as fans that listen to the show and actually calls the show, Jeff is probably the most, as far as statistics and information when it comes to college sports, college football, college basketball. There's probably nobody that's, even people that we've interviewed, program directors. We've had coaches come on the show, broadcasters come on. He knows more than all of them when it comes to college sports. So
I have real sources.
Well, Speedy's got real sources, but they're in his pants.
No, that wasn't a shot at me. That was a shot at Josh.
No, that's fine.
100%.
You may have real sources. And
I'm not the one who spreads rumors.
That's fine, and I respect that. That's great, and I understand it. I understand Jeff's knowledge. I do. But if we're going to constantly make this a weekly thing where we are just going to come on and just be the banter and everything like that, listen, I'm here. I'm not going to be, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say names. I'm not going to be the Beeve or Mark and shy away. I'm not.
You shouldn't.
Why am I going to do that? It makes you look. It makes you look like a pussy. It does, and that's not what I am, and what I'm here to do.
And you
should
already,
and that's it.
You already look like that when you wear a Rangers t-shirt.
That's fun, and I don't even know what you.
How did this turn into?
But I might have to gouge my eyes out and my ears as well. So I don't want to ask you for anything.
How did this go?
Good call on the horse race, Jeff. That was a good call by you on betting the horse race. Thanks for that tip.
You want to know how it turned into this, Lyle? I'll tell you how it turned into this. A Rangers fan got his feelings hurt.
No, do you want to know why it turned into this, Lyle? I'll tell you, because I didn't know Julian Edelman had a stupid brand or a YouTube show about a cheeseburger. That's how I didn't know about it. By the way, that cheeseburger probably sucked.
I only hope next season Tom Wilson hits Panarin with the Stone Cold Stunner right with
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I love wrestling. If you want to talk wrestling, Jeff, let's all be it. Let's have at it. I got 3 Stone Cold shirts. I could talk wrestling with you all the time. I got the wrestling show on Tuesdays, but you won't listen to it. You'll probably be smoking a doobie. It doesn't even matter.
He's so upset Panarin got dropped on his head.
I'm not upset about anything, man. Listen, I'm just glad he didn't get seriously injured. That's what I'm fine about. Dude, the Rangers right now, the Rangers suck. The Rangers suck.
Listen,
they're not good. I tell Errol this all the time. The Rangers aren't good. You don't have to tell me. I don't have to hear from you. Dude, I know the Rangers aren't good.
Hold on, Josh. We're all happy Panarin isn't hurt. No one wants to see anyone get hurt or anything like that. But when Rangers fans cry that Tom Wilson wasn't suspended, did Panarin go in there as a willing combatant? Did he?
No, he did. But at the same time, Jeff. All right, Jeff. Let's be real here, though. In all seriousness, how many times has Tom Wilson done nasty things in this league that the NHL turned a blind eye and they said, "Okay, it's fine." He's done it multiple times. Dude,
repeat offender and then some.
I mean, dude, he's a repeat offender. This is getting to Todd Bertuzzi territory, Jeff.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing you're missing, though, Josh. Here's the thing you're missing. Just because the guy does dirty, and listen, I'm a Bruins fan, so I can watch Brad Marchand and see that he does dirty things and that he deserves to get.
Oh, listen, he licks guys' ears. I think it's funny.
Hold on, Josh. Right. But just because Tom Wilson has a history doesn't mean every single time or every single thing that he does is a dirty play. Panarin went in there as a willing combatant, and he got dropped on his head.
It's not even more. That's not more why, Jeff, why they're upset. They're upset the fact that Buchnevich was on the ground, and he wrapped his stick around the back of his neck and just started beating him senseless. Which Wilson knew Buchnevich is not a fighting, vicious player. So basically, he's trying.
Which, by the way, I started this whole thing by saying, if you said Tom Wilson should be suspended because of what he did to Buchnevich, I'm on board.
Yes, that he should have been suspended. For the Panarin thing, he came in like a bat out of hat, and he came in there.
Jeff did say that, though. He's right.
Josh, I said if you wanted to suspend Tom Wilson because of what he did to Buchnevich, that's fair game. He had his face on the ice and got punched in the back of the head. But when someone goes in to defend that and they're a willing combatant, you get what you get.
No, I agree. And like I said, thank God the shoulder. Let me tell you this: if the shoulder didn't stop, that he hits his head flat.
Rangers fans cried because they wanted a hero, right? And they didn't get a hero. What they got was a pile driver.
Yes, they did. It was almost like a pile driver. And also, by the way, I want to clarify something very quick. When Errol was speaking before, I was not shaking my head no. I had my hands up because I was going to make a point. That's why I got annoyed. Because my point was going to be, if the Islanders should have done this. Here's what the Islanders should have done. Hold on, Jeff. Here's what the Islanders should have done. They should have traded Tavares for the picks regardless. And if he wanted to come back to the Islanders so badly, he would have re-signed with them. Look at what the Yankees did with Aroldis Chapman, right? They traded Chapman. They got a bunch of players like Torres and those guys, and they brought him back. So if the Islanders said to Tavares, okay, we'll trade you, but can you re-sign with us? You do a little deal under the table, then that's it. They believe the guy when, listen, you don't have to believe anybody in this business. So in the end, the Islanders shot themselves in the foot for believing this guy. That's your fault.
Josh, you could end this whole rant right now. You could have just began and ended with like 2 sentences. You don't want people to leave the Islanders. Don't be a trash franchise. That's it.
I mean, they play in a tuna fish can right now. That's what they play in a tuna fish.
How many people? How many people are trying to leave the Lightning right now? Nobody. How many people are trying to leave Vegas right now? Nobody. Like, people leave trash franchises. That's what they do, right? They want to go to a place where they have a chance to win, and Tavares didn't think he had the chance to win because they're trash.
Great choice of going to Toronto, by the way.
Toronto lost to a Zamboni driver.
Listen. He looked at that team and
Lyle's still here.
That's embarrassing. But he looked at that team and saw Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and some of the other guys and said,
That's not why I think he left the Islanders. He left the Islanders because he wasn't sure where the Islanders were going when it comes to ownership and where they were coming for a stadium because they were playing in Brooklyn. Right. They had no idea that the Belmont didn't exist, so
That's exactly what I'm saying, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a franchise that there's always like some sort of turmoil or something going on, right? And think about this.
That had a lot to do
When
with
you
Charles
get
Wong,
to-
by the way, just so you know.
Well,
fine,
Wong tried to
but
get.
think
He tried
about
to get
this.
the.
When you look at, think about this. When you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs and go, "Wow, that's really stable." Your organization is trash.
Not anymore.
So-
Not anymore.
I want to add
not
one
Jeff
thing.
and Lauer.
I want to add
anymore.
one
Other
thing
than that.
about John Tavares when he was leaving.
We
That
could go
was the
off subject
best
after this,
thing.
by the way, because we have to.
That was the best thing to happen to this franchise. Because if he resigns, we still have Snow as GM. We still have Doug Wade as head coach. And we're still probably a team that's not even in the playoffs. We probably lose trade Barzal. And it's a completely different team.
Well, hold on.
So-
Wait.
I think it's a good thing that he was about to leave and deciding all that. Because of
Well,
that,
it doesn't
that's
matter.
the reason why
Well,
we got
no, Lamoriello and
why
Trotz,
we
they
got
just
Trotz.
got there. Tavares was about to be a free agent. So they were still there. Trotz and Lamoriello were trying to convince him to
Hold on.
Doesn't-
Hold on. Jeff, you go. Then Josh, you go. Then Lyle. Then
I'm
we
sorry,
go
I
off
didn't
this. We
interrupt.
go
I
off
just
this.
can't hear him,
Yeah.
so-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I
Go ahead,
can't hear him,
Jeff.
so
Go ahead,
that's
Jeff.
why-
Go ahead,
Right,
Jeff.
okay. It doesn't matter who's running this Islanders franchise. You guys could have Scotty Bowman or Rick DiPietro CTE, right? Like, it doesn't matter. The franchise is always going to stink. Just wrap your minds around that for a minute. You guys stink, and that's just the way life is for you. Just deal with it.
Now, Josh.
The thing of it is that Tavares was still trying to be convinced to stay with the Islanders because
No, he
Lamoriello and Trotz had just gotten there.
No,
They were Lamoriello was still in.
No, he was trying to convince his wife to stay.
No, he was still talking to Tavares though. They were still talking to each other. So in
Yeah,
the end, if
were
they would have
talking to
kept
him,
Tavares,
but they were trying to convince his wife to want to stay on the island because she never wanted to stay there. That
But
is
you
the
could-
reason why he ended up leaving. That's why he
Yeah.
waited till the last minute.
so much
because
for my
his
point
wife
being that's
didn't
the end
want
of
to
that.
stay there.
Go ahead, Josh.
Maybe they left. Maybe
No,
the
it's all right. Don't worry
Tavares left Long Island because they hate your horrific accent. Who cares? Keep going.
I disagree with you, Jeff. I think the organization is run very, very well. Malkin owns the team now. He built the stadium. Players want to come there. There are players that want to come there. Once the Islanders fix up the salary cap that Gartsnow screwed up with Andrew Ladd and some of these terrible contracts, I believe that a lot of players are going to want to come over there and play at the new Belmont Stadium and all that other stuff. So,
Lou
you going
Lamoriello
to
played a
need to
role
use
and
the
screwed up the
stadium?
cap, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Really hard to respect a franchise that had an owner that bought the team on IOUs. Get out of here, you bums.
Lou Lamoriello did help screw up the cap 100% when he signed.
The cap was
signed guys like
first of all,
Komarov.
the cap was
Why did it Komarov 4 years, $3 million?
because Komarov is a good playoff player. That's why he brought Komarov in. He's a good playoff player. By the way,
Not good.
he's not a goal scorer. And you listen, Lyle, and I'm going to explain something. And I know you know hockey, but I know hockey too because I played. Okay, and hockey, when you go to the playoffs, you need roughneck players. You need guys that can go into the trenches, and when you need to fight, you need to hit, you need to gut wrench a goal in the overtime. You need players like that. We have seen finesse teams over the years. Finesse teams. The last finesse team that I remember winning a Stanley Cup, besides the Pittsburgh Penguins, is, you know who? The Colorado Avalanche when they beat the Florida Panthers in 1996. They were a finesse team. You look at their team, look at the talent they had on the team, Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic, Claude Lemieux. That team was a finesse team and a mean team. They had a mean streak. There are not many finesse teams that win Stanley Cups. You're going to say the Lightning? The Lightning aren't a finesse team. They're not a finesse team. Go ahead.
If the Islanders wanted toughness, maybe they can trade for Panarin. He's a real bully.
I will tell you this. The two fan bases that I think are the most annoying in the AHL, and I've been to games at both of their stadiums, Philadelphia being one, Montreal being another. Montreal, I went to a Canadiens game, dude. Those people are nasty mofos. Nasty mofos.
Well, I will say this, and we got to get off of hockey because we got a lot more to talk about. We've really sunk our fangs into this whole.
Great radio, though.
It is. It's great radio, and I like that Jeff has his own opinion towards it. I think sometimes it's a little outlandish, but he's got his personality.
It's not an opinion. Panarin might be the toughest guy in the league.
I gotta say, this was a lot of fun to call in. I'm definitely gonna call in again.
Oh, wonderful! Can't wait. So we'll put him on the block list, right?
Panarin's tough. Got picked up and dropped on his stupid Russian remote. What a bully!
Yeah.
I think Putin might have hired Wilson to get him.
Well,
I love watching Jeff and Lyle work together. It's like watching Dumb and Dumber 3 in a movie.
Dude, I don't give two shits what you say. Lyle's my homeboy now because we both hate you with all of our hearts.
That's totally fine. Let me tell you something. I hated you the moment you spoke to me the first time I talked to you about, Julian Edelman. Oh, he has a brand. You didn't name it. You're a bad man. You're mean. By the way, that cheeseburger episode sucked. By the way, Jeff, in your words, that YouTube channel, trash, doggy doo doo.
Josh, have you ever heard the saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend"?
That's totally fine. If you want to make Lau your friend, I've known Lau for 10 years. If you want to make Lau your friend, Jeff, let me tell you what. You know what? Hold on. You two fit very well together. Actually, I actually could see the.
I'm going to ship him some Cigar City beer now. I love Lyle.
Go ahead. Listen, I hope you two become homeboys because you know why? I could see the vision of you two together. Oh, my Lord. That would be something to watch. It would be a reality show. Holy crap. It would be better than the Jersey Shore.
oh, man. Well, Jeff, obviously.
All right, Jeff, you're not controlling this brain, buddy boy.
You're not controlling his
Josh
brain.
With his half-wit retorts. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. By the way, I love the compliment you threw at me yesterday. That lasted all but 5 seconds, nuthead.
Now, I want to add one thing. Mm-hmm. Josh came up with the Guy Fieri line at Errol's Cruise.
Yes, I did.
What was
he
it?
He came up with it then. He's been planning it. Planning to get back.
Oh, no, dude. I've told Errol this. Dude, the first picture Errol showed me of Jeff, I said, what's with that fucking haircut?
You know the photo, like the one from 6 years ago.
I don't give a fuck what it was. Speedy, anything is better than you and your photogenic head, all right? You and your freaking ring face.
No, I'm giving Errol the context.
How funny is it that you have to plan comebacks? If you're looking for my comeback, all you got to do is scrape it off your wife's teeth.
I don't have to plan anything, meathead. So it doesn't even matter what a planning is, all right? So who gives a shit what I plan or no plan? It said what it said. It doesn't give a shit. Who cares? Hey, by the way, Jeff, when are you actually going to show not call in? Are you actually going to ever come on the StreamYard stream? But that's not going to happen.
He wants.
It's actually a fun show. I can't hear anything.
Jeff, he wants you to come on StreamYard with
Come on, why not?
With your face. That's what he wants. He wants to see your face. He wants to talk.
No, I don't. I want to know why he hides. Why does he seriously hide, though?
He's saying that you hide. He's saying that you're hiding.
That I'm
not hiding in a bad way. Like, just why are you hiding?
He says.
Errol, did we not do like a FaceTime thing? Did you not do me before?
Yes, we've done FaceTime before.
Do I hide?
No,
I don't hide.
No, he doesn't.
I'm not saying you're hiding in a bad way. I'm saying how come you don't come on the StreamYard? You just call in all the time. Like Carl came on the stream with the draft.
I mean, I will say this, Josh, and I don't know if you know a lot about Jeff. Jeff actually played professional golf, so.
I know you've told me this. Listen, you don't have to suck his left nut anymore.
I'm not.
I've heard this
Hold
already.
on 1 second.
I already know.
Hold on 1 second.
Jeff is a wonderful person.
There is
He's your
not.
biggest fan.
There is. Hold on, Jeff.
He's your
Jeff.
biggest
Before you say
fan.
anything, first of all, I am the last person on any radio show to kiss anybody's ass.
No.
I don't kiss anybody's ass.
No,
ever.
All you do is yell at me and call me and Speedy idiots.
Well, yes, I do. And I'm an idiot sometimes too. That's why we're the loudmouths.
Hey, we all know it, so you don't have to say it.
Go ahead, Jeff. What?
That's not true. You were kissing ass before. I've heard that interview with Cynthia Freeland. You were kissing ass.
Get out!
You get every time you get into the show. Oh,
get out of here.
We would love to get you on sometime again in the future. We'd love to get you on again.
Absolutely. Well, that's how we draw people to come back on.
I go like this. Look.
Oh,
That's what that
is that how you kiss your wife?
I might not even get to kiss her every now and then. I'm lucky she let me near her.
Jeff, would you like to share his wife with him?
I think
I've never seen his wife.
Where is this going? Where is this going?
Let me tell you something. First off,
I'm not going in on the wife. I don't know her.
Yeah, let me tell you something. My wife doesn't even have to know who Jeff is. She'll probably say, "Oh, does he hang out with Arrow?" Yes. I don't want anything to do with that guy.
Well, that's nice to know. That's the way your wife thinks of me.
You moron. First off, actually, she was very upset she didn't come on your birthday boat. By the way,
I'm trying to get Jeff to come out on my birthday bash one of these days.
He should.
40th. My 40th.
I don't know why he didn't do it this year.
My 40th
That's
next
what I
year. My 40th.
That seems like a good time to me. I want to be on a boat for 5 hours.
No. Jeff, first of all, the beef didn't come. It was 3 hours.
That is true. The beef did not show up.
Usually the beef does come, but that would be funny. You and the beef on the boat together. That would be interesting.
We won't tell him.
Nowhere to go.
I would run circles around his hamster brain.
Hold on, but Jeff, would you make him cry again for the third time?
Would you make him cry for the third time? That's what he said.
Oh, dude. He'd just see me and start crying.
Oh,
There's that guy that went overboard. That's a beef. He'll be in the water in 3 seconds.
Poor beef.
We've tried to have this conversation like Lyle's on and I'm on and like the whole thing. Beef won't do it because his squirrel brain would explode.
I still could not believe Mark, the moment he heard Jeff want to say, he just said, "I don't have time," and he hung up.
Mark, first of all, and I'm going to say something about Mark. Mark he's a good person. He really is a good kind of person.
No, Mark.
Hold on. And I talked to Mark today, and he has nothing but the utmost respect of Jeff's knowledge. The one thing he doesn't like is when somebody, in his eyes, attacks him when he's had a long day and he just wants to talk a little bit of sports, and that's the way he felt.
Hold on, but again. Didn't attack him personally.
No.
He said some dumb shit and said, "Oh, I don't like Justin Fields because Ohio State doesn't produce quarterbacks." And when I pushed back and said, "Oh, Alabama does," he cried.
Well, we'll see if Mac Jones turns out to. That would be a happy thought. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that?
I just still think to this day one of the funniest things ever. One of the funniest things ever.
Hold on, Josh. Hold on.
Mac Jones goes to the Patriots. Arrow calls me, laughing with his clown laugh. What do you think Jeff's thinking right now? And then David Collins gets picked. And then he goes, "Oh, Jeff's probably punching a hole in a wall somewhere."
And he was. Jeff, I called Jeff right after I did that. And Jeff says, "Don't you effing call me again." And
yeah, what was that?
That was that night. He told me, "Don't you effing call me again. I don't want to hear your crap." And he clicked. That's all I heard. That's all I heard from Jeff.
There's 3 quarterbacks in the league from Alabama that might be able to turn their fortunes around. Tua, Jalen Hurts, and Mac Jones. So I'm not going to – the jury's still out on those guys. But Mark saying that Alabama produces quarterbacks when their pedigree is Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, and Brody Croyle, go home.
By the way, Carl says Josh has so many guests on his wrestling show. Yes, he had guests. You just have to listen more. Ben,
I have had a lot of guests on my show, Carl. If I know you're not going to watch.
Snug says a drunken beef vomiting over the side, and Show has Cowboys tattoo on his ass. Ben says Snug cat wouldn't wish that the sight of my worst enemy, and Lyle says that was fun.
Lyle got off, but thank you, Lyle.
Listen, that's just stating facts. I didn't come at Mark personally. All I did was challenge the fact that he's calling Ohio State quarterbacks trash, but he can't open his eyes to see what Alabama produced. And if he can't handle the truth, he shouldn't be in the business.
Interesting.
I mean, really quick before we look, Jeff. Like I said, Jeff hasn't attacked me personally. Okay, we argue about sports.
I don't attack people. I don't attack people.
We talk sport. That's what we do. We're men. We talk sports. We fight. Whether we agree or disagree, that's what we're doing. We're not calling each other names or anything nasty like that. Or they do.
we can all agree Panarin's not tough, right?
100%. That was ridiculous that he jumped in there. I knew he was going to get his ass kicked the moment he did that.
He's small, yeah. There's like a 30-pound size difference.
Arrow got personal with me, basically telling me I was shaking my head no earlier, and I didn't even move my head.
But again,
I never heard Arrow get mad at me like that.
I wasn't mad at all. I wasn't mad at all.
Oh, you even after what you said, I said I didn't even say anything.
Do you really want to see me get mad? You really want to see me get mad?
No, I've seen you get mad at Speedy.
No, that's not mad. That's not mad.
And what's mad to you?
Mad is when I lose my mind.
You're smiling as you're saying it.
Mad is when I lose my mind when you want to run from me.
you want to see you want to see Errol get mad? Just play a tape of all the Jets franchise highlights. And the best one is Mark Sanchez running up someone's asshole.
Oh my God! Well, like I said, in the end, listen.
I've always wanted to get Mark Sanchez on the show. I
don't know Jeff very long. I don't, but I do respect his opinion. I know he knows college football very well. I understand it. I get that. I'm not going to be one of those guys that if Jeff throws something, I'm just going to hang up the phone and say that's that. End of discussion. Like, if you're going to be a man, man up, take the brunt, and have a conversation.
Yeah, but hold on. My point still stands, though, right? Like, how does somebody call Ohio State quarterbacks trash and go, well, Alabama has a much better record, and not think that that's just living in banana land? Like, how crazy can you be?
I still think,
like, how crazy can you be to be like Brody Croyle, AJ McCarron, and Greg McElroy are the most successful thing we've had, and that's better than anybody.
Banana land, bringing that back. Nice.
I still think Carl is shocked that Jeff complimented me yesterday. I still think he's black. He can't believe that still.
I'm amazed Jeff's bringing all the throwback sayings back. Banana land and yesterday Robbie Henderson radio.
Well, because now I'm trying to use doggy doo-doo and all that stuff, so we can't use that anymore.
But let's be honest. Does anyone else think Mark's crazy for making that statement? Ohio State quarterbacks are trash, but Alabama has a good pedigree.
Well,
he's crazy with that.
If he really meant it that way, he's out of his mind, because Alabama quarterbacks have not been successful in the NFL.
I mean, if he meant it that way, that's exactly what he said. Am I misquoting, Speedy? Speedy, you
no.
Did he say it that way?
No, he said it as Ohio State quarterbacks have had a bad track record in the NFL and used that to downgrade Justin Fields, and then didn't say the same thing for Mac Jones.
And that's why he said Mac Jones is the best quarterback in the draft. Mac Jones is the best because Ohio State produces trash quarterbacks, but Alabama is really good.
Right. He said he never downgraded Mac Jones as a result of the track record that Jeff brought up of Alabama quarterbacks, which is definitely true.
But if you're gonna paint somebody with the brush that because of the school they went to, that school stinks at something, well, then you need to look in the mirror and go, guess what? Alabama can't produce quarterbacks. They stink.
Right. And that's never been their strength. By the way, Carl says Mark Sanchez wouldn't last 5 minutes on this show. Ben says that's how you give Gary V a nervous breakdown. Carl says the Collins would be great. Snugcat says loop the butt fumble. Ben Lawfree says OSU quarterbacks are trash. Lyle says Mac Jones will 100% succeed under Belichick. And Josh, looks like you got another Wisconsin fan. Ben says hashtag on Wisconsin.
Right, I like it.
But Mac Jones,
love it, Ben. Good for you, man.
Mac Jones has a chance to succeed only because he does have Belichick. Belichick won with a dude that took 3 snaps in college. 3. Like, who does that?
I think Mac Jones is going to be very successful in this league. I think he's perfect.
He very well could be, but he'll be a product because Belichick. Listen, you're going to call me a homer, but Bill Belichick puts his quarterbacks in positions to succeed. You're not going to tell me that he went 11-5 with Matt Castle because Matt Castle is some.
I'd be the first person to say that I believe Bill Belichick. It was Vince Lombardi or Bill Belichick. Those are the 2 greatest coaches of all time when it comes to football. And you can argue now, and I said this when he won his last Super Bowl, you can argue that Bill Belichick is the greatest football coach of all time. So, I've said that.
Vince Lombardi didn't have to deal with free agency.
No,
the things that
he
Bill
didn't.
Belichick has to deal with has complicated his life far more than Vince Lombardi has ever had.
Well, Vince Lombardi only had to beat like 8 or 9 teams, so it was different in those days.
That's one thing, and there was no free agency. If we took you, you played for us, and that's it.
Also, the ownership was very different at that time, too, where it was a lot like baseball is now, where a lot of the richest owners at that time turned out to be the best teams. George Halas with the Bears. George Halas was with the Bears. Paul Brown when he was with the Browns, stuff like that. And a lot of those teams got inflated because of that. In Green Bay, I don't know who their owner was at the time, but they were definitely one of them, too.
Ben says Lombardi is the GOAT. I mean, you can argue. I understand people have their own opinions. Lombardi, I believe, at one point, I always believed that Lombardi. But after Bill Belichick won his 6.
How many wins did Lombardi have?
5 championships.
I think 5 championships, 2 Super Bowls, 3 NFL championships.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So 5. Belichick's got 6. Right. How many wins? And by the way, it's not going to matter because the only one ahead of Bill Belichick is Don Shula, and Belichick's chasing him down too. So guess what? Vince Lombardi, get out of here. Belichick's past you. He's dealt with free agency.
Now he is.
He's dealt with all.
Don't we factor into different time periods too of how the game was? Shouldn't that be a factor in it as well?
Right, it's more complicated now. That's what Jeff was saying with free agency, micromanaging. Like the Patriots are very good at getting like these random guys to succeed that don't do well in other places. By the way, Carl says Cheeseheads unite. Ben, more Wisconsin praise. Wisconsin running backs are way successful than Ohio State quarterbacks. Yeah, no doubt about that.
What a dummy Carl is, dude. What an idiot Carl is. He's a Bears fan now cheering on Vince Lombardi. Dude, get him out of here, bro.
Lyle
Jeff's going at everybody tonight.
Lyle says, I hate Belichick because he's the best coach of all time and could have done it with the Jets. Jeff, if you want to talk about franchises being terrible, it's the Jets over the Islanders. Ben says the trophy is literally named after him, and Lombardi did more with less.
Well, see, that's the thing. Jeff has complimented Belichick for doing what he did, leaving the Jets to go to the Patriots. That's why he makes him one of the best of all time.
By the way,
Carl says he's nothing about Lombardi. I think he was referring to maybe Josh and Ben, Cheeseheads Unite, or something like that. But Josh is also not a Packers fan, Ben or Carl.
No.
I can't believe a Bears fan is on the Packers side. That's blasphemy to me.
I don't think he meant that.
Carl didn't mean that.
North. He should be thrown out of the NFC North.
I don't know if he meant that, though.
I think Carl was referring to assuming that Josh and Ben maybe were both Packers fans, but Josh is not a Packers fan.
No, I'm not.
Both of them are Wisconsin Badger fans, though.
Yeah.
Dude, the Packers are such a shit franchise. Aaron Rodgers is begging to leave. Begging.
Well,
get me out of here.
They can't put the players around it. They couldn't put the right players around
it. If they get Julio Jones, but Jeff, what if they get Julio Jones? Does Aaron Rodgers backtrack what he says then?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Dude. Aaron Rodgers is trying to do anything other than play for the Packers. He had Alex Trebek murdered.
Oh
my god! By the way, Lyle says his dad is a Packers fan. Laughing my ass off.
Yes, my father is a Packer fan, and he hates Aaron Rodgers.
Now there's the Cheeseheads unite.
Yeah, my father hates Aaron Rodgers. He called him the biggest you-know-what on the planet.
So the last segment of this show, Jeff, you could stay on. I want to go through. So I want to go through the each professional sport, and I want to argue who are the top 3 most overrated players in each sport. So, all right. So we're going to go from one sport to the other, and I want you guys to give me each and why you think these particular 3 players are the most. And you guys got to be honest and don't be a homer on this. Okay. I want you to be honest about this because this is something that really interests me. So, okay, you ready?
Yeah, it's essentially what it is.
All right, baseball. Speedy, you first. 3 of the most overrated players right now in the MLB.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to say we've argued this before. Bryce Harper is definitely one of the 3 most popular names in baseball, but he's been very inconsistent year to year throughout his time in the league. Yes, he won an MVP. Yes, he won a Rookie of the Year, but I don't know if he's necessarily lived up to the hype that people are thinking. Oh, he's this top three type player. So I'm going to go with him as number 1. Number 2, I think, just because he's had a couple down years recently, but he's still getting a lot of hype, is Chris Bryant. I think Chris Bryant, being that he had
a great year this year, Speedy.
So far, so good, yes. But I think, again, they still tout him as one of those top third basemen, and yet he still hasn't been in recent years. He's done better this year. I'm sorry, Carl. I know he's done better this year. Ben, you agree with me on Harper, which is definitely good on that. and now he's being touted as maybe he's going to be this high-paid guy, but I'm going to say that for number 2, and number 3, just because I involved in the cheating scandal, he won a batting title for that. Jose Altuve definitely is up there as well because they cheated.
Okay, Josh, you next.
I actually would have started with Bryce Harper too. That would have been another one that I would have said. He's a guy that when you look at also, is it coincidental that when he left the Washington Nationals, all of a sudden they won a World Series, he goes to Philadelphia, and yet there's fights going on in the dugout between Joe Girardi and Gene Segura because Gene Segura doesn't know how to catch a baseball. They clearly just the Phillies haven't gotten any better, even though he's putting up good numbers, right? That's the key point. Number 2 for me, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna say Steven Strasburg. Steven Strasburg to me is a guy that when I look back at his numbers and his career as a whole, the contract that he got, the problem is 2 things that stand to me. 1, he's had some nice years, but he's never had any Cy Young career years. 1 and 2, injury prone. He's very injury prone. I think the Nationals were better off keeping Anthony Rendon. I know they felt Rendon was going to leave, but in my opinion, you always keep an everyday player over a pitcher with the contract. That's always what I do because I think it stands out in my eyes a little bit more. Oh, and number 3, it's going to be weird. It's only because of the contract he has too, but I guess it's not totally his fault. Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward to me is a guy that did not earn that contract that he got from the Cubs. That contract is egregious. He doesn't even start for them anymore. He hasn't started for them for the last 2 years. And they're still paying him, I think, another 2 years after this, the contract that they gave him. There were no opt-outs. It was a no-trade clause. I think it was – how much money was it, Speedy? It was almost – 180 they gave him?
Yeah, it was something like
190 they gave him.
All right, we got to go through the sports.
Right.
We got the points.
So that's why I would say Jason Hayward. All right. Jason Hayward to me.
You drag things long. We got to go for all 4 sports.
Oh, I'm sorry. I spoke for more than a minute. Excuse me.
It was a lot more than a minute.
Well,
Anyways,
excuse me. I'm sorry.
Jeff, your 3 most overrated players in the MLB.
I realize you guys are going to disagree with this because he's great in the regular season, but Clayton Kershaw is just a dude that doesn't get it done. He just doesn't. They won last year in spite of him, not because of him, and everyone builds him up as this great player, and he's only good in the regular season, and that's it. And then the other 2 most overrated players are Gary Sanchez. Never heard more hype from a fat toad that couldn't stand in front of a baseball. Everything gets by him. He doesn't hit. Gary Sanchez, you're fat and you stink, right? And Aaron Judge.
Interesting.
Listen, he's there to hit home runs and do offensive things, and all he does. And listen, his best attribute right now, he's got a great outfield arm. I saw him make a couple of really good throws. But for what everyone hypes this guy up to be, he's been underwhelming.
Well, hold on one second. Aaron Judge is actually playing pretty good baseball. He's batting .292. He's got 10 home runs, and he's got 27 RBIs, so he's playing pretty well. So,
would you sign him long term?
What's he won?
Hold on. I understand. So those are your 3 guys, right? All right, my 3 guys, number 1 is Aaron Judge. I think Aaron Judge is very overrated. I think his numbers when he plays, it's fantastic.
Him, and now you're telling me
no, but I did defend him because right now, if you were to look at his statistics, he's an MVP candidate. But I think that because of his injury and he can't stay healthy, Aaron Judge is a very overrated player. The guy can't stay on the field. If he can't stay on the field, I can't say that he's one of the top players in the league. So I feel that Aaron Judge is very overrated. Number 2, Francisco Lindor. Lindor played in the Central, the American League Central his whole career. He goes to the National League East. He's batting 200 right now. He's not playing great baseball. I think it has a lot to do with maybe after the Mets overpaying him. Whatever the case is, he's playing in a new league. It's a different league. It's a different game over there, and he's playing in, even though the division is bad right now, he's playing in a much harder division. So I would say Francisco Lindor. And number 3, Noah Syndergaard. I think Noah Syndergaard, to me, the guy can't stay healthy, and when he does play healthy, what's he pitching? What is his best ERA in his career in one season? I think it was 340 something.
No, it was lower than that. It was in the 3.2s, but yeah.
Whatever. To me, it doesn't matter. What is it? 0.2, 0.20%? It doesn't really matter. To me, Noah Syndergaard is so highly overrated. He's got all the great pitching, power pitching, and he's got 4 good pitches. The guy just can't figure it out. So Noah Syndergaard would be my 3rd. All right, basketball, NBA.
All right, I'm gonna say one James Harden. I think James Harden throughout his career, he's been better obviously in recent years, but inefficiency is definitely one thing. Errol and I mock it all the time. He's a terrible defender,
Terrible,
one of the worst playoff players, and a lot of people think he's like a top 3 player in the game. We had a host of the Weekend Crunch that said he's better than Allen Iverson. Yeah, okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's not.
Thank you, Eric Coleman.
That is not the case. But yeah, I would definitely say he's one. Number 2, this is an interesting one, but I think at the time before his injury, he was definitely overhyped. And Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, yeah, he's essential. He's a great player. But people were thinking he was the best shooting guard in the league, which I don't think he was. I think guys like Bradley Beal, guys like C.J. McCollum, I think there were certain other guys that were above him at the time, and I don't think that he's getting – I think he got that kind of credentials as a result where I don't know if he necessarily deserved it. I mean, we bash Steph Curry for all the talent around him. I mean, it cancels out to some extent. So he's number 2. And number 3, I know he's been rising nicely and he's been very good, but people are already putting him in the top 10 of players in the league. And sorry, Jeff, it's Jason Tatum. He's not top 10 in the league overall. So there was my 3 for the NBA.
You're crazy calling him overrated. You're crazy.
It's for what people are hyping him as. I think he's very good, but I'm saying what people have hyped him as. Some of it's based on media hype too.
Because a couple of numbnuts said something, he's overrated.
That's part of what it is.
He's done this season, and his numbers might not be quite to Julius Randle, but they're close.
No, he's better than Julius Randle. I'm not going to say he's worse than Julius Randle.
Right, but now he's overrated. Get out.
In terms of what people think, like. We're not judging our standards of what we are as players. Overrated is judged on what are popular consensus thinking, and these guys aren't as good as they're saying type thing. That's really the definition of overrated.
Yeah, I know. I realize they're playing in a playing game, and that's not all great. But guess what? He dropped 50 the other night. That's the kind of overrated I want. Give me a guy dropping 50.
Josh, top 3.
Top 3, James Harden for me stands in the way. I think he's the guy. I got to see him in the playoffs. I look at it this way. He could score all the points he wants in the regular season. When he gets to the playoffs, it's a disaster. We saw it when Chris Paul went down a couple of years ago. We've seen it in the past with him. He just can't get out of his own way in the postseason. This time he'll have Durant and Kyrie there with him to save him. Maybe. We'll see. Number 2 for me, I still go back to Steph Curry. Steph Curry to me is a guy, yes, he scores all these points, but does he make everybody, again, around him better? That's the question. I have not seen it. Can he put a team on his back? That I don't know. Haven't seen it so far, and it's been tough. And then number 3 for me, oh, man, it's tough. Oh, I might have to – you know what? I might have to go with Andre Drummond. To me, Andre Drummond, listen, as great of a rebounder as he is, since he's gone over to the Lakers – Anthony Davis hasn't been fully 100%. You would think he'd have more of an impact in the game. He really has not had as much of an impact as I see him, especially even in the game yesterday. He didn't do as much as I thought. By the way, you don't think he regrets maybe picking the Knicks over the Lakers right now when he was a free agent? I think he wishes he was with the Knicks right now because he would have a better shot at winning a championship, I would think, because the problem is the Lakers, with they're so banged up and beaten up, how are they even going to get out of this Western Conference? So I'd say Andre Drummond is 3.
Jeff, your top 3. Overrated players.
All right, easy list. The number 3 most overrated player is Ben Simmons. Are we really not putting Ben Simmons up? Dude, the guy's made one career 3-pointer, okay? Number 2.
And it was against the Knicks.
Philadelphia 76. The number 2 is from the Philadelphia 76ers. His name is Ben Simmons. You don't even have to guard the guy who's going to miss. He's not shooting in the paint. You don't even need to go near. And the number 1 most overrated player in the NBA is Ben Simmons. This dude shouldn't even be allowed to have hands to shoot a basketball.
Okay. All right. Ben Simmons. Okay. Number 3 for me is Paul George. Paul George, he went all the way to the Clippers. Everybody says, oh, he's going to be connected with Kawhi Leonard and they were going to win championships. Last year they got knocked off by the Nuggets. This guy can't win the big game. Now, he's a great player. Statistics would show he's a great defensive player. He hasn't won anything. And I don't think he ever is going to win anything, even with a great player like Kawhi Leonard. So number 3 would be Paul George. Number 2, DeMar DeRozan. Okay, DeMar DeRozan came from Toronto, never won anything in Toronto, goes to San Antonio, a rebuilding championship competitive team with Greg Popovich. Everybody thought that he was going to take that team to better and higher heights. DeMar DeRozan's been a complete bust ever since he's been to San Antonio. And at number 1, Steph Curry. Like you said, Josh, he has never put a team on his back and ever won a big game. Look at what he did last night. He put a team on his back. He had a chance to beat the Lakers. He was up by 15 in the first half, and then they lose to an injured, poked-eye LeBron James with a 3-point 30-foot shot. So Steph Curry is my number one.
Bro, agree with me. Pinch me. I'm dreaming.
Well, you know my thoughts. Okay, hockey, NHL.
How did nobody else have Ben Simmons on their list? You literally don't need to guard the guy outside of the paint. He's never made a shot outside of the paint.
No, I think Jeff made his points out.
This guy can't shoot.
I should have put Simmons over Drummond. That I should have done.
All right, so NHL you said?
Yeah, NHL.
So I'm going to – you Islander fans will like this. I'll say John Tavares. I think John Tavares, since he's coming to Toronto, I mean, he's been good. I mean, he's still a very good player. But, again, people have hyped him up a lot of the time as a top 5, top 10 player, and his numbers have been inconsistent at times for Toronto, and like many other Maple Leafs, doesn't show up in the playoffs. Number 2, I think this is only recently, but he was once the best defenseman in the NHL, and now he's fallen off a cliff. But, again, people don't recognize it all the time, is Erik Karlsson. Since he's gone to the Sharks, and even his last year with Ottawa, he was not good. 2.5 years in that time. He was still decent offensively, but his defense has definitely fallen off. And number 3, I think, is to an extent Patrick Laine. Again, Patrick Laine, not a bad player. He can hit, he can score goals, he's got one of the hardest shots in the league. But again, that's another one that people, because he's the number 2 overall pick, people hype him up to be this really, really good thing, top 20 type player, top 15 at times. And he's been another guy that really has disappeared at times. When he's bad, he's bad. So those are my 3 for the NHL.
Okay.
My 3 are easy. 1, John Tavares. Listen, he hasn't made Toronto any better, and they have so much talent in the world on them offensively. Hasn't done anything. The Islanders are better off without him at this point, although I will say if they did have him, who knows where they would be. Number 2 for me, I'm going to go Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel, to me, is a guy that doesn't make anybody around him better. He whines, he complains, he doesn't do anything. And he quits. I understand he's in Buffalo, and I get it. It's a crappy situation. But, dude, at least try to make guys around you a little bit better. I mean, you have Sammy Reinhart on your team. Do something about that. Number 3 is going to be interesting. It's Carey Price. Carey Price, to me, is a guy that in the playoffs, in the postseason, he has not done it in certain situations. You look at the goaltending. I understand his teams that he's been on are okay. They haven't been great. But, listen, he was on some pretty good Montreal teams. And because at those times he did get injured as well, that's another reason why he got hurt at bad times. That's why I put Carey Price on that list at 3.
Jeff?
The 3rd most overrated player in the league to me has to be Matt Dumba. I mean, the Rangers traded for this guy to play defense, and he doesn't play defense. He's literally the A-Rod of defense. Like, you got him to hit the baseball, and then he doesn't hit the baseball. That's Dumba on defense.
He plays for Minnesota, not the Rangers.
Right. No. Who's the guy that the Rangers traded for?
Trouba.
The guy
Trouba.
Trouba. I said Dumba. I meant Trouba.
Yeah.
Trouba is the guy. He can barely skate. They traded for him for defense. Nothing. Horrible. The 2nd most overrated player is Mika Zibanejad.
He's going to name all Rangers. He's going to name Panarin 1.
Of course, Panarin's my number 1. He thought he was going to put on. He thought he was going to whirl into a phone booth, put on his little Superman outfit, and come out and show Tom Wilson what's for. And what happened? He got picked up and dropped on his peanut.
Jeff, really quick, before Errol goes, I'm just curious. You really hate the Rangers more than you hate the Montreal Canadiens? Canadiens have done some pretty bad things to you guys in their history, man.
At least the Canadians play hockey. What do the Rangers do?
Do the Canadians really play hockey, though? I mean, they eat poutine for lunch. Is that really being a man, or is that being a woman?
Why is that a bad thing?
I've seen that snack. Listen, that's not a real snack.
Isn't
Come on.
Montreal in the playoffs?
I love Montreal. Listen, I love Montreal, man.
Isn't Montreal in the playoffs?
They are.
Mm-hmm.
And
they were also in a. I mean, listen. I will say this: their division.
You're trying to tell me that a team in the playoffs is overrated because they made this is typical Rangers logic.
No, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. Wait, I want to ask Errol this: did I say the Canadians were overrated, or did I say Carey Price was overrated?
You said Carey Price.
I did not say the Canadians were overrated, and I asked you, Jeff, a question. You hate the Rangers more than the Canadians. When if you look at the team history. I'm sorry, I went to the Canadians Hall of Fame. All it is is a bashing of the Boston Bruins. Just letting you know.
I respect the history and the rivalry. The great rivalry, by the way, is probably the best rivalry in hockey. Is probably Boston and Montreal. That's
top 5 in
probably the best
sports.
rival. What's that?
It's top 5 in sports. Forget hockey. It's top 5 in sports. Their rivalry, Montreal and Boston.
Well, right, yeah. It's an amazing rivalry, right? It's an amazing rivalry. It's gone back and forth. It's there's been blood, sweat, tears, the whole thing. They battle. It's a great rivalry. I respect Montreal. Very hard to respect a team that runs around and says, "Oh, we're better than you," and you're not.
But who said? But wait, who said? I listen. I don't do that. At Aeronosis, I don't do that. I'm honest with it. Whatever Ranger fans that say it, they're morons then for saying that. Because it's not even close to being remotely true. The Rangers are nowhere close to doing anything. Okay? Just saying. So whichever fans are doing that, don't put them in the same category as myself or even Speedy. We're both honest with it.
I'm just telling you the most overrated players. You had a guy on your team that thought he was tough and got pile-driven. That's not tough.
That's fine, but I mean, look, you're going to say Panarin's overrated, but he was an MVP candidate last year, though. I mean, you're just naming Ranger players because you hate the Rangers, Jeff. You're not even being realistic with your list.
All right,
that's a complete. Are you going to say? I keep saying, is it true? No, Trouba.
Trouba.
Trouba isn't. You're going to tell me Trouba isn't legitimate? How's he been playing since you guys traded?
Oh no! Listen, I listen, and Speedy can attest to this too. I've told Speedy I think he's been overrated since the Rangers got him. I've told him that, and I have his jersey. When I bought it when they got him, I haven't worn it since. Okay, I'm ready to burn it.
All right, so let me.
Maybe you need to wear it again.
We still
let Arrow go. I'm sorry.
We still have to get football done, and then we're done. So, okay, number 1, Taylor Hall. Okay, Taylor Hall was an MVP with the Devils. He's jumped ship on different teams. Obviously, he's doing well with the Bruins, but he hasn't won anything. He hasn't done anything yet, and I just feel that he's a very overrated player. Number 2, Jacob Trouba. I think Jacob Trouba is one of the highest overrated and most overrated and overpaid defensemen in the NHL. The Rangers are paying him $8-9 million a year. The guy has done absolutely nothing. He played well for Winnipeg.
Jeff Gordon and John Davidson.
He's absolutely horrendous. And number 3, Claude Giroux. Okay. I don't know what happened to this guy. He had 3-4 really good seasons, and he was the captain of the team, and he's fallen off with Philadelphia. This guy was one of the best players in the league and became one of the worst players in the league, and he's still in the prime of his career. Claude Giroux.
How do you not put Jack Eichel on the list?
Jack
Eichel is mainly because of injury, not because of he's a bad player.
Yeah,
I understand, but has he made anybody around him better? And he's a captain
of the Sabres. Nobody gets better on the Sabres.
All he does is bitch and complain.
Yeah, so do a lot of hockey players.
Jack Eichel's in rehab. Just remember that.
I think that, again, I'm not going to pick the same players you guys did, but Jacob Trouba is absolutely overrated.
No, I agree with you on Trouba. He's definitely one of the top 5 guys. If there was a top 5 list, I'd put him 4 or 5.
Oh, he's horrible. He's so overpaid. He is terrible.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's absolutely overpaid. And again, you could thank John Davidson and Jeff Gordon for that trade.
And the only reason, by the way, Lyle says Matthew Barzal. Matthew Barzal is 23 years old. You can't say he's overrated because we don't even know what he is because the Islanders haven't put anybody around him to succeed.
Is Lyle saying Matt Barzal is overrated?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
No way.
You gotta love Lyle naming the best player on his team.
He's not alright.
He's out of his mind. I don't know if he meant that. There's no.
No, he says he's been saying Barzal, and I think I can't. You can't say somebody's overrated when you haven't put anybody around him to succeed with. So I'm sorry, you're wrong, Lyle. You're wrong about that. Anyways,
stop it! Don't hurt it. You're going to hurt Jeff's feelings.
Anyway, Speedy, last sport.
All right, NFL. I'll start with number 1. I'll say Juju Smith-Schuster. A lot of people still think he's a number 1 type receiver when he has been very inconsistent and has had drop problems since Antonio Brown has left, and now all he's doing is TikTok dances. So that's number 1. Number 2, I'll bash someone on my own team that a lot of people think is a top 10 tight end, and some fantasy analysts think is a top 5. That's Evan Engram. Drop problems, can't block. Yeah, Giants fans don't want him. And then number 3, Jeff, you'll love this one. The running back that somebody thinks could run on the same offensive line as Barry Sanders. So that would be Ezekiel Elliott. Not a pass-catching back, has struggled since his offensive line has injuries, and like Errol's been saying, is not really a good fit with Mike McCarthy.
Just throw in there, Speedy, that he led the league in fumbles last year, too.
And he led the league in fumbles. Absolutely.
Well, Elliott was going to be my number one, so Speedy beat me to the punch there. Number two for me is going to be Saquon Barkley. He's a guy that was taken second overall in the draft. What has he done since he came into the league? Injuries, problem reading the blitzes, can't do that really well, and he hasn't had the burst that everybody talks about all the time. So that's number two for me. And then number three is, oh, man. I don't know. I'm going to say Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is highly overpaid. He's ridiculously overhyped for what he was in Minnesota. Let's face it. They thought he was going to be the savior for the Vikings.
Jeff, what were you saying?
What was that, Jeff?
I mean, that's ridiculous. How many times has Josh probably said, you like that, and thought it was amazing? Thank you.
You actually think Kirk Cousins is a good player?
Do you actually think Kirk Cousins is a good player?
I mean, I can name worse quarterbacks.
I can too.
I can certainly name worse quarterbacks.
I mean, look, if you want to name, what, do you want to say Garoppolo?
Wait, hold on one second, John.
I know Errol's going to
Definitely
say
worse.
Mahomes.
Hold on. You're going to tell me Kirk Cousins in the last, I would say, 7 years hasn't statistically been a top 7, top 8 quarterback in the league?
But here's all the other problem with that argument, right? Is you're taking a guy in the middle of the road and saying that he's overrated. That's not overrated. He's an average quarterback. And by the way, gets pretty decent results.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Kirk Cousins statistically would show you he's a top 7, top 8 quarterback.
I've never been a Cousins fan, so.
All right. Jeff, who do you got?
Oh, this isn't even close. This is the entire list. Certify it. You guys are all wrong with everything that you've said.
You're going to pick 3 Cowboys, aren't you?
The third most overrated player is easily Amari Cooper.
I knew he was going to say Cooper.
For what they're paying Amari Cooper, and he couldn't catch a cold. He couldn't catch COVID with a room full of people coughing on him. He couldn't catch COVID. The second most overrated player in the league is very easily Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott is just an absolute.
He's going to say
he led the league in fumbles. Enough said. You lead the league in fumbles, get out. You stink. If you get replaced by Tony Pollard, you stink. Right? And the number one overrated player in the league is Dak Prescott.
We all knew that was coming.
All right, who owes me money?
You gave.
I told these guys you were going to say that.
You gave $200 million to a guy that we last saw he was wearing his foot on backwards. If I'm going to pay you money, you got to at least know the right way to wear your foot. And by the way, it's a very legitimate. Dak Prescott's a very legitimate one, right? Because he beats up on terrible teams. He throws for 1 trillion yards when the Dolphins were bad. He throws for 1 trillion yards because Speedy's Giants stink. He throws for 1 trillion yards because the Washington football team stinks. And then 2 seasons ago, he didn't beat a team that had a winning record. If you can't beat teams that win, you stink. And somehow you're going to cash a check. Go home.
Jeff, let me ask you a question. Is CeeDee Lamb the only good player on the Cowboys?
No, I feel bad for a guy like Leighton Vander Esch who's had some unfortunate injuries. I think we all think Leighton Vander Esch can play football.
I tell you what, they didn't renew his contract.
There's definitely guys there that can play football. Like, it's unfortunate that some of those good people and those good football players have to play in front of such a trash fan base. It's unfortunate.
Hold on, really quick. Before Errol goes, Jeff, I'm going to do this. I'm going to send you, when you see the Beeve, I'm going to send you a customized shirt. It's going to have the Jets-Cowboys final score on that game, and you're going to wear it right for the Beeve, okay?
Do you realize
His ear must be
that
ringing.
was my Super Bowl? Do you realize that was my Super Bowl? I love the Ginger Hercules just throwing it all over the playground on the Cowboys. Oh.
By the way, Errol, his ears are definitely ringing, by the way. I know that people are talking about him.
Poor kid, man.
I mean, you're not going to tell me that when you give someone $42 million a year and you can't beat a winning team, that you're not overrated.
It's going to be like a final score, and it's going to be like Robbie Anderson's running, like with like smoke coming up behind him, and it's like the final score just pops up.
Listen, dude, I'm dying for someone to try to justify that. Listen, and I'm not saying Dak Prescott's bad, but I'm dying for someone to try to justify that he should be the second highest paid quarterback in the league. Please, God, try to justify that to me.
Well, I also think that when Nabib heard about CeeDee, he didn't know who CeeDee Lamb was.
Well, that's a problem.
No, Nabib is an idiot.
No, when he told me that he would trade CeeDee Lamb for McKinney, I thought he was on drugs. I said, "You're out of your damn mind. Do you even know who he is?"
I tried to tell him. Did I not speak to him in a calm voice?
You did.
Dude, you're gonna like CeeDee Lamb. You're gonna like him. Like, don't worry. And, no, I'm gonna cry anyways because it's not a safety.
All right. Number one, Amari Cooper. I think he's one of the most overrated wide receivers in the league.
Just copy my list.
No. I told you.
That's why he goes last.
No. Amari Cooper is, to me, one of the most overrated wide receivers in the league. He's not a number one. He's a number one. He's not a number two. So he is absolutely overrated as far as I'm concerned. Number two, J.J. Watt. I've always thought J.J. Watt was overrated. Look at all the tackles, all the sacks that he's had. Most of his sacks against really bad teams. He would double up or quadruple up in a game. He'll have 3 sacks in a game, and against good offensive lines, he couldn't get a sack if he had a nosebleed. So I think J.J. Watt is very overrated. I've always thought he was very overrated. And at number 3, Patrick Mahomes. I've always thought Patrick Mahomes plays on the best team in the NFL with the most talent in the NFL. Just look at that team from top to bottom. Besides the Browns, who's more talented than the Kansas City Chiefs? You look at the coach. The coach is one of the most best offensive minds we've ever seen come out of the NFL. That you look at the over the last couple of years. Look at the offensive line is a top 10 offensive line. Their defense has always been pretty good. It didn't matter who it was, Clark, whoever they have at that defensive line. They've always had a pretty good defensive line. And to me, Travis Kelce, you have all the weapons that you have offensively over the last 2-3 years.
How do you get 4 guys?
I'm sorry?
How do you get 4 guys?
No, that was 3. That was 3.
No, he's not saying Travis Kelce's over.
No.
You went Amari Cooper, J.J. Watt, Mahomes, and now another guy. How do you get?
No,
you didn't say Kelce.
No, I didn't. I said 3. I'm telling you why I think Patrick Mahomes is, to me, an overrated player. I'm giving you players on his team that I think anybody could play behind the line of scrimmage with that team and get touchdowns and be as good as he is. I'm telling you, I think Patrick Mahomes is overrated. You put him on a bad team, even if you put him on a Cowboys right now, I'm sorry, even with the talent that they have, he's not winning as many games as he has. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he plays in a division besides the last year. That's a terrible division. Look at the division. Oakland Raiders, the Denver Broncos. When was the last time the Denver Broncos were good? Okay? Let's be honest. And then the San Diego Chargers. Are you kidding me?
Least clutch team
the
in
LA
football.
Chargers. I mean, all 4 of those teams are garbage. He plays in a very easy division. So to me, I think Patrick Mahomes.
Can I just make one counterpoint to your Patrick Mahomes argument? I just want to make one small counterpoint. You're arguing that Mahomes is overrated, and fine, you're welcome to your opinion. Okay, but he in the 3 seasons that he's been at the starting quarterback, because he's been in the league for 4, and Smith was there, but he went to an AFC Championship game, lost, won a Super Bowl, and then next year back to the Super Bowl and lost. And I get it, you're going to go, but he lost. But just keep in mind, that's the result of a person only making $3 million more a year than Dak Prescott, who can't beat a winning team. and so you're trying to argue that those are terrible results and he's overrated. He only makes $3 million more than a dude that can't beat a winning team. And you're like, how is Dak Prescott not on everybody's list, like right at the top? He's only good at chunky soup commercials. Like, that's all he's good for.
because
I say,
He's not as
doesn't
good as
make me buy
Donovan
this.
McNabb.
Does he really help?
I don't hate Dak Prescott, and I also think that being that he plays for the Cowboys and plays for an organization
And
that
so
don't.
you think he's worth every penny?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I never said that. I look at what I've seen, and everybody keeps talking about why'd you put J.J. Watt. Go look at the years that he was dominant. Go look at when he was Defensive Player of the Year. Look at the sacks total against the teams that he's played against. They were all under 500 teams. Bad offensive lines when he had the sacks. When he played top end, when he played the Patriots would shut him down. He wouldn't even be able to touch the quarterback. So to me, when you watch J.J. Watt's good against the bad teams. Terrible. I mean, J.J. Watt is bad. He's bad against the good teams, and he's great against the bad teams. And that's just my opinion.
Just to me, I think it's blasphemy to have a Walter Payton Man of the Year on that list, because he's done so much good for the community. He should have a little insulation for people yelling overrated at him. And I still can't wrap my mind around that Patrick Mahomes only makes $3 million more a season than Dak Prescott, and somehow Mahomes is overrated with his success record, but somehow, hey, Dak Prescott, good for him. Glad he got paid. How's your foot, buddy?
And again, the reason why I think he's overrated is because everybody blows him up to be as great as he is. I think you put any decent quarterback on that team.
Blow up Dak Prescott?
No, I think the Cowboy fans do. I think the Cowboy fans do. Anybody else is not going to blow up Dak Prescott. They know what he is. They know what he is.
You're in agreement that Cowboys fans are cretins.
I think the Cowboy fans are out of their minds sometimes. I think they really take their team to a whole nother level. Everybody on their team are superstar players, and they can win a Super Bowl, or they're going to make the playoffs, or they're the best team in the division when they haven't won anything since 96?
96.
But he's getting paid like the second best player in the league, and he is nowhere near the resume of Patrick Mahomes. In no stretch of the imagination has Dak Prescott come close to the amount of success that Patrick Mahomes has had.
No question, Jeff. I'm not arguing your points. I think that you're right.
How do more people not have Dak Prescott on their list? Somebody justify this.
Because when I look at overrated players, I look at the talent and what they do on the field and the teams that they have around them. And
Dallas does have a lot of talent, though.
Wouldn't an element of salary be how you would rate a player? And being that you're
But you know quarterbacks, Jeff, just as much as everybody does. Once a quarterback makes more money, the other quarterback, when he becomes a free agent and he's half decent, they're going to make more money. So that's the way the NFL works. That's the one thing. That's what I love about baseball. If you're not a good player, you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid like the top players in the league. You have to be a top player.
Aaron Judge got paid.
No, he didn't.
Not yet.
He didn't get paid. Aaron Judge makes $500,000.
He probably won't because
how much do you think he'll make on the open
And by the way, Jeff, just so you know, because I think Aaron Judge is overrated because he can't stay healthy. Aaron Judge, when he is in the lineup, he statistically bats close to 300. This is a power hitter. He hits over 30 home runs, and he hits almost 100 RBIs every time he plays over 100 games or more.
The market for corner outfielders is falling too. He's not going to get a lot of money.
No, he's not. The Yankees aren't going to pay.
How much do you think he'll make on the open market?
$190 million.
If even, yeah.
$190 million.
But by the way, literally no one cares about Aaron Judge. Someone still needs to explain to me how Dak Prescott isn't on more list.
I decided to go out with a non-quarterback list.
Well, I asked Jeff a question, but I guess he didn't hear me. So,
by the way, shout out to Ben. Ben Lawfrey says that the Chargers have been the decent senseo. Yes, Ben, I've called them the least clutch team in football for a while now. He also says Jerry Jones wastes money like it's nobody business, and the stadium is ridiculous. That is absolutely true. Yeah, he does waste money.
Beautiful stadium.
It is a beautiful stadium, but who says he doesn't waste money? Lyle says I'd do the same if I had his money to be not fair. Ben says not that team. Lyle says, if I had his money, I would have bought a small percentage of the Jets, and that's even worse. And Ben says,
that doesn't make it any better.
Don't trash Gary V's dreams, LOL.
Well,
dude, how is Dak Prescott not at the top of everybody? He's making $42 million a year and couldn't beat a team with a winning record. How more overrated do you need to be?
to me, when I look at Dak Prescott, I root on the underdog, and I think he's an underdog. I think he's always been an underdog, and that's why I root him.
You're
on.
not an underdog. You're not an underdog if you're making $42 million a year. You're considered to be elite when you're doing that.
But you know this, Jeff. We've seen quarterbacks. Andy Dalton got $150 million from the Bengals.
Andy Dalton probably has a winning record, I would imagine.
Oh, Andy Dalton's got ridiculous numbers. If I've it does again. He's only played one playoff game, but yeah, he played
more than one playoff.
Not played more than one.
I mean, in the first round, whatever the case is. Andy Dalton has 200 touchdowns to 230 touchdowns to 126 interceptions or something like that. He has 100 more touchdowns than interceptions. If you look at Andy Dalton's numbers and you compare, I told you this, comparing some of the greats that some of the guys that are in the Hall of Fame, he's got better numbers than Joe Namath. He's got better numbers than Terry Bradshaw. I'm not lying. Go look at Andy Dalton's numbers. So Andy Dalton has good numbers, but again, he comes from the league where it's become an offensive league than when it was from the defensive league. So you can't really argue those points. But
you need to tell us the Andy Dalton haters not with the network anymore.
But Andy Dalton, he made a lot of money. Did he deserve that money? Come on. I mean, Andy Dalton's Dak Prescott. That's what he is. That's what he is.
Dude, how is it possible Josh has Kirk Cousins on his list and Dak Prescott
he's on drugs.
Double his but Dak Prescott
me?
You're on drugs.
And somehow
I wish I was here in this conversation. Yes, I do.
Well, Jeff, you're right. I understand.
Wait a second. To say that I have Kirk Cousins on the list instead of Dak, but Arrow has Pat Mahomes on the list and not Dak. I mean, come on now.
What are we doing here? What
are we doing here, Jeff?
I put Pat Mahomes on that list because look at the talent that is around him. Look at the coach. Look at the coach that he has since he's been a rookie. Look who he played behind his first year before he stepped behind the line of scrimmage. Me, you, Speedy.
But I don't want to hear about, talent this, talent that, because on paper, guess what? The Cowboys have one of the most talented teams in the league on paper. Do they not?
Yes, I agree. I said that before. I said when you have Cooper, what?
Their defense stinks.
Their defense stinks, but they do have offensive talent, though, dude. When you're talking about Cooper and you're talking about CeeDee Lamb.
Hold on. Dak played 3 games with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Gallup. And by the way, he was breaking records for the first three games.
Another one.
He was breaking records. Yes, Speedy. He was breaking records his first 3 games of the season.
Another one, right, Jeff? You think Michael Gallup is overrated?
What? I'm sorry? What'd you say, Jeff?
I said records aren't the only thing he broke.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God. I know. But I will say this. When he did play with them, their numbers, and then when he came out and Andy Dalton came in, look at the numbers and look what the Cowboys were doing. So Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. I think the Cowboys,
Hold on. How do you not beat a team with a winning record and claim that he's a good quarterback?
Well, the defense stinks. I mean, go look at where their defense was ranked.
You have to overcome. You got to overcome. If you're a good player making $42 million a year.
Well, he wasn't. Hold on. He wasn't making $42 million when that happened.
How did nobody else put Saquon Barkley on their list? That's another one I want to know.
He got paid off of that performance. That's how he got paid, was off of that performance.
Yeah, but he just got the money this year, Jeff.
He got the money before the season started.
So what if he had beat a team with a winning record? They would have given him $80 million a year.
Maybe. Who knows?
First of all,
who knows with Jerry? He might have.
First of all, Speedy, he got the money this offseason.
I know, as I said before the season started.
The season hasn't started yet.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah, he didn't get the money last season. He got the money this offseason. This offseason, they gave him the contract. They franchised him, if you remember. They gave him the contract this offseason. So I don't know what you're talking about, Speedy. So I think you're on drugs
too.
I think you're on drugs or something. Because I don't know
what
you're
on drugs and I'm on drugs. Arrow's drinking too much Jack Daniels.
Probably.
We're all leaving now.
Probably. But
I'm just telling you, that's a magical $3 million. That's the difference between Mahomes, which is a Super Bowl, a trip, another trip, and a trip to the AFC Championship, and Dak Prescott for $3 million less couldn't beat a Canadian football team. Like what a magical difference $3 million makes. Magical how that happened, right?
I want to see what Dak Prescott does this year with him being healthy with that offense. If Dak Prescott plays well, then we have nothing to say. If he doesn't, maybe you're quite right. You could put him in the overrated conversation.
But
I think he's top.
I'm sorry, Josh. What did you say?
I think Dak's all right. I think Dak is top 5 though.
Overrated?
Yes, I do.
Now let me ask you a question. If he's so overrated, before he hurt his leg, why was he breaking records? He was on his way with the team that he had and the offense.
But again, as Jeff was saying before, you look at the offensive talent that he has compared to the offensive talent on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hold on. Andy Dalton stepped in a thing, and Andy Dalton's been successful with great wide receivers, and he couldn't. And Andy Dalton's only 31 years old, 32 years old.
What a terrible benchmark you have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what an idiotic statement. Oh, if he wasn't breaking records. Yeah, go back to season before when he started against the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Redskins, and he threw for 400 yards each game. What happened after that?
Oh, hold on one second. The last season that he played. Hold on.
Right in the shitter.
Hold on. The last season that he played with all those teams. By the way, in the beginning of the season, he didn't have Amari Cooper. He was injured. Okay, there was no CeeDee Lamb. Okay, and there was Gallup. Gallup was a rookie player. He was a rookie wide receiver.
But I don't want to hear about, he puts up numbers. He puts up numbers against trash teams, and when it comes time to play a decent football team, he chokes like a dog.
Okay, and that
also, a few years ago when Kareem Hunt got hurt for the Chiefs.
But you can't say that guy is overrated when remember
$42 million a year. That's overrated.
Well, now, he's got to prove himself now. He got the contract this offseason. If he doesn't prove himself this offseason, yes, then we can put him in the overrated conversation. But right now, Dak Prescott isn't overrated. I wouldn't say he's overrated.
When you lose to Adam Gase, you're overrated.
Let's give a guy. I'd say we give a guy 23% of our salary cap so he cannot beat a winning football team. That seems legitimate.
Jeff will agree with this. If you lose to Adam Gase, are you overrated?
If you lose to Adam Gase, they should just take you out behind the barn and put you down.
No, they don't have to do that. They just have him stare. They have a staring contest with Adam Gase. That was scared the shit out of him. He'll be dead.
Hey man, you guys live by Belmont Park. What happens to the horse when it breaks its leg? Off to the glue factory.
Oh my God!
Oh God, Jeff!
He's terrible.
Jesus Christ,
He's
Jeff!
Terrible. You are terrible, Jeff.
Can you be more morbid than you just? Well, you probably could. What am I saying?
Yes, he
can.
He
could.
could.
Yeah,
yes,
you could.
Don't trigger it. Yes, he can.
Yeah,
you
could top it. If you saw the Beav in person, he could top it.
By the way, and again, when we talk about overrated, I look at a lot of different things before I argue my points on why they're overrated. Jeff, you have a right of your own opinion with Dak Prescott and all the Cowboys.
It's not an opinion; it's fact. He makes $42 million.
Now he does.
How nice, if you have your opinion.
You have your own opinion. Yeah, he has his own opinion.
And then Jeff goes, "No, it's a fact. It's not an opinion."
It's his fact. It's his fact. But I tell you this right now: if Dak Prescott comes back this year and throws close to 5,000 yards and throws 35 touchdowns and only 10 interceptions, that's not an overrated play. That's a good play.
What if they don't make the? Well, I guess it wouldn't be.
Matt Ryan threw for over 4,000. No one cares about numbers. It's about winning football games.
Okay, and their defense stinks. I don't expect them to win nothing. Their defense is terrible.
Yeah, you got to overcome Tom Brady.
Oh, come on.
Hold on. It's a very good. You're talking about defenses. Tom Brady dragged the.
You're talking about one of the greatest. You're talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. To Dak Prescott. Okay.
Who's never made $42 million in a season? It's outrageous. It's outlandish. It shouldn't stand.
You know the NFL. You know the NFL. That's the way they do it.
Look at Aaron Rodgers and the defenses he carried.
Aaron Rodgers is on a whole nother level than Dak Prescott.
Yes, but the thing is, if he's getting paid in the same semblance of salary as Aaron Rodgers is, doesn't.
But that's every good. Look at the quarterbacks that we've seen get contracts. Look at that. Ryan Tannehill, when he went over there, got $90 million and played half a good season. I just gave you one.
In fairness,
I just gave you one.
Hold on. In fairness, none of Ryan Tannehill's money was guaranteed, so at any minute they could cut him. So that is a good contract to give, because if he performs, you keep him, and if he doesn't, you cut him, you lose nothing, right? It does not matter. They are on the hook for $160 million, regardless of which way Dak Prescott puts his foot on in the morning.
How about Jared Goff? How about Jared Goff? He got $136 million.
Yeah. Terrible contract. Great. Still not as much as. And by the way, Jared Goff, been to a Super Bowl. How's Dak doing?
How about Carson Wentz? That was a good team. That was a good all-around team while they made it to the Super Bowl.
It was also a team that got aided by possibly the worst non-call we've ever seen.
Hold on, before Wentz got hurt, he was on track to win the MVP that season.
Taysom Hill, who just got $140 million.
Yeah.
How about him?
Again, by the way, Carson Wentz, earned that contract, was having an MVP season before he got hurt, right? And I don't want to hear about injuries, because if you're going to knock Carson Wentz for getting hurt, you better sure as hell knock Dak Prescott for wearing his foot on backwards, okay? So
Errol, you could tell him I just said that.
Season,
I'm sorry?
Earned that money. And
What did you say, Josh?
I said you could tell him I just said that too. I said Carson Wentz was having an MVP season before he got hurt.
Okay.
That was what it was.
And that because he has an MVP season and he didn't have the MVP, he deserves all that money that he got. He got that contract after the fact. Right. After the fact. He's not overrated? Come on.
He earned that contract.
He didn't earn that contract. One good season, he earned the contract. You're on drugs, Josh.
He didn't get paid as nearly
You're
as close
on
to
drugs.
Dak.
By the way, just so you know, go look at Dak Prescott's numbers and Carson Wentz's numbers since they've come into the league. Who's better? Who's better? Who's better? Who's better? No, he's not. No, he's not.
No, come on, Jeff.
No, he's not.
You can't just keep. Can I make the point, or are you just going to keep going? Who's better? Who's better? Who's better? You're an idiot. Carson Wentz been to a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott? Nope.
Carson Wentz was not at a Super Bowl. Nick Foles was at the Super Bowl.
So Nick Foles is a better quarterback than Dak from that logic?
I didn't say that.
No, Jeff.
Just because Carson Wentz didn't play in that game doesn't mean he didn't have a hand in getting his team there. He did.
Again, Jeff, you're going to tell me one season he deserves $140 million or something like that? Get out of here.
Are you going to tell me on one season?
Dak, just so you know, just so you know, Dak Prescott's played in how many playoff games? How many playoff games?
What, 3?
3 playoff games. How many wins does he have? And how many losses?
2-2, I think.
He's 2-2. 2-2. What's Carson Wentz's record in the playoffs?
No, 1-2. My bad. They had a bye week the first year.
I was just going to say 2-2 if he played in 3 games. Come on now.
He's played in more 3 games in the playoffs.
Out of those two quarterbacks, which one has a Super Bowl ring?
Because he went to an NFC title game.
No, he didn't. No, the first year they were in the second round. They lost as the 1 seed when they were 13-3 his rookie year. So it was actually only 3 playoff games. So he won 1 against the Seahawks.
Well, they lost to Green Bay.
Yeah, they lost to Green Bay and they lost to the Rams. They beat the Seahawks. Those are the only 3 playoff games he's been in.
Out of those 2 quarterbacks, which one has the Super Bowl ring?
What do you mean?
Because Wentz won the Super Bowl with the Foles.
Dak Prescott have a Super Bowl ring?
Carson Wentz didn't win the Super Bowl. He didn't win it.
Oh, he sure got a ring for it.
He got a ring. Yeah, he got a ring. I could have gotten a ring too if I played on the team too. I could have got a ring too. If I was working, listen, if I was working over there at the place and I was actually selling, candy, I would get a ring. Okay, I mean.
Out of all the things you could have come up with Philly cheesesteaks, you come up with candy.
I'm saying the facts. I know you don't like Dak Prescott, and that's fine.
What's Dak Prescott ever won? What, like a can of beef and potato soup?
All I'm saying, Jeff, when you look at what Dak Prescott's done and stuff like that, and you look at Jared Goff, you look at Carson Wentz, numbers don't lie. And Dak has better numbers than all 3 of them.
Jared, listen, say what you want, and I think he thinks too, but guess what? You got to give credit where credit is due. And Jared Goff, by the way, had the number 1 offense in all of football and led his team to a Super Bowl.
But hold on. His coach was calling the audibles at the line of scrimmage after 15 seconds. He couldn't even do that. Couldn't even do that.
listen, just because that's the way they do it, and now you're trying to knock him because a coach had a say. Oh my God, Tom Brady thinks Bill Belichick told him what to do. That's terrible. Aaron Rodgers, absolute trash. Matt LaFleur called the plays. He's responsible.
First of all.
By the way, if you think Dak Prescott's so good, he had the amazing Jason Garrett television.
I didn't. First of all, I never said that he was so good. I never said that he was so good.
If you're gonna knock a football player because the coach,
all I'm saying is that every quarterback is overpaid now. If you're half a decent quarterback and you get your rookie contract up and you're the starting quarterback of that organization, you're gonna get paid. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. You're gonna get paid.
And by the way, if we're going on that scale, Dak Prescott, never been to a Super Bowl, way overpaid. Guess what? Jared Goff makes less. And
does Sam Darnold deserve that fifth year for $25 million after what he's done with the Jets?
Sam Darnold deserves every goddamn penny for beating the Dallas Cowboys. Every goddamn penny.
What did you think he was going to say? I knew when you asked him that.
Dude, I hope they pay him in nickels and they put him all in wheelbarrows and make the Dallas Cowboys walk those nickels to his
house. What do you think he was going to say when you said that?
Oh, God.
Wait, let me ask him this. What do you think Robbie Anderson should be getting paid?
Robbie Anderson deserves every penny that man makes for having to put up with the New York Jets. That's period. End of story.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the great Jeff from Tampa. Thank you, Jeff.
Dak Prescott is overrated and the beef sucks.
Jeff from Tampa. Thank you, Jeff. Well,
that was interesting for the last hour.
Well, Jeff has
2 hours.
Jeff has good.
I don't know what that was.
Well, first of all, the reason why I like Jeff on the show is because he puts some good input of what he was saying. I'm not going to say that he doesn't, but
Lyle came in hot and heavy, man.
Yeah, man, it was a good show.
Lyle, I never heard Lyle like that. Oh my God! Can you let me shut up and let me talk? I was like, hello, somebody went through puberty this morning.
I was upset about the Islander game.
He was annoyed. Listen, it's a playoff game. He was hot about it. I'd be pissed off too if I was him. If you're at the game.
He's not wrong about the calls the referees had, but you can't blame it on the referees. It was Varlamov on why they lost. They lost because of Varlamov. And Barry.
I don't know what the Jets had the Rangers had to do with that conversation.
I will tell you guys this. If Barry Trotz has the balls to put Varlamov in game number 4 on
meet
Saturday,
him outside the Coliseum.
I am going to attack him on Wednesday's show. I don't even care if they win back-to-back games. I'm going to be pissed off.
Wait, hold on. What time is the game on Friday?
It's Saturday.
What time is the game on Saturday?
3 o'clock.
Oh, no, never mind, because I was going to say with the weekend crunch.
No, the weekend crunch right after it. Yep.
Damn.
Will be normal time unless they go like double overtime or something.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. I tell you this. I'm expecting to hear on the news a local man from Wisconsin gets arrested outside the Nassau Coliseum parking lot, and then Arrow's mugshot shows up.
Yeah, well.
And then I really say he was on a lot of edibles that day.
It's so funny because Lyle invited. He might have an extra ticket. He invited me to go to the game with him.
Did he really? Are you going?
I don't know. He said that if he's going to let me know tomorrow, I'll go with him.
Let me tell you, the fact that him and Jeff have become friends is so comical. You should give the two of them a show together and see where that goes. That will last 2 episodes before Jeff has enough of him.
That would be.
And Lyle will yell at him.
That would be interesting. It really would.
Jeff won't back down from anything.
No, he wouldn't.
I mean, you know what though? It's funny because I could picture the two of them being friends.
No, because once Jeff hears something stupid come out of Lyle's mouth, it'll be on. It'll be on the attack. Trust me, and they'll be hating each other by the end of the show.
If you go to this game with Lyle, I'm just letting you know, he sits with Section 329, the Blue and Orange Army.
I know where it is. Yeah.
You know the same army that you mocked months ago. You mocked them. You were like, "Oh, the army, this bullshit." You have to sit with them now.
How
I'm just
wonderful.
letting so whatever they do, I'm just saying, if you're going to sit there, just remember, you chose it. Okay, you chose to go with him, and you chose to sit there.
Listen, I would like to see the Islanders when I've been to I went to a Stanley Cup Finals a couple of times. I was on the ice when the Blues won the Stanley Cup. So this
Who
year
wins Game 4?
I'm sorry.
Who wins Game 4?
The Islanders. If
So
Sorokin plays,
who wins the series though?
I don't know now. I don't know.
I still
now.
got the Islanders.
I tell you, if Sorokin looks like he did during the year, I think they'll win this in 6 games. They'll win. I think they will. No, I think they will. I think they'll win the next.
They need to play Sorokin. This is ridiculous that he has not even. I understand Varlamov did what he did. I understand the whole situation. He did great last year. You have a stud young goaltender that is, to me, could take you to higher heights that Varlamov couldn't take you. Why aren't you playing him?
And I will say this, Jeff is completely right, by the way. Barry Trotz had absolutely, by the way, the Knicks sold out both of their first.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
By the way, meanwhile, the Nets can't even sell out there. They had to give away tickets for 50%.
You're talking about the Knicks.
The point being is this. They should have absolutely challenged that call. There was no reason why Trotz. First off, we all were sitting here when that play happened, and what did all Speedy remembers? What did all three of us say? We all said high stick.
Mm-hmm. Unless they didn't have a timeout, maybe he couldn't. I don't know. We were.
No, he had the timeout.
Okay, then yeah.
You could have at the end of the game.
Okay.
Speedy, all three of us sat here, and all three of us agreed that we said high stick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 minutes left in the game, and you still had your timeout. There is no justifying. I don't care how high of an Islander fan you are. Dude, if that was the New York Rangers, whoever the coach did that, I'd say fire him after this game. That is exactly what I would say.
Yeah, but that's Barry Trotz.
But you can't. I understand it's Barry Trotz, but dude, before Barry Trotz won this Stanley Cup with Washington, he was known for having very good teams in Washington and even Nashville at times, and didn't get them to where they were supposed to go.
Nashville's rosters were never.
They
were never elite rosters. They were at times above
Washington
average.
teams,
the Washington teams, yes, absolutely.
Dude,
but that's also
many
Washington. That doesn't matter who's their coach.
You guys talk over each other. Both of you want to finish up what you're saying, and you guys talk over. You get one person talks, the other one.
It's not me. It's him. It's not you, it's
Just
me.
stop. Just stop. When you guys talk and when you guys are talking with one another and I'm talking, I just stop. And then I'll add
All right,
what
we can talk after the show about it.
Yeah, well, I'm just, honestly.
Now we're airing dirty laundry.
Honestly, I don't know who's going to win this series now because the Islanders should have won this game. It was a terrible decision to keep Varlamov in going into the third period.
Crap. That's what I think it is.
I think it was absolutely
See what I
terrible.
did there?
And I think it was a big mistake. And I think if the Islanders do lose this series, we're going to go back to this game and say,
You're not going to tell me that Trotz should be fired, are you? We're not going that route, are we? We're not really. You're not going to go there.
I'm not saying Trotz isn't getting fired.
He's got a lifetime contract with the Islanders.
He's not getting fired. He's the best coach in the NHL. Why would they
That's right.
fire him?
He's got a lifetime guaranteed contract. He can leave whenever the hell he wants.
Why would they fire him? They're not going to fire him.
No, listen. I don't think they absolutely should. I'm asking you that question because you know how some fans are. They get hot and heavy, and everyone's come on.
He's in this fetish for Varlamov. Okay, I understand. He took you
He's
all the way.
Vet. He's the veteran.
I understand that. Let's be honest. When you have a rookie goaltender that wins the game number one, why would you take him out?
Oh, I wish you were in the car on the way to your party. I wish you were in the car when Lyle and I were yelling back and forth in the front seat. I said Sorokin should have started. He said Varlamov is a Vezina Trophy candidate. He should be starting.
Oh,
and Speedy's in the back saying, I don't know about that, Lyle. And I said, dude, go look at the games played. He actually said, what did he say, Speedy? I think it was 5 or 6 games he played less than Vasilevsky.
Yeah, which was completely
So therefore,
wrong.
he should. I said, if anything, Grubauer was probably ahead of freaking Varlamov at that point for the Vezina. Right. Grubauer completely turned around the Colorado Avalanche season.
I think it was a bad decision. That's all I'm going to say. I think it was a bad decision for the Islanders. I think if they lose this series, we're going to go back and we're going to say that going into the third period, and the Islanders scored 3 goals in the third period, and they would have had the lead because I don't think Sorokin would have given up two of those 2 big goals.
I think Sorokin's going to be a stud.
I think it was a big mistake. I think the Islanders made a mistake and could have cost them an opportunity to win this series. I think because of this game, there could be a good chance that they lose. And let's be honest, Varlamov played like in the first period, which lost them the game.
He played like doggy doo-doo, right, Arrow?
He played like crap. Okay, he played well after that, but the game was over. The game was over after that. So the way the Penguins were playing defense in that game. So I just think to me, these last two games is really the blame goes to Barry Trotz. This was his mistake.
He played like Alexander Georgiev starting 6 games in a row like crap. That's what he played.
It was horrible. And I think I'm telling you right now, if he plays Varlamov in game number 4, I am going to be effing pissed.
I think you should go to the game. I think you should go because here's the thing: if Varlamov's starting and they lose, you get a head start on meeting Trotz in the yard.
What are you kidding me? I'm going to jump over.
You'll meet him in the parking lot. You get a head start.
I'm going to choke Trotz. That's what I'm going to say. What is wrong with you?
That's right. And I tell you this: don't call me for bail. That's why you brought Lyle with you.
How do you have a rookie stud goaltender? How do you do that and not play him? Knowing that he won game number 1 for you in overtime. It doesn't make sense.
It didn't make sense to me. But and you know what the crazy thing is that we even saw it last year, right? So he pulled Varlamov out because Varlamov was hurt, and he put Greiss in, right? So and Greiss won a game, correct? Greiss won a game last year. We all knew Varlamov was the better goalie.
Greiss won game 7 against the Flyers.
I understand that, Speedy, but we all knew Varlamov was healthy going into game 1 against Tampa. We knew that going in, and he still started Greiss because Greiss won him game 7. So in the end, if Sorokin won him game 1, why are you pulling the guy that won you the first game?
It doesn't make sense.
You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense.
I am upset. I
know you're very upset.
I'm upset because not because the Islanders didn't play hard and they didn't earn even
played extremely hard. They tried to beat the living crap out of the Penguins,
and that's what the Islanders need to do to beat the Penguins. But get under Sidney Crosby and Malkin skin. But
the thing is, Crosby gives it back, though. That's the thing, though. It's annoying.
I'm upset. Well, the NHL wants Sidney Crosby to win this series. Okay, that's what they want. You know, they want to see Pittsburgh versus Washington.
That's why I call him Crosbitch. That's why I call him Crosbitch.
They really want to see Pittsburgh.
I take him on my team. Let me just point that out.
They want to see Pittsburgh versus Washington. Ovechkin versus Crosby.
Oh no. I don't know.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
I say that too, but to have an original 6 in Boston, they love Boston.
They do, but Josh, every year,
love Boston.
Every year, what is the Wednesday night primetime game? The most one is Penguins Capitals all the time. Yeah. They love that.
I understand that, and I get that, but dude, Boston has one of the biggest followings in hockey, a much bigger following than the Capitals do. Dude, it's an original 6 team as well. They'll take the Bruins over any of those teams any day. That's just a fact because there are historical ways about them. Dude, you don't think right now that they're loving every fact that the Maple Leafs are playing the Canadians right now?
Oh, sure.
That the ratings are going through the roof in Canada right now? I mean, come on. It's an original 6 thing. That's what it is. Forget that it was Crosby. We've seen Crosby and Ovechkin in the playoffs a billion times. They'll take an original 6 historical team like the Bruins in a city like Boston with a huge market over any of that.
Again, going back to what I was saying, we can go back and forth on it. I think it really upsets me. Nothing with the penalty calls, and listen, that's the game. The referees are going to call it the way they want to call it. If
they always miss calls.
If they're on the Penguin side, oh well, then play harder, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, what really bothers me is that the Islanders had a very good – if the Islanders put Sorokin in this game, he wouldn't have given up 2 goals in that period. They would have won the game. They would have won this game. I think Barry Trotz screwed up. He really, really screwed up on this. And he better clean this up, and he better put Sorokin in because if he don't, the Islanders are going to be – I don't think the Islanders win another game in the series.
Right.
I don't think they win another game in this series.
By the way, shout out to Ben. Shout out to Ben in the comments. I'm not bailing you out either.
I will tell you this. Really
bailing
quick.
who out? What are you talking about?
Out of jail. That hypothetical that you were talking about earlier.
Of course, I would help bail you out. But anyway, it would be, But again, he'll probably yell at me on the show the next week, even if I bail him out of jail. It doesn't even matter. So that's how appreciative he is. But besides that, listen. You could blame the referees all you want, and look, the Rangers played the Kings in the 2014 Stanley Cup. There were Speedy knows this. There were a million blown calls against the Rangers.
So do I.
I didn't sit there blaming the referees for the losses, dude. The Rangers shouldn't have let up the freaking goals at the end of the game. Yeah. Play harder. Don't be soft. The referees. Okay, was there goalie interference in Game 1? Absolutely, there was. Is that why the Rangers lost? No, they were up 5-3 with 5 minutes to go in the third period, and they give up 2 goals, and they give up a goal in overtime because Dan Girardi don't know how to skate all of a sudden.
That was when they actually had a talented defensive team.
That's why they lost.
In comparison to now.
You're blaming something that is out of everybody's hands, the players' hands, the coach's hands, the fans' hands. It's like Errol said, you have to go twice as hard. The Rangers didn't lose that Stanley Cup because the referees screwed them. They lost because they choked it in games. That's the facts. Yeah. Everybody always used to ask me, "Oh man, the referees." My friend Matt used to tell me all the time, "I still hate the referees for that series." I said, "Bro, I said, dude, the Rangers were up 5-3 in Game 1 with 5 minutes left to go. They got 2 goals in the goal and 3 minutes into overtime. They lost because they couldn't handle the pressure at the last few minutes of the game. Okay, that's why they lost. It's not because the referees. Did the referees screw them? Yes. Am I blaming the whole game on the refs? Hell no. Let's be realistic here. Dan Girardi, the referees didn't make Dan Girardi turn the puck over in overtime. Yeah. Okay? So let's call it what it is. Okay, the referees didn't make Varlamov's skill set disappear and give up 5 goals in a game at home.
Right.
It's just you got to understand that, man. You can blame the refs all you want. Who gives a shit, man? Just win your freaking games.
And I agree, and I'm an Islander fan, so
I'm sorry to hear.
I'm not sorry to hear for a Ranger fan, that's for sure.
Oh, trust me, we suck dick. I know that, but I'm not.
What a word. Anyways, that's it.
Well, listen, what do you want me to say? We're not good.
Yeah,
I don't know where we're going.
I told you Speedy. What did I say? What did I say?
5 years away.
5 years.
No. Last year I said they were 5 years away. This year is the 4th year, so they're 3 years away from being a good team. That's where I think they are. And that's
and the thing is, and really quick before we end, I'm not going to say, and we've talked about this, I'm not going to say whether Chris Drury is good or not, because none of us know. We don't know. None of us know. And I will tell you this. John Davidson was hired as president of hockey operations. The first thing that already came up for one of his coaches that he wants to hire, who do you think it was?
Ports?
Ha! You're funny. David Quinn. Okay? So guess what that leads me to believe? That if Davidson stayed here next year, David Quinn would have been back. Great. That would have been a wonderful idea. Let's bring back that idiot. And that's all I got to say about that.
Messier. That's all I got to say.
Would you stop? What about which great coaches? I'll take Trotz, and you can take Mark Messier since you got a hard.
The Islanders aren't getting rid of Barry Trotz.
Okay, but you're the same.
Mark Messier play
game before they might.
I do believe Mark Messier would have played Sorokin in the third period. I do.
Here we go.
I do.
I got to tell you something. I tell you this. If Mark Messier ever gets hired as the Islanders head coach, you'll never hear from Lyle ever again. You'll never hear from You should have heard what he said in the car when I told him you said that. Speedy, what did he say?
What did I say? What did he?
He said Messier should be the head coach of the Rangers. What did Lyle say in the car, Speedy?
Yeah, he said he would lose himself.
He said it would be a terrible idea if the Rangers hired Messier.
Oh, I can't wait.
I
hope he gets hired because I'm telling
you, they're going to hire Gallant.
He is perfect. He is perfect for the Rangers.
Dude, nobody's perfect because he's never done anything as a coach. He's never done anything. How do we know he's perfect? How do we know what Chris Drury is?
Because to me, the guy, you gave it to Chris Drury, so you might as well give it to a rookie coach. Chris Drury doesn't know his ass from his tailbone. He's lucky if he can stick a stick up his ass.
No, but Drury actually was an assistant, and he was in the front office, so he actually knows how salary caps work, how negotiations work. He worked under Davidson. He worked under Gordon. He worked under those guys for the last 5 years.
Peter Laviolette.
Behind the benches, he was a player.
Peter Laviolette got his first job with the Islanders. How good was he as a head coach, as a rookie coach?
I thought he was a great head coach for the Islanders. Terrible idea that they
fired. And he was a rookie head coach. Okay, I have seen a lot of good rookie coaches.
How did Scott Gordon do for the Islanders?
What do you mean, Scott Gordon?
How did Scott Gordon do for the Islanders?
Scott Gordon was shit. Okay.
Well, and remember, everybody said, he's the next big thing. They all said he was the next big thing. He was pure trash.
Gallant's a great hire for why? Because he did very well for Vegas?
He set the standard in Florida, and he did well for Vegas.
Oh, give me a break.
Listen. I'm not going on a rookie coach again. I can't do this again.
Ben also says Lemieux over Messier.
This team needs a kick in the ass. Just like Tom Thibodeau did coming in, they need a veteran coach. This team needs a swift kick in the ass.
I'm telling you, Messier becomes the coach. They'll be even a faster pace of being a good team. That's all I'm going to tell. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you.
Ben also says Lemieux over Messier as an overall player. Yes, we agree with that, I would imagine.
I don't agree because Mario Lemieux is very good at building teams. I don't know if he would be. He's not a player's coach.
Isn't he something with the Penguins?
What happened?
Isn't he like the GM or the president of the
owner.
Penguins?
Yeah, he's in the Penguins
He's
front
the
office,
owner.
yeah.
He's the
owner. So why would he want to be the coach?
No, but I'm just saying if he was a coach.
Okay.
I don't think he would be a good coach because he's not a nice guy.
He's a great coach, by the way. Sullivan,
he's
great
not
freaking coach.
He's not
Mike Sullivan's a great freaking coach.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm telling you right now, if that would be a joke. Okay, that would be a joke. Lyle, you know what's a joke? I'm going to tell you what a joke is. The joke is when you call up a show and you say the first thing you say that the reason why the Islanders lost the game was because of bad play calling, bad referee calls. Okay. I'm just saying that was a joke.
You're not going to the game anymore now, Sonny boy. Now you're out. You're on the outs. That's it.
Errol's going to go to the game and sit 10 rows behind Lyle.
You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. I'm sorry, but
come on.
Now. I think Mark Messier would be the perfect fit for the Rangers.
Get over
Speedy,
it.
would he not be?
I wouldn't mind it. I don't love it either way, but I don't know. I'm in between you guys.
Speedy, who do you want as your coach? You've never even told us.
I said Claude Julien is who I would want.
So you see, you want Julien, I want Gallant, you want Messier. The point is, two Ranger fans want. Look at what Tom Thibodeau did as a veteran coach, right? He came in, set a culture, kicked these guys in the ass.
Where did he come from?
He came from the Knicks.
Okay, and where did Mark Messier come from?
Oh, my God, dude. Thibodeau was a coach with the Knicks. Messier was a player. He never coached.
Mark Messier.
It's different, man.
He is a hockey player.
That's fine. So was Wayne Gretzky. Did Wayne Gretzky coach well?
First of all, he was put on a crappy Phoenix.
He wanted the job.
Okay, yeah.
And what, you think the Rangers are good right now?
I've seen a lot of good players become good coaches.
You think the Rangers are good right now?
I think Mark Messier would change the outcome of them. Yeah.
So you don't think? So you think Gallant wouldn't do anything for the Rangers?
I didn't say that. I said I think Mark Messier would be the better fit. That's what.
The only guy I really don't want the Rangers. Listen, if they hire Messier, clearly, then I have to believe in the fact that they believe in him. What am I going to say as a fan? Like, if I argue it to no end, it's not going to get.
I am an Islander fan, and if Mark Messier gets hired,
I know that.
If Mark Messier got hired from the Rangers, I'd be very excited for the Ranger fans. I'd be very excited.
Listen, if they hire.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Drew is
I know. I've met Mark Messier more than numerous times. The guy.
I met Messier before.
The guy is not only a nice guy. He's a fan. He'll be a player's coach. The guy knows hockey. The guy knows.
Maybe
hockey.
Maybe he'll get an interview.
Well, he's getting an interview. He absolutely is.
He might.
I'm telling you.
And look, if Drury believes in him, then that's where they're going to go.
Didn't Drury play with him? I think he did.
No, Drury signed. It was like 4 years after he retired.
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah,
I think. 2008, the year after he decided to steal a win from the Rangers in the playoffs.
Well, Chris Drury got screwed when he signed with the Rangers because Daniel Briere was supposed to join him, and Briere at the last.
Yep.
Another guy that I knew very well, Chris Drury. I knew very well. When we were kids, I actually played hockey with him. So
he's a very serious. Listen, he's a very serious guy.
Yeah,
he's very serious. He's no name.
I'm not a big fan of Chris Drury. Okay, so
because he works for the Rangers, so you're not a fan.
No, I never liked Chris Drury.
But why though? I heard he's a very nice guy.
I played hockey against him.
Okay.
So I'm not a big fan of him.
I mean, you also got into a fight with Rick DiPietro.
Oh, me and Rick DiPietro.
you're on the shit list for a lot of people.
No, I have.
You also hated in Ireland because you hate Conor McGregor.
Yeah, well, that was. But I had good relationships with a lot of NHL players, so I've always had.
Drury, what I've heard about Drury is he's a very, very, very serious guy. Yeah. He takes everything he does seriously.
He's a douchebag, so.
Listen. Hey, listen, if he's a douchebag but makes my team better, I'll take the douchebaginess.
I'm going to tell you right now, that was the worst mistake the Rangers made was hiring him. I'm going to tell you that right now. That was the worst. You
don't know
mistake.
anything about anyone.
I don't have to. If you're going to hire a rookie GM and you're not going to hire Mark Messier, good luck on that.
Okay, so he's
Chris
a rookie
Drury
GM.
was a subpar player to Mark
Hold on.
Messier, one of the greatest
He was
players
an
to ever play the
assistant
game.
he was an assistant for 8 years with the
Ooh.
Rangers. He was the GM of the Hartford Wolfpack.
Ooh.
You know, Steve Yzerman had the same job. Steve Yzerman, who was also, by
He's
the
not
way,
Steve
an assistant
Yzerman.
GM for years in Detroit, hired in Tampa, was a rookie GM.
Steve Yzerman is one of the greatest. Steve
Yzerman
Yzerman is one of the greatest centers to ever play the game. To Chris
That's
Drury,
great. Good
who
for
is
him.
one of the
True
most
word.
overrated American-born players
Oh
to ever
my
play the
God,
game.
he's overrated. I
Wow.
haven't heard this one before. Let me go to sleep. I'll wake up every time you say overrated for Drury. I'll make a
All
million.
right. So let's just go to Chris Drury's numbers because I'm going to show you that Chris Drury he was a terrible player.
I never said he was a great player.
He was a terrible
He's overrated.
player.
To say he was you're saying
almost
he's a
900
terrible
games. Almost 900 games, 255 goals, 360 assists, and
Sounds like
615 points. Yeah, he was a great player. Then let's go.
I never. First off, see, now I'm going to take your words. You're putting words in my mouth. I never said he was
Mark
a great
Messier, 1,700 games, 694
You're really
goals,
gonna compare the two of them?
1,193.
This is what we're gonna do?
Absolutely.
You're comparing apples
I'm
to
going to
oranges?
hire Mark Messier, who's been more of a successful player in the NHL,
Because
to a
one's
Chris
been an
Drury
assistant,
who's
has
done shit.
experience.
Who's done shit. What experience? He's never run an NHL team. What are you talking
doesn't
about?
have, dude. He's been in the office for 8 years.
Oh my
Messier
God!
has been
And he's
behind the
taking
bench
over
all
the New
year.
York Rangers from
Okay,
John
so
Davidson.
you know what? Hold on.
So
hold
if you're going to sit here and tell me that Chris Drury was the best guy for the job, you're
Yes,
on
let's
drugs.
hire a rookie
You're
coach. You
on
know-
drugs.
Okay,
You'll
yes, I'm
you'll
on
take
drugs. I
Drury.
wish I was on drugs here in this
You'll take
conversation
Drury
right
as
now.
a
I wish
GM over Mark Messier as a coach. Yeah, okay, that's smart.
Hold on a second.
Smart.
Time out.
That's smart.
I want to ask
Smart
Speedy
move.
this. Speedy, did I ever say I didn't want Mark Messier? Did I ever
You
say I
sound
didn't
like
want
it.
You've implied it.
You
Okay,
sound
I
like
implied,
it.
but did I ever say I didn't want him?
Not directly, no, but you implied it.
No, listen, and I said it before 5 minutes ago. If they hire Mark Messier, then I have to believe that there's something about him that the Rangers like, and I have to go with it. It is what it is.
I
I
can't
can't
stand
do anything
Chris
about it, dude.
Drury.
I'm a fan. It's all I
Watch.
can do.
3 years. Drury will be fired. Remember I said that. 3
Listen, that's
years.
fine. That's if I'm even here in 3 years.
You'll be here.
You'll
You'll be here. You'll be here, and I'm telling you right now, Chris Drury will not last as the GM for the New York Rangers. I'm gonna let you guys know that he is not going to be good for the Rangers. I'm telling you right now. So remember, I said that. That's all. That's it, guys. Long show, 4-hour show almost. But it was good. It was a really, really good show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you, Jeff, for being Jeff. Lyle, thank you for coming on and giving and throwing your 2 cents out. I really appreciate it. I think quality show, really good show, good banter. We put a lot of stuff. I mean, you put the headliner as Tony La Russa. Who cares about Tony La Russa? I mean, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about
Wait,
that.
who put that as the headline?
No, Speedy, but because we didn't really talk.
We
about
didn't get to it again.
I didn't want to get. I didn't want to. Honestly, I didn't.
got to it yesterday.
Honestly, I didn't want to get to it. There's nothing to talk about. What is there to talk about?
We got to it at the end of the show yesterday.
There's nothing to talk about. The guy's a moron. That's it. I mean,
I said it was a
But
terrible hire the moment they did it.
I don't know about it's terrible because they're the number one team in the
he's
division.
so outdated with the game, man.
Still number one team in the
It's not
division.
there for him anymore.
If they win again, if the Chicago White Sox goes to the World Series, is it a terrible hire?
Well, then look, that justifies it, right?
No,
Doesn't
I'm
that
just
justify
asking
the
you.
hire?
If Chicago
No,
goes to
but
the
I
World
think-
Series,
Okay, listen. I think he's so past what this game is for him that clearly he doesn't see how the players are today. Dude, he's so used to managing guys like Scott Rowland and Jim Edmonds and all these guys that are straight arrow guys they're very serious guys. Dude, it's not like that in baseball anymore. It's not. These guys are more – dude, they always say the same, right? Let the kids play. Now there's bat flipping, shimmying, guys doing all this stuff. The game is completely different than when he last managed it. That's the point. It's past what he's done.
Wow.
And the fact that he's got his clubhouse now against him within the first month and a half of the season and the first year of his managerial experience is a train wreck.
well, Ben, I hope you enjoyed the show. Lyle Tavares is conscious and communicating. I don't know. I'm tired. But Ben, I hope you enjoyed the show. Keep tuning in. We have.
I like this Ben kid. He was the Wisconsin fan, right, Speedy?
Yes.
I like this guy. He's a good guy.
Good.
That's a good man right there.
Maybe you should shove your head up his ass. You know?
Oh, I could shove his head, but I think you're still sticking Jeff's nuts in your mouth. So
I don't stick anybody's nuts in my mouth. Thank you very much. By the way, I hope everybody had a good time. We'll be back next week, Wednesday Wednesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. As you guys know, we'll have some special guests next week. On Thursday, we're going to have Mark and what's his name?
Maybe.
And no, Mark will come on. And what's his name again? Who's his partner on that show? Speedy?
Oh, Gerard.
Gerard. Why do you sit there with this like you don't know your ass from your tailbone? I can. Ben says I can stick my foot up it, but you gotta find it. That's what he said. Well, thank you, Ben.
I like that one. That was funny.
Well, good. Now you can hang
on Ben's part.
Good. He says amputee problems. Hashtag amputee problems.
An amputee.
I got you, man. Shout out to Ben. Shout out to all the fans that listen to us throughout the country, throughout the world. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We gave you an extra hour, so I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed it. I'm going to get a lot of emails tomorrow. I love what we do, and the banter on our show, it definitely is for fans and for fans to really get involved with the conversation. You guys just got to understand and work on when somebody talks not to hover over each other, because it definitely can get, when you have two other guys and you two talking over each other, you can't really hear the conversation. So that's something that definitely we need to work on. But besides that, Ben says I'll be back.
Nice.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
I guess that's it. We will be back next week. Listen to the Weekend Crunch on the LI News Radio. If you're not here in Long Island, listen to on 103.9, the FM dial. You can listen to on iHeartRadio. Go to iHeartRadio, LI News Radio. Me, Josh, and Speedy. The Weekend Crunch on the FM dial. It's a great show. If you guys love banter and you love these shows, you will love that show. It's definitely all the sports crunched in to 2 hours on the FM dial. So it's a great show. Again, we'll be back Wednesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. That will mean next week we'll be back. I guess, do you guys have anything to say before we go?
Yeah, shout out to Ben for listening. Listen to the whole show, whole 4 hours, and definitely one of the craziest shows I've been a part of. And Jeff and Lyle, if you guys ever do get being homeboys, as you call it, I'd love to see how that interaction ends up working.
Homeboys.
It will last a day. No longer, no more than that.
I would agree with you, because Jeff doesn't like anybody. So that's
yeah,
it.
he has said that. And also, in regards to talking, that will all get straightened out. Speedy and I will get that cleaned up and everything like that. But we know we'll get much better for sure.
That's it, guys. We'll be back next week. Until then, this is Errol Marks, Speedy Petey, and Josh Silverberg saying good night. Have a great weekend, and stay out of trouble. And by the way, stay away from Speedy's foot. Good night, everybody.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.